On the soft bed, a sexy girl was seducing the beautiful young man beneath her. Luo Fanshuan, don't blame me. Blame your agent, Qin Li, she said drunkenly. Luo Fanshuan, pinned beneath her, looked at her hazy, drunken eyes and stammered nervously, "Sister, you're drunk." He swallowed, his voice laced with fear, but his face suddenly flushed red, seemingly enjoying it somewhat. The girl, unfazed, blurted out, "You owe me." Suddenly, she leaned on Luo Fanshuan's chest and mumbled, "I'm going to use you to settle the debt. This is what Qin Li owes me. Who told her to steal my boyfriend?" Then, blushing, she indulged in her own fantasy. "Yeah, Qin Li stole Lu Feng, so Lina Xuan will sleep with this top artist." Luo Fanshuan, beneath her, looked at Lina Xuan's face so close to his and stammered, "Wait, sister, calm down." But she was resolute. "I am calm." Looking at the cute boy beneath her, she said in a sugary, sweet voice, "Be good, don't resist." Then like a puppy, she sniffed him, thinking, "God, he smells so good." She then contentedly stroked Luo Fanshuan's bare chest, thinking, "What a cutie, his body and skin are top-notch. That 28-year-old geezer, Lu Feng, definitely can't compare." Lina Xuan leaned down and kissed his chest, her hand sliding behind Luo Fanshuan, completely lost in the moment. "A breakup sucks, but at least I get some compensation." The next day, Lina Xuan woke up with a start. She looked at the sleeping man in front of her in confusion, Luo Fanshuan. Then, mentally slapping herself, she cursed herself for drinking too much and messing up. "I must be crazy. How could I lay my hands on Luo Fanshuan? He's only 21, the nation's little puppy. He's handsome, but not arrogant, polite, and a rare clean artist in the entertainment industry." The more she thought about it, the more Lina Xuan felt her soul leaving her body. "Last night, I threw everything to the wind and took advantage of him. I'm a beast." Those X-rated images flashed through her mind, while Luo Fanshuan was still innocently asleep. Her face paled, she scratched her hair, and sat up, blaming herself. "What should I do? I've ruined this delicate flower. Is it too late to regret it now?" Then she secretly climbed out of bed, thinking, run away while he's still asleep. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan was awakened by the movement, his eyes still half closed. He said, "Sister," startling Lina Xuan like a thief caught red-handed. She turned her head and greeted him awkwardly with squinted eyes. "Hi." But in her heart, she was screaming, "Oh God, I want to disappear." Meanwhile, Luo Fanshuan sat up lazily and rubbed his eyes. This beautiful scene made Lina Xuan's face and ears burn. She swallowed hard. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan sat up straight, covered his chest with a blanket, and asked shyly, "Do you want more?" This made her feel so ashamed, she almost exploded. Lina Xuan waved her hands, trying to remain calm, squinting and denying, "No, you misunderstood, I didn't. I'm not." But in her heart, she wanted to crawl into a hole. "What should I do? This cutie thinks I'm a pervert. Can I still salvage my reputation?" Hearing this, he looked confused. "So you're leaving?" Luo Fanshuan continued to play dumb. "You want to leave after taking advantage of me?" This made Lina Xuan break out in a cold sweat, silently cursing herself. "I suddenly feel so cold." She blurted out, "Last night was my fault. I'm sorry. I'll try my best to compensate you. You can have anything you want." Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan reached out and hugged Lina Xuan tightly, startling her into a statue. His eyes were full of cunning, nowhere near innocent. Luo Fanshuan cheerfully declared, "You took advantage of me, so to be fair, I'm going to take advantage of you too." This made Lina Xuan dizzy and completely confused. "Are you sure? Are you still half asleep?" She cursed silently. He was still crying last night. But Luo Fanshuan leaned on her shoulder and repeated, "Be good, don't resist. Didn't you teach me that?" This made Lina Xuan frown in a daze. This kid must be schizophrenic. Otherwise, how could he be so different from last night? Luo Fanshuan suddenly grabbed Lina Xuan and kissed her without warning, startling her. Although it was a forced kiss, Lina Xuan still blushed furiously, her eyes hazy. Suddenly, as if waking from a dream, she shouted, "Wait, last night was a misunderstanding." But the shameless Luo Fanshuan said, "Baby, you were drunk last night and don't remember clearly. Let me help you recall." Lina Xuan was about to explode with anger. Luo Fanshuan's eyes were full of longing, thinking, "I've been looking for you for so long, and now I've finally found you. I can't let you go again. I can't let you forget me again." He recalled the scene from when he was 6 years old, when this girl rescued him from the fire, and felt deeply moved. Because of me, although you survived that fire, you lost your memory. If we hadn't been separated back then, would you have completely forgotten me, forgotten our past? Back in the present, Luo Fanshuan got up and dressed after the deed, while Lina Xuan was still sprawled on the bed. Lying on the messy sheets, she mumbled to herself, "I'm so tired. I've never been this tired in my life." Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan, while buttoning his shirt, asked, "Hey, how old are you?" She replied, 26. Hearing this, he covered his mouth, chuckling, which earned him an eye roll and a displeased frown from Lina Xuan. Snapping back to reality, she sat up and complained, "What's so funny about being older?" She thought to herself, "Is he laughing at me for being a 26-year-old virgin?" But Luo Fanshuan denied it with a smile. "That's not what I meant." He leaned closer to her face and bluntly said, "No, I'm asking about your cup size." This left Lina Xuan speechless. Blushing furiously, she cursed under her breath, "Damn, tricked by this brat." Then Luo Fanshuan grabbed a strand of her hair, teasing, "What can't you tell me?" Lina Xuan thought, "We already slept together. What's there to be shy about?" 34B. The answer seemed to surprise him, and he quipped, "Oh, just AB. No wonder they feel like the pancakes from the hotel breakfast." Instantly, Lina Xuan flew into a rage, pointing at him and yelling, "Luo Fanshuan, that's body shaming." He didn't stop there. Wiggling his fingers as if needing something soft, he squinted like a sly fox. "Don't be angry, babe. They'll get bigger after you're with me." Hearing this, Lina Xuan crossed her arms over her chest, blushing and slightly stunned. Are all young people this direct nowadays? Suddenly, she realized the implication in his words. "Wait, who said I'm going to be with you?" Her thoughts began to race. "If there's a next time, I'll definitely die in his hands." "No, that's not the point." She snapped out her days. "The point is, we can't be together." Luo Fanshuan stood there, looking confused, then climbed onto the bed and asked in a domineering tone, "So you're planning on a hit and run?" Looking at his face, filling her vision, Lina Xuan thought absent-mindedly, "Luo Fanshuan is so handsome and a top star, he definitely doesn't lack women. He doesn't need to be fixated on an older woman like me." So, she played with her hair and said, "We're not suitable. Your manager is Qin Li, you understand, right?" But Luo Fanshuan pressed on, "I don't understand. I only know that we're a good match, and I want to try being with you." He stared at Lina Xuan, forcing her to tell the truth. "Qin Li is my biggest rival. Everyone in the industry knows that. And you're a top artist. We're competitors vying for resources. How can we be together?" Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan feigned obedience and sighed. "Fine, I'll listen to you." Lina Xuan suddenly became suspicious, her face flushing as she questioned, "Unless you stop pulling my blanket, I won't believe you." But Luo Fanshuan didn't budge, continuing to tug on the blanket. Despite Lina Xuan pulling back with all her might, he thought, "This time, I won't let go no matter what. I won't give you another chance to forget me." Finally, Lina Xuan had a compromise, frowning, "Fine, let's try being together then." But in her mind, she was scheming. "It seems I can't leave today unless I agree. I'll appease him for now and figure things out later." However, these words made Luo Fanshuan extremely happy. Cupping the back of her head, he excitedly demanded, "Then let's seal the deal. You have to remember this time." But Lina Xuan had no idea what he meant. She had just opened her eyes when she saw Luo Fanshuan leaning in for a kiss. At the same time, Luo Fanshuan closed his eyes, thinking, "Remember me. Don't leave me alone again." Lina Xuan was fiddling with the zipper of her dress, muttering, "Ugh, it's stuck." "Luo Fanshuan, can you help me with the zipper?" He instantly transformed into her puppy. Of course. As he zipped up her dress, Luo Fanshuan noticed a scar about 5 centimeters long on Lina Xuan's back. He looked at it with a melancholic gaze. "This scar." He touched the scar, thinking, "It's from that fire when she saved me." At this moment, Lina Xuan suddenly realized he saw the scar on my back. She abruptly turned around, waving him off. "It's fine. I can do it myself." Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan hugged Lina Xuan from behind. Freezing her in place, he whispered in her ear, "Your back is beautiful." Then he thought, "I wanted to find you, but I heard you moved away to treat the after effects of the fire." Lina Xuan, feeling ticklish, squinted and called out Luo Fanshuan. But he held her tighter, thinking, "You suffered such a serious injury because of me, yet I couldn't be by your side." With sadness and heartache in his eyes, Luo Fanshuan continued to drift off in thought. "I couldn't find you, so I thought if I became famous, you might see me. I just didn't expect you to have forgotten me. Seeing him like this, Lina Xuan urged, "Stop messing around, help me get dressed." But in her mind, she was completely baffled. What's wrong with this kid? Is he addicted to the taste, morally twisted, or lacking ethics? Luo Fanshuan suddenly said, "Being with you feels like a dream." Lina Xuan, while fixing her hair, thought irritably, if only it were a dream. If she really were with Luo Fanshuan, she imagined herself being pelted with bricks and stones by his crazed fans, screaming, "Give us back our Xiaoshuan." Lina Xuan couldn't feel any joy at all. Not only that, but Luo Fanshuan's terrifying agent would also skin her alive. "How dare you steal my precious cabbage?" Just imagining it made Lina Xuan's face pale. She sighed and held her forehead. "It's too scary." At that moment, Luo Fanshuan said, "I'm going to the restroom. Wait for me." He turned around, looked into Lina Xuan's eyes, and whispered, "Don't run." Then he gently touched his forehead to hers. He looked at her lovingly. After Luo Fanshuan left, Lina Xuan's heart pounded like a drum, secretly excited and shy. "Oh my God, if I stay with this charmer any longer, my heart won't be able to take it." Then, while applying lipstick, she thought, the company has a rule that agents can't date their artists, nor can they date other people's artists. She hurriedly put on her high heels, thinking, I should take this opportunity to slip away, just pretend nothing happened. Then she rushed out and slammed the door shut. Lina Xuan hurriedly pressed the elevator button, then stepped inside, hugging her arms, and let out a sigh of relief as if she had escaped a disaster. But a hand blocked the elevator door. Luo Fanshuan, wearing sunglasses, pulled down his mask and said sarcastically, "Sister, didn't we agree to leave together?" Seeing him, Lina Xuan was startled as if she had seen a ghost, blurting out, "Luo Fanshuan." He braced himself against the elevator wall, trapping Lina Xuan inside, and reproached, "You broke your promise." Hearing this, Lina Xuan thought of something else. He's panting. Did he run after me? Lina Xuan blushed, thinking to herself, he couldn't possibly be serious about together, could he? Suddenly, the elevator dinged to a stop, and a wave of perfume drifted in. Recognizing the scent, Lina Xuan panicked. This perfume is Qin Li's, Luo Fanshuan's agent. Sure enough, Qin Li was at the elevator door, talking on the phone. "Really? I'm looking for Lu Feng too." Then she saw Lina Xuan, looking guilty, standing in the corner, and Luo Fanshuan, who was slowly getting up from a kneeling position with a bump on his head. Qin Li asked, "Xiaoshuan, so you're here. Why didn't you answer my calls?" He glanced at Lina Xuan and replied to Qin Li, "My phone died." Lina Xuan glared at him resentfully. Qin Li then asked Lina Xuan, "What are you doing here?" Seeing the situation, Lina Xuan raised her hand in greeting. "Hello, Sister Qin Li. I just finished discussing a contract and happened to run into Xiaoshuan, so we're taking the elevator together." Lina Xuan, sweating, thought, this feels like being caught dating in high school by the homeroom teacher. Qin Li suddenly started lecturing, saying that young people should work hard and careers should be built on strength, not sleeping around. But Lina Xuan wasn't buying it. She plastered on a fake smile and covered her mouth. "Thank you, Sister Qin Li. A word from you is worth 10 years of study. I didn't expect you to have such an awareness. It's really surprising." Hearing this, Qin Li got angry and retorted, "Lina Xuan, what do you mean by that?" At the same time, Lina Xuan flipped her hair, thinking, everyone knows Qin Li's career is built on sleeping around. Now that she has connections and controls the company's resources, she's pretending to be righteous, exploiting people on the surface. What she said out loud, however, was nothing, just reminding you not to flaunt those benefits too much. To avoid further awkwardness, the elevator announced its arrival at the second basement level, followed by Qin Li's furious voice, "Lina Xuan, you." Lina Xuan smiled and walked out, waving. "Goodbye, Sister Qin Li. Goodbye, Xiaoshuan." Afterwards, she looked at Luo Fanshuan sarcastically. "Why are you being so intimate? Be careful. She might use you to create hype with her artists." But Luo Fanshuan denied it. Sister Shushu wouldn't do that. Hearing this, Qin Li started lecturing him. "Xiaoshuan, you've only been in the industry for 2 years. What do you know? Didn't you see the hickey on her neck? I bet she was just selling herself while discussing that collaboration." But Luo Fanshuan smiled and corrected her. It should be said that the man was selling himself. Then he thought awkwardly, "Of course, I was selling myself. I finally got close to Sister. I must leave a good impression." After getting into the car, Qin Li said while fastening her seatbelt, "Let's not talk about her. You asked me to talk to director Lu Feng about the new script, but I don't think it has any explosive potential. What do you see in it?" Luo Fanshuan sitting in the back seat, took the opportunity to say, if Sister Qinli doesn't think it has potential, then let's forget it. After settling in, Luo Fanshuan thought gloomily, anyway, my goal has been achieved. I didn't expect to run into Sister again after joining Illy Media, but not only has she forgotten me, she also has a boyfriend. Knowing that the unfaithful Lu Feng didn't deserve her, he meticulously planned for Qinli to arrange a business meeting with Lu Feng, allowing Lina Xuan to discover his infidelity. Afterwards, heartbroken and deceived, Lina Xuan drowned her sorrows in alcohol, while Luo Fanshuan observed from the shadows, finally finding another opportunity to approach his sister. He secretly rejoiced. It was like manna from heaven. He just hadn't expected his sister to be so forward. Luo Fanshuan rested his chin in his hand, gazing out the window, thinking, it seems I'll have to keep an eye on my sister from now on. I can't let her drink too much. It leads to misunderstandings. Meanwhile, a bright red traffic light illuminated. Lina Xuan sighed, scolding herself. Ugh, this lady will never let herself get drunk again. One hand on the steering wheel, she picked up her phone with the other, only to discover, how did my phone turn off? As soon as it powered on, it began to ring. A blonde girl shrieked, Xinjia, where are you? Something's happened. Lina Xuan quickly asked, Xiaoyu, what's wrong? On the other end of the line, Xiaoyu reported, Song Heng was photographed with an older woman in a compromising position. The internet is buzzing with nasty rumors about him being kept by a rich older woman. Xinjia, Song Heng's image is about to be ruined. What should we do? Hearing this, Lina Xuan gasped, thinking to herself, kept by a rich woman. The Song Heng they were talking about was the artist she had just signed last year, a 22-year-old. Although he had only been on a few talent shows, he had already accumulated a considerable fan base. Because of his elegant demeanor, piano skills, and unique voice, he had caught the attention of several entertainment companies. Lina Xuan complained, we're in the middle of contract negotiations with an entertainment company. How could this scandal break out at such a crucial time? She frowned and asked, what's the relationship between that woman and Song Heng? But on the other end of the line, Xiaoyu was at her wit's end. I asked him, but he refused to say. Xinjia, come quickly. Just then, the traffic light turned green. Lina Xuan sighed worriedly. Song Heng is good in every way, except he's too stubborn. Once he sets his mind on something, even 9 oxen can't pull him back. She said, I'll be right there. Outside the high-rise building, the sun was shining brightly. Inside, however, the atmosphere was tense. Scrolling through her phone, Lina Xuan instructed her assistant Xiaoyu, issue a statement on Weibo, saying that the woman in the photo is Song Heng's cousin. Her husband passed away, and she was heartbroken, so Song Heng was just comforting her. Xiaoyu immediately responded, okay. Lina Xuan then instructed, in a few days, find someone who looks similar and hold a press conference to clarify. However, Song Heng suddenly blurted out, she's not my cousin. Hearing this, Lina Xuan turned and scolded, does the truth matter now? The online comments are exploding. Look at how many fans are about to leave. The important thing is to issue a statement quickly to salvage your image. Even so, Song Heng stubbornly said, but Lina Xuan leaned closer and reminded him, Song Heng, if you continue like this, all our previous efforts will be wasted. Do you want to ruin your future? Song Heng looked at Lina Xuan and thought, that's right, Xinjia has worked so hard with me for so long. No one in this world cares more about my career than her. He lowered his head, holding his forehead, and said, I'm sorry, Xinjia. She's actually my mother. Hearing this, she sat down beside him, puzzled. If it's your mother, just tell the fans directly. It's not something to be ashamed of. But his next words stunned Lina Xuan. But then she'll be in the public eye. It'll cause trouble for her current husband and family. At that moment, Lina Xuan finally understood that Song Heng didn't want his mother to be disturbed. Lina Xuan placed a comforting hand on Song Heng's shoulder. Song Heng, does your mother visit you often? He hung his head, dejected as if he'd lost a winning lottery ticket. No, she lives abroad now. Then he looked up apologetically. Xinjia, I'm sorry for causing you trouble. But she reassured him, it's okay. As your agent, this is my responsibility. Afterwards, Lina Xuan turned and instructed her assistant, Xiaoyu, release the statement according to the script I gave you. Remember to emphasize that the cousin lies abroad, so fans don't go harassing Song Heng's cousin. Hearing this, Xiaoyu replied, okay, Xinjia. Witnessing this, Song Heng looked at Lina Xuan, touched. Xinjia, thank you. I always feel at ease with you around. A while later, Xiao Yu reported. Sister Xianyan, the clarification statement has been released. It says, recently, an account on Weibo has been continuously posting and spreading false information, seriously impacting Mr. Songheng. Our company hereby clarifies and firmly defends Mr. Songheng's reputation. The woman in the photo is Songheng's cousin, who has lived abroad for many years. Due to the passing of her husband, she was grief-stricken, and Mr. Songheng was only comforting her. Our company sternly warns against malicious rumors and slander and hopes that the relevant parties will stop immediately. Otherwise, we will pursue responsibility. Immediately, netizens flooded the comments section. True love fan. I knew it. My husband Song Heng couldn't possibly like an old lady. It turns out she's his cousin. It was a misunderstanding. Hater, cousin. Is this the new term for a sugar mommy? Onlooker A. If Song Heng really likes older women, he should choose his manager Lina Xuan first. Onlooker B. The person above is right. Song Heng's manager is really beautiful. Her looks don't lose to any popular celebrity. I ship this CP. Lina Xuan saw Onlooker C's comment. No way. The manager is 4 years older than Song Heng. That's too much of a May-December romance. I object. She felt extremely irritated, her mind full of question marks. How did the topic get dragged to her? Biting her phone, she thought quickly. I'm only 4 years older than Song Heng. I'm already being scolded like this online. If they knew that Luo Fanshuan is 5 years younger than me, wouldn't I be hung from a telephone pole? She couldn't help but imagine the scene of being hung from a telephone pole, with angry fans shouting "Give us back Xuan Go," and broke out in a cold sweat. Suddenly, Xiao Yu exclaimed in surprise. Sister Xianyan, suddenly there's so many people arguing with those fans attacking your age. Sister Xianyan, it turns out you have fans too. But Lina Xuan, resting her chin on her hand, didn't think so. Most of them are Song Heng's wife fans, who don't want him to be mistakenly thought to be involved with an older manager. Xiao Yu felt something was wrong, thinking, but they are clearly defending Sister Xianyan. They don't seem like Song Heng's fans. And these people appeared at such a convenient time. Could someone have bought a water army for Sister Xianyan? At the same time, a white van sped down the road. A message displayed on the phone screen. Immediately control the comments. Protect Lina Xuan's reputation. Below it showed, received 500,000. The reply, understood. Luo Fanshuan gripped his phone, thinking angrily, how dare they spread rumors about her? Do they think I'm dead? That night, the new moon shone on the skyscrapers. In Lina Xuan's private apartment, she had already changed into her pajamas and was sprawled on the sofa, half dead. Finally, I can rest. Suddenly, the phone rang. The caller ID showed Luo Fanshuan. Answering the phone, Lina Xuan mumbled sleepily, hello. The other party immediately said, sister, I'm at your door. Lina Xuan instantly woke up like a spring, yelling, Luo Fanshuan. The other party said, open the door quickly. There are always people watching me. Hearing this, Lina Xuan darted around like a headless fly, shouting, coming, coming. As soon as she opened the door, she saw a young man wearing a hat, mask, and sunglasses put down his phone. Luo Fanshuan pulled down his mask and waved. Sister, hello. Seeing this scene, Lina Xuan couldn't help but turn pale, thinking, dressed like this late at night, anyone would look twice. Then she pulled him forcefully into the house, scolding, don't stand at the door. Then she asked helplessly, what are you doing here? Luo Fanshuan squinted his eyes, beaming, bringing you a late-night snack, preserved egg, and lean meat congee. Do you like it? But Lina Xuan said angrily, who wants a late-night snack? But her stomach growled uncooperatively, making her extremely embarrassed, while Luo Fanshuan was as happy as a puppy. A moment later, the large bowl was completely empty, not a drop left. I'm full. Lina Xuan rested her chin on her hand, licked her lips, squinted her eyes, and said happily, so satisfying. Suddenly, she stared straight ahead. Lina Xuan, resting her chin on her hand, secretly sized up Luo Fanshuan, who was holding the bowl. Luo Fanshuan's face is truly blessed by the heavens. No wonder he could become a top star. Luo Fanshuan scooped a spoonful of congee and blew on it. The more he looked at Lina Xuan, the more unbelievable he found it. A top star like him, fully disguised, came out in the middle of the night to bring me a late-night snack. Just as he put the spoonful of congee into his mouth, Lina Xuan asked directly, are you very free today? Running over here in the middle of the night without resting. Luo Fanshuan, with the spoon in his mouth, squinted his eyes and answered happily, because when you're busy, you forget to eat. With Song Heng's matter being so sudden today, You definitely haven't eaten anything. These words made Lin Xuan's heart tremble, and she opened her eyes wide in surprise. Really? Thank you, she thought. So he's this thoughtful. Suddenly turning very considerate, he leaned in and asked, how are you going to thank me? This made Lin Xuan step back and reply, what do you want? Luo Fanshuan, having successfully set his trap, embraced her and whispered, I want to bring you late-night snacks every day, so I can make sure you eat and also see you every day. Then, full of anticipation, he said, okay, sis. Lin Xuan was just about to speak when Luo Fanshuan kissed her. Lin Xuan put her hand on his shoulder and said, you don't have to do this, Luo Fanshuan. We're both adults. Let's just pretend last night didn't happen, okay? Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan retorted with chip, Ly, how can we pretend it didn't happen? It clearly happened. Why should we pretend it didn't? He asked with a hurt expression, sis. Do you not like me? Seeing this, Lin Xuan started to sweat, frowning and thinking, damn it, Luo Fanshuan, that's not what I meant. Her face suddenly paled as she realized, how did I become the bad guy? But quickly, Lin Xuan narrowed her eyes, put on a bright smile, and began to lecture him. You're a top idol now, with a bright future. I'm just an ordinary manager, and older than you. If your fans find out, they'll curse me to death, and it'll ruin your career. But Luo Fanshuan tried to persuade her. If you're worried, we can keep it a secret. I can take the heat for you. Hearing this, Lin Xuan became suspicious. Take the heat for what? Suddenly, he pulled something out of his pocket. Lin Xuan, sitting beside him, widened her eyes in bewilderment. Then he placed the item on the table and said, I brought this for you. This made her blush crimson, covering her face. This medicine is. Then she pointed at him and questioned, Luo Fanshuan, are you looking for a one-night stand? You got the wrong person. Don't think you can trick me in a bed just because you're somewhat good-looking. I'm high class. Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan desperately denied, I'm not, I didn't. But she yelled like a banshee, then what is this thing you took out? Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan clasped his hands together, his face earnest, like a tail-wagging husky. I was afraid you'd forget to take the morning after pill, so I bought it for you. Next time I'll use protection, so you won't have to take it. After all, medication has side effects. These words made Lin Xuan turn her head away, cursing inwardly. Could I have misunderstood? With such a serious and responsible attitude, does this kid really want to date me? Afterwards, Lin Xuan crossed her arms and questioned, then you could have just called to remind me to buy it. Why did you have to deliver it personally? But Luo Fanshuan was slippery. Aren't you always busy? Where would you find the time to buy medicine? Besides, it wouldn't be good if your colleagues saw you. She immediately thought of that shrew-chinly gloating, Lin Xuan, you climbed the ladder using these kinds of tricks, and you still pretend to be innocent. This made her narrow her eyes guiltily and say awkwardly, all right, thanks. Smelling blood, Luo Fanshuan leaned in and suggested, tell me if you have any other concerns, and we'll figure out together. Luo Fanshuan's 4K level visuals were so close. Like a living painting, it made her blush. Lin Xuan stammered as if hypnotized. Nothing. Seeing this, Luo Fanshuan opened his mouth then, and, holding her shoulders, dropped a bombshell. Let's be together, okay. Backed into a corner, Lin Xuan thought, wait, why am I always being led by the nose by him? Where's my senior's dignity? Out of embarrassment and annoyance, she took the initiative and pecked Luo Fanshuan on the cheek, startling him so much that his eyes widened like a frightened deer. Luo Fanshuan's eyes were wide open, frozen in place, his face flushed and trembling. When Lin Xuan pulled back, he was still gaping in disbelief, subconsciously reaching for her hand and calling out sis. But Lin Xuan touched Luo Fanshuan's face and said, I like a slow pace. If you want to date me, you have to match my pace. In reality, she was thinking, since I can't refuse this kid, I'll test his sincerity. After all, dating is too risky. I have to see if it's worth it. These words immediately made Luo Fanshuan ecstatic. Does this mean you agree to date me, sis? That's great. I'll listen to you. His attitude inadvertently made Lin Xuan's heart skip a beat. She wavered. Dating me makes him this happy. Suddenly, Lin Xuan broke the atmosphere by shouting, right, take the medicine first. It won't work after 24 hours. She started coughing anxiously. Seeing this, Luo Fanshuan handed her some water. Don't rush. Drink some water. She turned to him, thanks. But he winked flirtatiously. You're welcome. Taking care of you makes me happy. His eyes sparkling, he added, you can rely on me more because I'm your boyfriend. These words were like a nuclear bomb. After hearing them, Lina Xuan was stunned for a few seconds, thinking, it seems like this is the first time someone has said they want to take care of me. It feels pretty good. Then she started to shoo him away. You've had your late night snack, and you've delivered the things. Go back and rest. But Luo Fanshuan leaned back leisurely in his chair, unwilling to leave, and requested, your boyfriend came all this way to bring you a late night snack. Shouldn't you give him a reward? I heard you like to drink and have quite the collection. He innocently pleaded, how about offering your boyfriend a drink? Then, kneeling on the chair, he wagged an imaginary tail, a mischievous thought popping into his head. Sneaking out wasn't easy. Of course I have to spend more time with Jingjing. Lina Xuan secretly clenched her fists, wanting to slap him. Boyfriend this, boyfriend that. He really knew how to play innocent. She really wanted to beat this kid up. Luo Fanshuan poured red wine into the glass and started spouting nonsense. I heard people who like red wine are sentimental and perfect for growing old together. Hearing this, Lina Xuan clinked glasses with him, skeptical really. Suddenly, she sadly recalled that Lu Feng also loved red wine. Back then, when I moved next door to him, we were childhood sweethearts, and that's how our feelings blossomed. When they were young, Lu Feng always held Lina Xuan's hand and said, Xian, I like you the most. Will you marry me when we grow up? She happily agreed. Okay. But damn it, after they started dating after college graduation, he still cheated. After so many years of feelings, Lina Xuan witnessed Lu Feng and Qin Li being lovey-dovey, even showing off their affection in front of her. She drank the entire glass of wine in one gulp and said sarcastically, I heard that's all lies. Seeing Lina Xuan like this, Luo Fanshuan thought dejectedly, is she thinking about that jerk who dumped her again? I really feel bad for her. Luo Fanshuan fell silent, lost in thought. Suddenly, he leaned closer and said, but I think it's true. He thought to himself, forget that man. Looking at Lina Xuan's flushed cheeks, unsure if it was from the alcohol or emotion, Luo Fanshuan silently added, you still have me. He said aloud, maybe we really can grow old together. This was too much. Lina Xuan gasped, completely hooked. Then she lunged forward, placing her hand on his chest, and questioned, Luo Fanshuan, you're the one who started this. She kissed Luo Fanshuan, making him exclaim inwardly, sis. He slowly closed his eyes, thinking, trust me, this time, I'll be the one to protect you. Then he hugged Lina Xuan tightly. She responded by pushing him away, looking at him with dreamy eyes. The intoxicating charm made Luo Fanshuan feel like he had fallen into honey, his eyes hazy. Just as Lina Xuan reached out to touch his bare chest, the ringing of a phone shattered the ambiguous atmosphere. Luo Fanshuan, lying beneath her, reminded sis your phone's ringing. But she ignored it. It's the middle of the night. Who cares? Suddenly, Xiaoyu shouted from outside the door, Sister Xian, wake up, open the door, we're here. This startled Lina Xuan. That's Xiaoyu's voice. Is she not alone? Then she suddenly realized a big problem, like the elephant in the room. Looking at Luo Fanshuan beneath her, his shirt buttons almost completely undone, she exclaimed, sis. Panicked, she thought, what am I doing? I can't let them see him in my house. She immediately jumped away, pulling Luo Fanshuan and instructing, quickly hide in my room, my artist and assistant are here. Luo Fanshuan looked reluctant. Lina Xuan clicked the door open and exclaimed in surprise, Song Heng, Han Dong, Han Shi, why aren't you sleeping at this late hour? What are you doing here? Just as she finished speaking, Xiaoyu set off party poppers, squinting and shouting, Sister Xian, we're here to celebrate your birthday. It was lively outside, but inside the room behind the door, Luo Fanshuan hugged his arms, unhappy. How annoying. They actually stole my chance to celebrate her birthday. In the living room, Xiaoyu, Song Heng, Han Dong, and Han Shi were setting off party poppers and whistling in celebration. Han Dong said, Sister Xian usually worries so much for us. Today it's our turn to let you relax. Hearing this, Lina Xuan smiled sincerely and replied, thank you all for your kindness, but I'm a little tired tonight. But before she could finish, everyone opened a box and placed the contents on the table. Looking at the pile of crawfish boxes, Lina Xuan's face paled, and she reproached, why did you buy so much crawfish? It's too oily and salty. Xiaoyu, how could you let them eat this? She thought, this is at least 5 kilograms, my god, my artists have no self-control. But Xiaoyu's eyes shone with puppy-like eagerness as she pleaded, Sister Xian, I'm sorry, but we wanted to eat them. Why don't you try one first to calm down? I'll peel it for you. Even so, Lina Xuan was still angry, frowning like a monkey eating ginger as she replied, I'm not eating. Then she switched to manager mode and scolded, how many times have I reminded you to manage your figures? Are you all ignoring what I say? It's so late, and you're not sleeping, and you're still planning to eat greasy food. As soon as the greasy food appeared, the entire atmosphere turned eerily quiet like a haunted house. Everyone sulked, and Lina Xuan silently wished, okay, you know you were wrong, just leave now. But the Han brothers, Dong and Shi, looked as pitiful as wet kittens. Han Dong explained, Sister Xian, don't blame Xiaoyu. We're not like Luo Fan and Shu and who have commercials to film every day. We don't have to constantly face the camera. Han Shi chimed in, yeah, we're just small-time 18th tier artists. Nobody will notice if we gain a little weight. Besides, we don't have any work for the next 2 months, so we can sleep in tomorrow. Song Heng, who was sitting on the side, added, Sister Xian, I've already caused you enough trouble today. Just consider this my way of thanking you. Seeing this, Lina Xuan turned to him and said, Song Heng. Xiaoyu immediately seized the opportunity. Sister Xian didn't object, so she agrees. They high-fived and cheered yay all-nighter tonight. But Lina Xuan was already preoccupied, sighing inwardly, all-nighter. Absolutely not. Suddenly, she felt dizzy and screamed internally, Luo Fan and Xuan are still in my room. The moon was bright, a cool breeze blew, and a few lights were still on in Lina Xuan's apartment. Someone said, all right, tonight's birthday party was success. Han Dong said cheerfully, let's clean up. Han Shi, you just sit down. Meanwhile, Lina Xuan breathed a sigh of relief, thinking they should be leaving soon. Suddenly, Xiaoyu, who had been enjoying herself, turned pale. She stood still, clutching her stomach as if it were about to explode, and then rushed out, yelling, I can't hold it. Bathroom. Like dominoes. Han Dong, Han Shi, and the others also clutched their stomachs and groaned. Me too. In the blink of an eye, they were all knocking on the bathroom door, moaning, Xiaoyu, hurry up, we need to go too. Behind them, Lina Xuan's face paled. She thought, it's a good thing I only ate the porridge Luo Fan and Xuan brought. Otherwise, with my weak stomach, I would definitely be the first one fighting for the bathroom. She thought absent-mindedly, I wonder how Luo Fan and Xuan are doing in the room. This is definitely the most thrilling birthday party ever. After a while, Xiaoyu stumbled out, rubbing her stomach and sighing. Finally, some relief. Han Dong and Han Shi were already fighting over the bathroom. Me first. No, me first. Suddenly, Xiaoyu squinted her eyes curiously and asked, Xuan, this is your room, right? Before she could think further, her hand had already pushed the door open. Seeing this, Lina Xuan nearly jumped out of her skin. Wait, she thought, Luo Fan and Xuan, you idiots, why didn't you lock the door? Xiaoyu barged in and yelled, ah. Lina Xuan thought she had been exposed and stammered. Xiaoyu, let me explain, actually But Xiaoyu just picked up a teddy bear and squealed. Oh my god, Xuan, you have this bear too. I love it. Seeing this, Lina Xuan was a little embarrassed, thinking, where did Luo Fan and Xuan hide? Just then, a head popped out from under the covers, leaving Lina Xuan dumbfounded. He was hiding behind the bed. Suddenly, Luo Fan or Xuan poked his head out, made a peace sign, and blinked, seeking praise. But this only made Lina Xuan break out in a cold sweat. She raised her hand and made a shushing gesture. Hide quickly. Suddenly, Xiaoyu tilted her head and asked, did you hear something? Lina Xuan immediately threw her slippers to the side, thinking, it's time to use the tactic of creating a diversion. Xiaoyu was immediately distracted. There's a sound in the closet. But Lina Xuan denied it. No, there's no sound. This only made Xiaoyu more suspicious. Xuan, don't tell me you're hiding a man in the closet. Song Heng, who was eavesdropping, poked his head in. Intrigued. Sounds like some juicy gossip. Han Shi also winked. Xuan hiding a man. I want to see. Hearing this, Lina Xuan snapped, don't talk nonsense. There's no one there. Seeing her reaction, Han Dong and Han Shi became even more excited. Xuan is so flustered. I'm even more curious now. Let's open the closet and see. But when I looked inside the closet, it was empty. Han Dong and Han Shi were disappointed. Ah, no man, what a waste of excitement. Xiaoyu teased. Then why were you so nervous just now, Xuan? Song Heng breathed a sigh of relief, thinking, good thing it wasn't a man. Lina Xuan immediately started shooing them away. Are you done causing trouble? Go back now. Xiaoyu immediately waved her hand. All right, I'll take everyone back. Yixuan, you rest. After all the gossip mongers had left, Lina Xuan finally breathed a sigh of relief and scratched her head. Okay, they're all gone. You can come out now. Luo Fanshuan crawled out from under the covers and feigned helplessness. If I hid any longer, I would have thought you'd forgotten about me. Then, like a happy puppy, he said, finally, it's just the two of us. Hearing this, Lina Xuan blushed and urged him to leave. Little brother, it's past 2 in the morning. It's time for you to go back. This is the only apartment in the whole building with the lights still on. Lina Xuan picked up his hat and glasses, reminding him, put on your glasses and hat. Let's go. But Luo Fanshuan still wanted to stay a little longer. It's so late. Can't I just stay here? But she was firm. No, you have a commercial shoot tomorrow. What if Qinli comes looking for you early in the morning and finds you're not here? Luo Fanshuan argued, it doesn't start until 10 o'clock tomorrow. I can just get up early. Even so, Lina Xuan had already picked up his hat, preparing to put it on him while complaining. No means no. Seeing this, Luo Fanshuan smiled and reached out his hands. He suddenly swept Lina Xuan up into his arms, catching her off guard, and said, isn't it more convenient to put my hat on this way? But Lina Xuan scolded, stop messing around, put me down. Luo Fanshuan said happily, today is the first day we officially became a couple. He asked with his handsome face, shouldn't there be a goodbye kiss before we part, Miss Lina Xuan, my girlfriend? Holding Lina Xuan, Luo Fanshuan said dotingly, so older sister gets shy too. Do you want to kiss you? Luo Fanshuan was daydreaming, being able to hold older sister like this. At the same time, Lina Xuan leaned in, and he thought this is like a dream. Suddenly being kissed, he was completely stunned. I wish I could never wake up. Lina Xuan actively blinked her eyes and kissed Luo Fanshuan passionately, making his face turn red as he savored the sweetness. Luo Fanshuan just held Lina Xuan like that, closing his eyes and enjoying the moment. They stayed in this position for a long time, unwilling to separate, until finally they both ran out of breath and had to pull apart to breathe. Afterward, Lina Xuan pushed him away and asked, so how about giving me a chance to brag about my kissing skills? But Luo Fanshuan was like a zombie, his face too red to speak. Lina Xuan called out, Luo Fanshuan, but his soul was still elsewhere. Seeing this, she called out loudly in bewildered confusion, hey Luo Fanshuan. Only then did he come back to his senses, reaching up to touch his lips and feigning a cough to hide his embarrassment. Then, seeing her lively expression, he licked his lips and teased, did you eat crawfish today? Lina Xuan was stunned, then laughed, thinking, I remember gargling. Feeling embarrassed, she thought, my damn competitiveness ruined my image. She resentfully pulled him out, saying, all right, kissed and done, time to go home. As she pressed the elevator button, she asked, where's your car parked? Luo Fanshuan stood behind her, arms crossed, and replied, I called a driver. Hearing this, Lina Xuan asked worriedly, you didn't drive here? He said evasively, I have a car, I just didn't want to drive. Thinking to himself, there's a GPS tracker in the car. I'm afraid Qinli will find out where I am. Seeing this, Lina Xuan's face paled, and she turned to say, forget it, I'll take you back. She was scared. He was a top star, but had no sense of self-preservation, practically flirting with death. When the elevator reached the first floor, Luo Fanshuan held Lina Xuan's hand and walked out. Suddenly, a meow sound came, making him jump. Luo Fanshuan immediately hid behind Lina Xuan, asking fearfully, older sister, did you hear something? Making her suspicious, she asked, hear what? Looking at the dimly lit parking lot, Luo Fanshuan said nervously, listen carefully, it seems to be nearby. But she didn't see anything. Suddenly, he clung tightly to Lina Xuan, screaming like he had seen a ghost, it's here. Seeing a fat cat meowing, Lina Xuan's expression went blank, a look of utter disbelief on her face. That was it. She rolled her eyes and asked speechlessly, you're afraid of cats? Luo Fanshuan immediately replied, yes, cat fur is itchy and they meow. Aren't you afraid? His behavior made her head spin. A 1.9-meter tall man was actually afraid of a cute cat. But seeing him trembling, she patted him comfortingly. All right, the cat's gone. Let's go. The car's over there. But the cat didn't cooperate, meowing even louder, making Luo Fanshuan lose his mind in fear. No, there are more cats ahead. Then he jumped on a Lina Xuan like he was climbing a tree, tears in his eyes. Being held tightly, Lina Xuan felt 3 parts exasperation and 7 parts like a nanny as she coaxed him. Anyway, let's talk this through. can you put your feet down? Hugging is one thing, but now you're using your feet too. She then sighed, accepting her fate as a human coat rack, thinking, forget it, let's go back to my place. She took his hand, making Luo Fanshuan feel puzzled. Suddenly, Lina Xuan hugged him and patted his head like a nanny, saying, don't be afraid. I saw Luo Fanshuan blush, responding with a touched Emma. Back at Lina Xuan's place, she sat beside him, comforting him. All right, don't be scared. Have some coffee. Seriously, why are you so afraid of cats? He gripped Lina Xuan's hand tightly, his voice heavy as he recalled, when I was little, my mom locked me out of the house for an entire night. Little Luo Fanshuan stood in the darkness, knocking on the door constantly, crying hoarsely, Mom, it's so dark out here, let me in, Mom. Suddenly, a cat's meow terrified me. I cry, Mom, but those cats, their eyes glowed with an eerie green light, and they shamelessly approached me. Little Luo Fanshuan cowered into a ball, clutching his head and screaming in despair. Mom, please, Mom. Back in the present, Luo Fanshuan held his girlfriend's hand and said, since then, I've been afraid of cats. Seeing him like this, she wore a worried expression, wanting to say something. Lina Xuan squeezed his hand and asked, how old were you then? Why didn't your mom let you in? What about your dad? Luo Fanshuan looked dejected, like he'd lost a winning lottery ticket. I've never met my dad. Then, lowering his eyes, he dramatically whined, Mom is the only person I can rely on. I was probably 3 or 4 years old. Remembering his beautiful but troubled mother, he felt another pang of heartache. My mom has a mental illness. Every time she has an episode, it's like she becomes a different person. Then Luo Fanshuan added, if the neighbors hadn't called the police that night, I might have died out there. Hearing this, Lina Xuan wore a saddened expression, thinking to herself, I heard Luo Fanshuan had no one to care for him growing up, and he struggled in the entertainment industry at a young age, achieving everything he has today all on his own. She extended a hand as soft as a mochi ball. She gently patted his head in comfort, which surprised Luo Fanshuan. Lina Xuan thought, I thought it was just a persona he cultivated, but it's actually true. Suddenly, something made Luo Fanshuan's eyes widen. Thinking about how he had to endure all of this at such a young age, Lina Xuan gently comforted him. It's okay. It's all in the past. Don't be afraid. Even if there are cats, I'll protect you from now on. Luo Fanshuan's eyes immediately welled up. Tears welled up his eyes, moved. He reached out. He hugged Lina Xuan tightly, burying his head in her shoulder. Luo Fanshuan looked back, reminiscing, thinking after all these years she's still the same as when we were kids. He smiled happily, thinking, she's the only person who's ever been warm to me. Then he asked her, Sister, can I sleep with you tonight? This made Lina Xuan blush, her brain overloading, thinking in confusion. Huh. At the same time, the angelic Lina Xuan said with pity, Poor little brother, indicating agreement, but the demonic Shura glared, thinking, Poor my ass, he's just a little devil sucking me dry. Seeing her hesitation, Luo Fanshuan used crocodile tears to bait her. Sister, I'm scared, I don't dare sleep alone. Lina Xuan immediately gave in, her heart softening, thinking, for his sake, I'll sleep with him tonight. She said cheerfully, just tonight, okay? Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan was as happy as if he had won the lottery, hugging her tightly and saying sweet nothings. Sister is the best. Lina Xuan flusteredly replied, all right, let go of me first. I'm going to take a shower. So he obediently sat where he was, hands on his knees, like a well-behaved little boy, watching her leave, sighing with a smile, meeting sister is the luckiest thing in my life. The bathroom was filled with steam. Lina Xuan looked at herself in the mirror and sniffed her clothes. Ugh, she thought, he's talking about others, but I smell like shrimp, wine, cake, and sweat, a complete mess, and Luo Fanshuan doesn't even mind. And he even kissed me. She couldn't believe it, letting her imagination run wild. Could this be the legendary true love? Then, she shamefully threw her clothes into the bathtub. Lina Xuan, what are you doing? Then she struck a dramatic pose in front of the mirror, like a female lead in a movie, thinking a little narcissism isn't so bad. Suddenly, she saw the scar on her back and remembered, I was in a fire when I was little. I don't remember the details, but I developed a fear of fire because of it. At the same time, the image of Luo Fanshuan stiffly clinging to her appeared in her mind. Luo Fanshuan's fear of cats must also stem from his childhood. Then she frowned, lost in thought and pity. What he's truly afraid of is the loneliness and helplessness he felt when his mother abandoned him. After a shower, Lina Xuan put on a butterfly hair band and wondered, where did Luo Fanshuan go? Walking into the bedroom, she saw him sound asleep on her bed. She was a little annoyed. Honestly, sleeping so comfortably in my bed, really making himself at home. Looks like I'll be sleeping on the sofa tonight. But she hugged her pillow and thought, wait a minute, this is my house. Why should I sleep on the sofa? She looked at Luo Fanshuan, sleeping so soundly, like Sleeping Beauty. A mischievous glint flashed in her eyes. There's a handsome guy in a warm bed. Why should I pretend to be a gentleman? So she climbed onto the bed and reached out to touch the little pervert's lips. She leaned in for a closer look, thinking, youth is truly wonderful. Just smelling him makes me happy. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan grabbed Lina Xuan's wandering wrist. She exclaimed, ouch, you little rascal. But he seemed to just be having a nightmare, groaning with his eyes closed. Seeing this, Lina Xuan closed her mouth and then sighed sympathetically, thinking he's having a nightmare about cats. Then she put her hand on Luo Fanshuan's cheek, patting it gently and saying, all right, I'm here. Sleep well. Instantly, as if by magic, his expression relaxed and he slept even more soundly. In his dream, Luo Fanshuan murmured, sis. A moment later, Lina Xuan stood blankly in a pure white space. She wondered, where is this? Suddenly, Lina Xuan saw a chubby white cat walk gracefully by, meowing. Then a 7 or 8-year-old boy hid behind her, trembling, and said, sis, there's a cat. I'm scared. Seeing this, Lina Xuan turned her head in confusion, a child. Then she turned back and patted the little boy's head, comforting him. Don't be afraid. I'm here. I won't let the cat hurt you. Meanwhile, Lina Xuan woke up groggily, frowning and thinking, this dream felt so real. Do I know that child? Suddenly, she sprang up like a coil, her face pale, and asked, wait, what time is it? Luo Fanshuan lay on his side, propped his head up with his hand, and squinted, replying 9:30. This made Lina Xuan panic and curse. Oh no. She hurriedly jumped out of bed, opened the wardrobe, and started picking out clothes, while blaming him. Why didn't you wake me up earlier? The sly Luo Fanshuan sat up and replied, you were sleeping so soundly, I couldn't bear to wake you. Hearing this, Lina Xuan frowned angrily and turned her head, muttering, oh, so this kid was playing dead and observing me. His event starts at 10. 3 parts exasperated and 7 parts resigned. Lina Xuan sighed and said, I'll take you directly to the event. Where is it? Luo Fanshuan smiled and announced, Genius Studio on Huanghe Road. Upon receiving this information, Lina Xuan weighed Song Heng and Luo Fanshuan in her mind. Genius is the highest rated show in the country, and only top stars can participate. Willy Media only has Luo Fanshuan qualified. Fanshui is good, but if Song Heng could participate, I wouldn't have to worry about my KPI at the end of the month. Then she turned on the charm, leaning close to Luo Fanshuan's face and lifting his chin, letting her lips hover nearby. By the way, as your girlfriend, can I get some special treatment? Seeing this, Luo Fanshuan asked curiously, what do you want? His eyes were full of suspicion. Lina Xuan expressed her intention. Recommend Song Heng to the director of Genius. He plays the piano well. Let the director see if he can participate. But Luo Fanshuan pouted unhappily. You want Song Heng to be that famous. He's not the only artist you manage. Then, with a sad expression, like a shark biting through fiber optic cable, he thought, Song Heng looks at her the same way I do. But Lina Xuan, oblivious, grabbed his hand and whined, Song Heng is my most talented artist. He's bound to become famous, so of course I have to fight for him. Who wants to earn just that little salary every month? This made Luo Fanshuan stunned. Then he understood, propping his chin and thinking. So she wants to make money. He happily raised his head and dropped the line. Then you can spend my money however you want in the future. Then he brightly affirmed, everything I have is yours. This made Lina Xuan sweat, thinking, does he want to keep me? Lina Xuan pretended to toss her hair haughtily and said, our relationship hasn't reached the point where I'd use your money. Secretly thinking, it's most reassuring to use the money I earn myself. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan grabbed Lina Xuan's hand and pressed her onto the sofa, questioning, not use my money. Have you forgotten how intimate we've been? He leaned down and kissed Lina Xuan's neck, reminding her, how about I help you remember? Forced to tilt her neck back, her face flushed, and she shouted, Luo Fanshuan. Then Lina Xuan frowned slightly, because Luo Fanshuan deliberately left a hickey on her neck, then asked, remember now. But Lina Xuan, embarrassed and angry, covered her neck, fuming inwardly, sneaking up on me again, so infuriating. She flicked Luo Fanshuan on the head, making him yelp, "Ouch, that hurts." She yelled like a scalded cat, "Hurry up and get out, we're gonna be late." Sitting in the car outside the filming location, Lina Xuan bid him farewell. "We're here, get out of the car." Then she looked at the clock, the hands pointing to 10:30, sighing inwardly, no matter how much we rushed. Before getting out of the car, Lina Xuan nagged like a mother hen, "Luo Fanshuan, there are countless stars in the entertainment industry. Newcomers appear every year. Only those who cherish opportunities can last. Absolutely do not offend the big shots." Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan perked up. "Are you worried about me?" Lina Xuan frowned. "Of course I'm worried." But the words stopped at her lips, her gaze falling on the person in front of her. Luo Fanshuan propped his chin in his hand, looking at her affectionately, a happy smile overflowing on his face. He squinted and said, "Thank you for caring about me. Don't worry, I'll take care of you." These sweet words made Lina Xuan's heart race, and her eyes glaze over. Waving as he got out of the car, Luo Fanshuan said, "Qinli told me this morning that the shooting time was pushed back by 30 minutes, so I won't be late at all." Hearing this, Lina Xuan, sitting in the car, thought uncomfortably, "That jerk Qinli, she didn't tell me, making me worry for nothing." But soon she stared into the distance, lost in thought. Recalling Luo Fanshuan's sunny and bright face, she thought to herself, just a few words of encouragement made him so happy. Lina Xuan smiled with satisfaction. Suddenly, a message popped up. Account balance 500,000. Recipient, Lina Xuan. Payer, Luo Fanshuan. First time being a boyfriend, not sure if 500,000 is enough for monthly expenses. Seeing this message, Lina Xuan thought, Luo Fanshuan. She stroked her chin, thinking, does Luo Fanshuan really want to take care of me? It's a pity that my life's ambition isn't to be a kept woman. She messaged him back, I'm not so useless that I need someone to support me. I'll save the money for you for now. I'm counting on you to recommend Song Heng. But Luo Fanshuan pouted and pretended to be angry. You only care about your artist. I'm jealous. I'm not easy to appease. Hearing this, she quickly coaxed him, good little brother, help your sister, please moi. Then he sent a message. Just kidding. Don't worry. I'll do anything you say. He also attached a photo of himself, making an OK sign with his hand, surrounded by floating hearts. Seeing this, Lina Xuan laughed, letting out a pampered sigh. Suddenly, a blond man angrily knocked on the car window, startling Lina Xuan. She turned around in confusion. Luo Fanshuan. As soon as she lowered the window, he blurted out, Lina Xuan, what is the meaning of this? Breaking up over the phone. What do you take me for? If we're breaking up, I should be the one to do it. Looking at his pitiful appearance, Lina Xuan sighed. The great director's pride can't stand being dumped, but he still has to pretend to be magnanimous on the surface. Luo Fanshuan, there are so many beautiful women in the entertainment industry, many more talented and outstanding than me. He was stunned. She continued, you haven't wanted to be entangled with someone like me for a long time, have you? Luo Fanshuan's brain went on vacation, and he came to his own conclusion. So she feels inferior, feels she's not good enough for me. Then, leaning against the car door, Luo Fanshuan boasted, Xuan, although many women throw themselves at me every day, you don't have to underestimate yourself. Just pretend the breakup never happened. Don't be like this. We can still have fun, he said in a typical playboy tone. It's not like I hate you. This made Lina Xuan look at him as if he were a ghost. Remembering the days she spent catering to him, Lina Xuan thought sarcastically, all these years, he's always acted superior in front of me. I didn't feel like his girlfriend, more like a subordinate. Then she concluded, being with him made me feel terrible. He had even pointed at her and scolded her. So the more Lina Xuan thought about it, the more she felt that things needed to change or end. I have to make things clear with him today. Lina Xuan pushed Luo Fanshuan's face away and declared, you may not dislike me, but I particularly dislike you. Then she rolled up the car window, exposing Luo Fanshuan. At that party, I saw you and Qinli being very intimate. Now, the whole Ely company is gossiping about you too. You may not care about your reputation, but I do. Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan was stunned. No, that's not. Then he patted the car window, explaining it was Qinli who said that the Luo Fanshuan she manages insisted on her bringing him to meet me. Luo Fanshuan thought to himself, Xuan is beautiful and talented. She makes me look good. I can't let her get away. These words hit Lina Xuan like a bolt from the blue. What did you say? Luo Fanshuan asked Qin Li to come find you. Lu Feng argued, it's absolutely true. Qin Li clung to me the entire party, kept saying her Luo Fanshuan wanted to be in your art film. We talked about it clearly at the party, but the next day, she stood me up. Suddenly, Lina Xuan propped her chin in her hand, lost in thought. At that party, after I discovered Lu Feng and Qin Li's affair, I was drowning my sorrows. At that time, as Lina Xuan sat drinking, she overheard two people gossiping. Hey, looks like Qin Li has Lu Feng wrapped around her finger. Yeah, once Qin Li makes a move, he's basically done for. They're definitely going to be doing it tonight. Lina Xuan finished her drink in one gulp, thinking, the more I hear, the angrier I get. Just then, someone said, sister, drinking so much isn't good for you. It was Luo Fanshuan. He quietly walked behind Lina Xuan and whispered, take a break. Then a restricted scene flashed through Lina Xuan's mind. After that, I borrowed alcohol. She pressed her hand against her sweaty forehead, piecing together the clues, realizing everything was a mess. Thinking about it now, these things were too coincidental. Coupled with Luo Fanshuan's overly obsessive behavior towards me these past few days, I strongly suspect he orchestrated this. Outside the car, Lu Feng shamelessly pressed his hand against the window, saying, Xuan, it's all a misunderstanding, right? We don't have to break up. But Lina Xuan coldly refused. Your cheating is a fact. Besides, I don't want to serve a spoiled brat like you anymore. But he shamelessly argued I didn't cheat. You're always busy with work, no time for me. Men have needs, but my heart belongs to you. Hearing this, Lina Xuan retorted with disgust, you're right, I've been too busy to see the true face of a scumbag like you. She then stepped on the gas and sped off, leaving Lu Feng in the dust. While driving, Lina Xuan called to investigate Qin Li. I heard you've been discussing a new film with director Lu recently. How's it going? Qin Li on the other end of the phone spoke frankly, oh, you mean that? If Xiao Fan hadn't said he was interested in director Lu's new film, I wouldn't have gone to talk to him about the script. Then Xiao Fan told me the next day he wasn't interested anymore. I really don't understand what he's playing at. You have no idea how much energy I wasted. After hanging up, Lina Xuan frowned in thought. As I suspected, Luo Fanshuan had Qin Li take the initiative to approach Lu Feng about the script. Xiao Fan, why did you do this? Have you been calculating me all along? What do you want from me? Meanwhile, elsewhere, a private lounge door read special actor Luo Fanshuan's dedicated lounge. A hairstylist was styling Luo Fanshuan's hair. The hairstylist chatted while working. Wow, I've been a hairstylist for so long, and this is the first time I've seen an actor with such good hair. Luo Fanshuan humbly replied, oh, it's nothing. Even the best hair needs a professional hairstylist, especially someone as talented and professional as you. Hearing this, the hairstylist was flattered but pretended to be modest. Oh, you flatter me. Afterward, Luo Fanshuan impatiently checked his phone, wondering what his sister was doing. Qin Li, standing behind him with her arms crossed, observed. He checks his phone every 2 minutes. What was she thinking about? Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan's phone rang. Seeing the caller ID, he answered with a honey-sweet voice. Hello. Okay, I'll wait for you, sister. Seeing him like this, both the hairstylist and Qin Li became suspicious. Qin Li wondered, who is he talking to? Why is he so happy? The hairstylist whispered, it seems the person on the other end of the line is very important. Then Luo Fanshuan hurriedly got up and said goodbye. Sister Qin, if there's nothing important scheduled for today, I'll leave first. Thank you everyone for your hard work. I'll treat you to milk tea next time. Watching him rush out like the wind, Qin Li called after him, don't forget tomorrow morning's shoot. But Luo Fanshuan didn't look back, just waved his hand and said, got it. Left in the silence, Qin Li pondered. Xiao Fan has been acting strange lately. Who is he rushing to see? And he didn't return to his apartment last night either. Could it be? He's in love. Then she suddenly snapped out of it, her eyes widening with worry. I hope I'm overthinking it. CEO Lu absolutely cannot know about this. Suddenly, as if to confirm her fears, CEO Lu called, making Qin Li's heart jump into her throat. Speak of the devil. The other party got straight to the point. Qin Li, how is Xiao Fan doing lately? She obediently replied, CEO Lu, he's been busy with work recently. He just finished and went to rest. CEO Lu, also known as Luo Keifu, is Luo Fanshuan's father, and also the boss and largest shareholder of Yao Entertainment. There seems to be some kind of contract between Luo Fanshuan and CEO Lu. He's like the financial backer, controlling everything behind Luo Fanshuan. Qinli thought. The strange thing is, Luo Fanshuan became famous first, and then his father signed him to the company. And their relationship is so strained that they need me to act as an intermediary. After listening to Qinli's report, CEO Lu instructed, understood. Remember to report all his activities to me promptly. Keep a close eye on him. On this end, Qinli agreed with a cold sweat. Yes, I understand, but she thought to herself, with Luo Fanshuan's personality, how can I keep an eye on him? A moment later, Luo Fanshuan waved in front of Lina Xuan's door, asking, did you miss me, Gigi? But she changed the subject. How did you get here so fast? Didn't I tell you to wait for me outside? Why did you come here? Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan pressed his forehead against hers, saying, I missed you. I came straight here as soon as I got your call. This made Lina Xuan's heart race, and then she shyly scolded, keep your distance. Don't be so clingy at my door. Then she grabbed his collar and pulled him inside. Luo Fanshuan suddenly turned around and hugged Lina Xuan from behind, pushing her into the room, and said with a pleased squint, then let's go inside and chat slowly. But she asked hurriedly, as if her pants were on fire, wait a minute, I have something to ask you. At the party the other night, did you tell Qinli to go find Lu Feng? His smile disappeared instantly. Luo Fanshuan pondered, you're asking this, so you must know something, right? Then he sat down on a chair and admitted, yes, I did. Lina Xuan put her hands on her hips, interrogating him like a detective. Why did you tell her to go find Director Lu? I definitely don't want to be in Director Lu's movie. But he denied any connection. What are you talking about? I want to be in his movies, but there hasn't been a suitable role. I've been constantly criticized by haters for my acting, so I wanted to film an art film to shut them up. Hearing this, Lina Xuan questioned, just to prove your acting skills to the haters, a top star would go film an art film for a relatively unknown director. She continued to press, could it be that you deliberately had Qinli go to Lu Feng and spread their affair rumors? I saw Lu Feng cheating, so I got drunk and then we got together. These words made the skilled actor Luo Fanshuan put on a confused expression, as if he were in a play. Cheating. He grabbed her wrist and pulled Lina Xuan towards him. He sat her on his lap and asked with displeasure, when did you start dating Director Lu? Hearing this, Lina Xuan was surprised. You didn't know. Luo Fanshuan immediately responded with confusion. How would I know? His acting was so convincing that Lina Xuan started to blame herself. Indeed, I didn't make my relationship with Lu Feng public. Not many people know. If Luo Fanshuan didn't know, then he couldn't have deliberately manufactured the scandal. Could it be that I'm overthinking things? Luo Fanshuan asked dejectedly. So you have a boyfriend, then what am I? Now you're even suspecting that I'm looking for an excuse to dump you. Hearing this, Lina Xuan hurriedly explained it was just a reasonable suspicion. But before she could finish, she was pushed down. Luo Fanshuan pressed Lina Xuan onto the sofa and demanded, then how are you going to compensate me for my wounded heart? Seeing this, she grabbed Luo Fanshuan's shoulders and asked, WH, what do you want? Luo Fanshuan looked in her eyes and coaxed, I mean, are you willing? But Lina Xuan didn't answer. Then, using the strategy of silence as consent, Luo Fanshuan whispered in her ear, then I want to sleep with you tonight. But Lina Xuan protested, didn't we already sleep together last night? Even so, he shamelessly denied it. Last night was last night. Tonight is tonight. Then he leaned in and said sweetly, okay. Inwardly, he justified himself. The person you love is a liar. I can only make you see this clearly in this way, even if it's with lies. His words made Lina Xuan try to regain her composure. Luo Fanshuan. We agreed at the beginning, Luo Fanshuan. But he didn't listen, just kissed her neck, and then suddenly dropped a bombshell. Stop thinking about Lu Feng. He doesn't deserve you. You have me now. Hearing this, Lina Xuan sighed, blushed, accepted the reality, and stopped arguing, happily holding Luo Fanshuan's head and saying, actually, I'm fine now. Just as the two were immersed in their sweet moment, a certain third wheel rang the doorbell and shouted, Sister Xian, open the door. I have good news to tell you. Hearing this voice, Lina Xuan was surprised and puzzled. Song Hung. Luo Fanshuan propped himself up on his elbows and complained, do your artists just come to your house whenever they want? But she explained, isn't this normal? I'm an on-call agent 24/7. I basically have no time off. Falling back in her old routine, she pushed him and urged, all right, quickly go hide in my bedroom. But Luo Fanshuan still tried to suggest, let's just pretend we're asleep and ignore him. But Lin Xuan refused. No, this is work. Hearing this, he pouted. Is work more important, or am I more important? This made Lin Xuan scold him angrily. You little rascal. But before she could finish, Luo Fanshuan leaned in and quickly kissed her cheek, making Lin Xuan's eyes widen in surprise, and then her cheeks flushed as she twitched slightly. Then Luo Fanshuan smiled brightly and said, I mean, you can rest for a bit. Your health is also important. Luo Fanshuan's sweet words completely stunned Lin Xuan. She stood there, dazed, watching Luo Fanshuan walk into the bedroom. Suddenly, the doorbell rang frantically. Xuan, Xuan. She snapped back to reality and turned, shouting, coming. She touched her cheek where he had kissed her, smiling blissfully. When did being healthy become so important? She thought. It's been a long time since anyone spoke to me like that. She opened the door and asked directly, Song Heng, what's up? He suddenly gave her a bear hug, excitedly saying, Sister Xuan, the Born Talented program team, contacted me. They want me on the show tomorrow. After a moment, he released her. Lin Xuan congratulated him. Really? That's fantastic. You'll definitely gain a lot of attention and fans on the show. Song Heng, still holding Lin Xuan's hand, said, Sister Xuan, I owe it all to you. Hearing this, Lin Xuan replied, If you really want to thank me, perform well on the show and let the audience see your musical talent. Song Heng immediately agreed. Suddenly, he noticed something else and changed the subject. Sister Xuan, why is your face so red? Are you sick? This made her flustered. She stammered, waving her hand dismissively. No, I just woke up. I'm still not fully awake. The moon was already high in the sky. Seeing this, Song Heng said regretfully, Oh, then I won't disturb your rest. Lin Xuan said goodbye. Okay, goodbye. Moments later, the house was quiet again. Lin Xuan rushed into the bedroom like a rocket, shouting, Xiao. He, sitting on the bed, turned around in confusion. Lin Xuan excitedly pounced on him, grabbing his collar. Thank you for helping Song Heng get the chance to be on Born Talented. But Luo Fanshuan stood there, looking bewildered. He denied it blankly. It wasn't me. I didn't talk to the director about this. Inwardly, he cursed Song Heng. That Song Heng getting on a show is enough to make you excited enough to knock on your manager's door. Lin Xuan asked, puzzled, then how did he get on? Luo Fanshuan retorted unhappily. How would I know? Maybe your artist, Song Heng, has a sugar daddy. Lin Xuan immediately denied it. Impossible. I asked him why he wanted to be an artist, and he said it was to earn money to treat his father's illness. His father is in the hospital now, and Song Heng has been carrying the family's financial burden for 2 years. He hadn't even graduated from university then. If he wanted to find a sugar daddy or something, he wouldn't need to be an artist. With his talent, he could have studied music and reached a higher level. Luo Fanshuan sat and observed Lin Xuan, lost in thought. She frowned, thinking, who helped Song Heng get the chance to be on the show? Lin Xuan racked her brain. An opportunity like Born Talented was too rare, and the director had contacted Song Heng directly instead of her, his manager. She glanced sharply to the side. Luo Fanshuan was sitting there with his legs crossed, staring at her silently like a statue. Lin Xuan's gaze lingered on his chest. Oops, she thought. I was too excited and accidentally pulled his shirt open. But Luo Fanshuan was completely unaware of what she was looking at. Suddenly, he leaned in with a mischievous smile. He wrapped his arms around Lin Xuan's waist, burying his face in her neck. Sister, he asked, what do you want? Why are you looking at me like that? Before he could finish, Lin Xuan turned her head away, denying it. Nothing. Inwardly, she swooned. I didn't see it clearly before, but this kid's physique is really good. Seeing this, Luo Fanshuan's inner sycophant revealed itself. Sister, do you want me? He quickly corrected himself. What do you want me to do? Lin Xuan immediately averted her gaze, replying, well. Suddenly, like a seasoned pro, Luo Fanshuan tucked Lin Xuan's hair behind her ear, saying softly, if you like, you can use me anytime. He finished, blushing and staring at her dreamily. Her eyes were hazy. Lin Xuan's heart pounded. Luo Fanshuan. Suddenly, he leaned in, called her sister, and kissed her. Lin Xuan closed her eyes. Her heart was racing. Then, she suddenly pushed him away, still acting. You're too into it, she reminded herself. My excuse is that I'm a competent manager. Her action didn't anger Luo Fanshuan. Instead, he smiled indulgently. Lin Xuan suddenly broke the ambiguous atmosphere, asking, by the way, you became a top idol at such a young age. Do you have a sugar daddy behind you? Luo Fanshuan jumped, turning his head and denying it with a pale face. No way. Seeing this, Lin Xuan scratched her chin, suspicious. Not a sugar daddy, then a sugar mommy. Luo Fanshuan was speechless. Lina Xuan blurted out a wild guess. Could it be I accidentally became some rich woman's rival? She pictured a middle-aged woman dripping in jewels, pointing at her and yelling, "How dare you steal my man? Do you want to die?" Luo Fanshuan covered his forehead, stifling a laugh. "Your imagination is truly impressive," he teased. "It's getting late. I'm going to take a shower." A moment later, Luo Fanshuan returned, wearing pajamas and drying his hair. He saw Lina Xuan sprawled out asleep, her clothes slipping off her shoulder, one leg dangling off the bed. He chuckled. Her sleeping posture is still so unsightly. He then pulled her clothes back up. Despite all the commotion, Lina Xuan was still sound asleep. Seeing this, Luo Fanshuan's heart stirred. He leaned down, cupping her face. "Sleeping so unguardedly. Aren't you afraid I'll take advantage of you?" he said. He thought, "Your trust in me makes me both happy and troubled." Luo Fanshuan's eyes were gentle, filled with love. He whispered close to her lips, "If you don't wake up soon, I'm really going to make a move on you, sis." Suddenly, Lina Xuan wrapped her arms around his neck and shouted, "What are you waiting for, kid? You have no ambition." Luo Fanshuan was completely caught off guard. He stammered, blushing, sister. But Lina Xuan continued to mumble in her sleep, "Heng, you have to do well. Your dream is coming true, and I'm going to get rich too." Luo Fanshuan's expression was like he'd eaten a truckload of sour lemons. He sighed, a mixture of helplessness and affection, and kissed her forehead. "Sleep well, my money-grubbing sister." The next morning, sunlight streamed through the small window. Lina Xuan groggily opened her eyes. Bam! She locked eyes with Luo Fanshuan, high definition and uncensored. Staring, she thought, "Oh no, I accidentally fell asleep last night." She reached out and touched his face, tracing her fingers down his collarbone, mentally scoring him. What a handsome man. Then, her heart pounding, she thought smugly, "He's mine now. It feels so unreal." Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan spoke, startling her. "Did I wake you?" He then cheekily pointed to his chest. "Not only did I wait all this time, but you only touched me here." Lina Xuan wanted to crawl into a hole. Her eyes widened in disbelief. This kid was awake the whole time. She scolded, "Stop messing around. Get up, it's morning." In Lina Xuan's apartment, she put on her earrings. "Today is Heng's first day filming Born Talented. I'm heading out. Luo Fanshuan, you hurry up too." But Luo Fanshuan placed a plate of bread on the table. "Sis, eat breakfast before you go." Looking at the full table of food, Lina Xuan's eyes widened, realizing he had personally prepared breakfast. Luo Fanshuan brought out a plate of egg tarts, reminding her, "If you're in a hurry, eat these first, they're more filling." Seeing this, Lina Xuan looked at him suspiciously. "These are egg tarts," she said, picking one up. Remembering their earlier conversation, she got angry. "So he was making a joke about my chest. That's why he bought these." She thought furiously, "He thinks my chest is small? How outrageous." She crushed the egg tart in her hand. Seeing this, Luo Fanshuan froze, stammering that egg tarts were meant to be eaten. But she picked up a slice of bread, sulking. "Bread is fine. I need to hurry up and pick up Heng." Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan grabbed Lina Xuan's arm. "Wait, sis," he called out. He hugged her from behind, kissed the top of her head, and told her, "Be careful on the road. Don't rush." Touched by his concern, she blushed and was speechless, glancing at him. "Shaolin." But Luo Fanshuan interrupted her, putting on a pitiful expression. "You only care about Heng. I'm jealous." Lina Xuan, exasperated, knocked him on the head. "Aren't you supposed to be going out too? Do you want to be late?" Luo Fanshuan, rubbing the bump on his head, obediently replied, "Okay." A while later, backstage at the Born Talented recording studio, a middle-aged man with neatly combed hair looked at Lina Xuan and Heng, his face like a monkey that had eaten ginger. "Why are you so late?" "No manners and quite arrogant. Luo Fanshuan is so popular and even he arrived early. Learn from him." Lina Xuan immediately put her hands together in apology. Yes, director, you're right. We'll definitely be on time next time." Watching him leave with his assistant, Heng asked in confusion, "Sister Xuan, we weren't even late. Why did he say that to us?" But she comforted him, "Heng, this industry is like this. When you're popular, they praise you. When you're not, they find fault." She then turned and took his arm, encouraging him. If you can't stand it, just compete well. When you're famous, I'll bask in your glory too. Hearing this, Song Heng blushed. Sister Xuan, he said. He then happily agreed, I understand. I will definitely seize this opportunity, so you don't have to face people like that. Lina Xuan straightened his collar. Good luck. In another corner, Luo Fanshuan, who was adjusting his clothes, saw this scene and turned to look. He observed for a while. A moment later, Lina Xuan received a text message and took out her phone to check it. Seeing Luo Fanshuan's message complaining that his sister hadn't fixed his tie yet, she turned to look at him. Looking at Luo Fanshuan's unhappy expression, she inwardly judged that even this child could get jealous. Then Lina Xuan teased him, saying, Your heart is smaller than a tartlet. Luo Fanshuan scratched his head, confused. What do you mean? Why compare it to a tartlet? Suddenly, she covered her mouth, remembering that Luo Fanshuan had once compared her breasts to custard buns. Then she remembered Lina Xuan kneading buns that morning and couldn't help but chuckle. So that's what he meant. That's quite cute. Seeing the cutie smile so happily, the staff all blushed, thinking that Luo Fanshuan could actually smile so dreamily. Suddenly, the director shouted, Xiaoxian, start the show with hip-hop. Then Song Heng will play the piano on stage 5. You can slow dance. Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan said, Song Heng plays the piano and I dance. Who will pay attention to Song Heng's playing? The stylist explained that this was Shun Li's arrangement and that Shun Li wouldn't let him suffer. Knowing who made the arrangements, Luo Fanshuan scoffed inwardly. Shun Li indeed won't let me suffer, but she will let Song Heng suffer. Then he put his hands in his pockets and sauntered over to Lina Xuan, asking Sister Xianxian, Is Song Heng just playing the piano today? She didn't hide it, replying, Yes, just playing the piano today. He'll sing in the finals. Song Heng sings very well. He'll definitely amaze everyone. He glanced at Song Heng and quipped, Why not let him sing today? What if he doesn't even make it to the finals? This provoked Song Heng, Luo Fanshuan. Even if my popularity is not as high as yours, I won't be eliminated in the first round. But Luo Fanshuan retorted directly, You know your popularity is not as high as mine. So if you play the piano and I dance, will the audience even look at you? Seeing this, Song Heng angrily shouted you. But Lina Xuan sensed a problem and stopped him, asking, Wait, you said the director arranged for you and Song Heng to perform together. Luo Fanshuan put his hands on his hips and replied, I can only remind you this much. Although I don't like Song Heng, but his eyes were full of meaning. He looked at Lina Xuan, thinking, I don't want you to be disappointed. She seemed to immediately understand what Luo Fanshuan wanted to say, thinking, Is he helping me? Watching Luo Fanshuan leave, Song Heng patted his chest and said, Sister Xianxian, don't listen to Luo Fanshuan. Even if he dances next to me, I won't necessarily be eliminated. But her gaze followed Luo Fanshuan, saying, He's a big star now, too dazzling. We can't take that risk. Patting Song Heng's shoulder, she comforted him. Born talented requires contestants to perform better than their first time. Listen to me, I have a plan. Seeing this, Song Heng blushed and agreed. Okay, I'll listen to you. As Song Heng sat down to prepare for his performance, Lina Xuan received a message. Luo Fanshuan coaxed her in a coquettish manner. Don't be angry. Next time I'll take you to that custard bun shop. Their buns are huge, about the same size as your cup size. Seeing this message, Lina Xuan sighed, 3 parts exasperated and 7 parts amused. Is this kid trying to comfort me? Turning to look at his back, she mused, this feeling is really strange. Then she looked at the message again, thinking happily, it's the first time I feel like I can understand his thoughts in a crowd. The Born Talented stage began, the music started, and Luo Fanshuan rushed onto the stage. As soon as he appeared, the audience went wild, screaming, Luo Fanshuan, I love you. Then Luo Fanshuan started dancing, sweat dripping down his cheeks. The fans in the audience, mostly girls, waved their light sticks and shouted, Luo Fanshuan, I love you. Luo Fanshuan, I love you. Standing backstage watching his performance, Lina Xuan thought his stamina is really good. Then her mind wandered, drifting back to their first night together, and she commented inwardly, no wonder he was like that night. After Luo Fanshuan's opening performance, the first round continued with another male artist singing. Next, a girl played the violin, and the fourth act was a male artist playing the guitar and singing. Then the host announced, next, please welcome contestant Song Heng to the stage. His dance partner is Luo Fanshuan. Hearing this, the fans went crazy. It's Luo Fanshuan. Xuan has another performance. Awesome. I only want to see Xuan. Luo Fanshuan. Luo Fanshuan. Backstage, Shunli thought smugly. Looking at this situation, Song Heng will definitely be overshadowed. As long as he's suppressed, Xiao Xian will always be Yao Yu's top pillar. At the same time, Lina Xuan worriedly cheered. Song hung on in her heart. Song Heng, fighting. You can do it. Then Song Heng began to play the first few chords on the piano, but Luo Fanshuan, standing next to him, just stood with his eyes closed, making everyone whisper in confusion. The music has started. Why isn't Xuan dancing yet? The audience began to marvel at the beautiful piano music. Shunli, however, was anxious. Xuan, hurry up and dance. If you don't, Song Heng will steal your spotlight. Lina Xuan also watched in surprise. What's wrong with Xiao? Suddenly, Song Heng began to sing in a pleasant voice. The audience was immediately captivated. I didn't expect Song Heng's voice to be so beautiful, so natural and touching. At this moment, Luo Fanshuan started dancing, and the fans below the stage went wild. Look, Shushu is dancing. His dance matches the music perfectly, despite hearing the audience's praise. A perfect combination of dance and music. Shunli gritted her teeth in annoyance. Xiaoan, what are you doing? You're a top star. Why are you acting as a background dancer for Lina Xuan's nobody? Lina Xuan's eyes widened, touched. Luo Fanshuan's dance is actually complimenting Song Heng's singing. She remembered what Luo Fanshuan had said earlier. Let him sing today. What if he can't even make it to the finals? Lina Xuan blushed with emotion, thinking with a smile, so he planned this all along. Thank you, Xiaoan. A moment later, Shunli followed Luo Fanshuan backstage, nagging. Xiaoan, what are you thinking? Song Heng has already made it to the finals. Don't you know that monopolizing the spotlight is the most profitable thing in this industry? As they walked, Luo Fanshuan suddenly heard, Sister Xian. I did it. Song Heng hugged Lina Xuan excitedly. I made it to the finals. I didn't disappoint you this time. She was also very happy. You just lacked an opportunity. As long as you have a chance, you can let everyone see a different you. Suddenly, Song Heng said with excitement, Sister Xian, thank you. He stopped mid-sentence, leaving Lina Xuan confused. Song Heng's eyes were full of longing, like a puppy in love. He thought, no matter what difficulties I encounter, you're always by my side, believing in me, encouraging me, and always helping me find the way forward. Sister Xian, I like you. When I win the award in the finals, I'll confess to you. Watching their intimate behavior, Luo Fanshuan scowled, emitting a demonic aura, indignant. Don't smile so happily with others. That Song Heng has ulterior motives towards you. Seeing him standing still, Shunli behind him asked impatiently, Hey Xiao, are you listening to me? Luo Fanshuan then replied angrily, So what if he made it to the finals? I just don't want to use those kind of tactics. I'll defeat him in the finals. Then he muttered to himself about Lina Xuan. I'll show you who's truly capable. Suddenly, his phone received a notification. It was a message from her. Thank you for today. Can you come to my house tonight? I have a gift for you. Seeing this, Luo Fanshuan was pleasantly surprised. She prepared a gift especially for me. But he still said coquettishly, so you still remember me. But you have to come downstairs to pick me up. There are too many cats near your house. Lina Xuan immediately replied, Don't worry, I'll definitely get you to my house safely. Luo Fanshuan's mood immediately brightened. Holding his phone, his eyes were full of love. That night at Lina Xuan's house, Luo Fanshuan asked helplessly, You're saying this is a thank you gift? Lina Xuan said while serving him food, Yes, I rarely cook. Although it's microwaved, I put a lot of effort into it. Eat more. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan grabbed her wrist and hugged Lina Xuan's waist, pulling her closer. We can't eat too much in this industry. Can we have something else? Hearing this, she stammered. Something else. He immediately said, For example. Then he hugged her tightly, resting his head against Lina Xuan's chest as an answer, making her blush and her heart race. You're still so energetic after working so hard today. Pushing his luck, Luo Fanshuan looked up and declared, As long as you want, I can accompany you anytime. Lina Xuan, both embarrassed and annoyed, knocked him on the head, making him see stars. He yelled, I said I'd tell you during dinner. But seeing him clutching his head and pretending to be pitiful, she asked with concern, hands on her hips, Why are you acting so wrong? Actor Luo Fanshuan immediately went back into character. You only cared about Song Heng today, and in the end, you didn't even offer a word of comfort. Hearing this, Lina Xuan rubbed her forehead, thinking with 3 parts helplessness and 7 parts one knew it. This guy is so serious at work. Why does he become a different person in front of me? She picked up some food to coax him. All right, don't be sad. Come and try my cooking. Lina Xuan asked with narrowed eyes. How is it? As soon as the food entered his mouth, Luo Fanshuan thought in surprise. This taste. He touched his lips, thinking, so nostalgic. When he was young, Lina Xuan once brought Luo Fanshuan a bowl of rice and said, "Don't your family cook for you? Try mine." Even though Luo Fanshuan protested, "I'm full," she still fed him, even threatening, "You're full after eating so little. Do you think it's not tasty?" He quickly shook his head in fear. No. Back then, Lina Xuan proudly patted her chest and said, "Come to me if you're hungry in the future. I'll cook for you." For a child lacking affection, Luo Fanshuan was deeply moved. His eyes wide and mouth open, he agreed, "Okay." Back in the present, Luo Fanshuan ate while sighing inwardly. After so many years, her cooking hadn't changed a bit. Suddenly, Lina Xuan, sitting next to him, propped her chin on her hand and said, "Xuan, let's talk about something." This made Luo Fanshuan very curious. She began, "Can you teach Song Heng to dance?" Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan's face darkened. He asked, "Why me? Can't someone else do it?" But she looked at him with pleading eyes. "You're the best to teach him. Song Heng can make it to the finals." Lina Xuan's words instantly broke the ambiguous atmosphere between them. Luo Fanshuan put down his chopsticks, extremely unhappy. "So you did all this for Song Heng? I was really being presumptuous." Seeing this, Lina Xuan innocently asked, "Aren't you going to eat anymore?" Luo Fanshuan crossed his arms, his face gloomy. "I'm consciously refusing a bribe." But Lina Xuan covered her mouth, giggling. She leaned closer, asking with feminine charm, "Are you sure you can refuse?" Luo Fanshuan blushed and was speechless. He still weakly insisted, "Of course I can." Lina Xuan was unhappy at being ignored. "Humph, you dare ignore me." As a competitive person, she forcibly turned his face and kissed him, thinking that if it weren't for his help today, their team might not have passed this round of Born Talented. "Thank you, Xiaohuan." Luo Fanshuan's eyes widened in surprise at Lina Xuan's initiative. He looked at her half-closed eyes and slightly flushed cheeks, so close to him. Luo Fanshuan was gradually seduced, his eyes becoming hazy, as if he would let her do anything. He hugged Lina Xuan tightly, thinking, "You're willing to go this far for Song Heng." Then he pulled her onto his lap and deepened the kiss, startling Lina Xuan, her eyes widening. She thought, "What the?" Gasping, she wondered, "What's wrong with Xiaoan? This kiss is different from before, so intense, like he wants to devour me." A moment later, Lina Xuan stammered breathlessly, "Enough, Xiaoan." After they separated, both were panting heavily, as if they had almost drowned. Then Luo Fanshuan cupped the back of her head and said, "This isn't enough to bribe me." He kissed her neck domineeringly. "At least it has to be like this." Then he lowered his head and kissed her chest, adding, "And like this." Seeing this, Lina Xuan blushed, frowning and stopping him. "Xiaoan, wait, did you misunderstand something? I was just thanking you." Then she looked at Luo Fanshuan seriously, sharing her late-night thoughts. "As for teaching Song Heng to dance, I think your dancing skills are the best in the industry. I'm most at ease with you teaching him. Song Heng is my artist, and every agent wants their artist to be successful." But Luo Fanshuan frowned, grimacing like a monkey eating ginger. "If you're doing this for money, you don't need to worry about your artist. I've already said, all the money I earn is yours." Then he whined like a wronged puppy. "50,000 a month for allowance isn't enough. I can give you more. Can't you trust that my woman won't suffer?" Hearing this, Lina Xuan was stunned, murmuring, "Xiaoan." Lina Xuan thought tenderly, "I don't believe in eternal love, but his feelings are like fire, both pure and intense." Unconsciously, Lina Xuan reached out and caressed Luo Fanshuan's perfect face, thinking, maybe. Then, looking at the hint of sadness in his eyes, she considered confessing to him. Finally, Lina Xuan said bluntly, "Xiaoan, what I want is my own career. I have my own ideals and dreams." Lina Xuan turned away sadly, thinking, of course, Born Talented is currently being recorded, and they are considered rivals. It's normal that he doesn't want to teach. I'll find someone else. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan grabbed Lina Xuan's hand, stopping her from leaving. His thoughts were a mess, and he blurted out, "You're wrong. That's not what I care about." He thought, "I care that you're too focused on Song Heng." But Luo Fanshuan was also calculating. "If I teach Song Heng to dance, I can see her every day." Then he compromised. "Fine, I'll teach Song Heng to dance, but there's a tuition fee." Hearing this, Lina Xuan, sitting on Luo Fanshuan's lap, asked, "How much? Name your price." Suddenly, he hugged her and said, "This is the tuition fee. closing his eyes and caressing her. A second later, Lin Xuan squinted and cried out, ah. Luo Fanshuan had already left a mark on her neck. Seeing this, Lin Xuan reminded him, hey, what if someone sees this hickey? But Luo Fanshuan domineeringly demanded, not just today, every time I teach Song Heng, I want to leave a mark. This is the tuition fee. Do you accept? Then he rested his head on Lin Xuan's shoulder and worriedly said, the way Song Heng looks at you makes me uneasy, just like the way I look at you. Leaving a mark will let him know you're already taken. Lin Xuan looked bewildered, as confused as a monkey looking at its own butt, and curiously asked, why do you always want this tuition fee? Luo Fanshuan sulked, forget it. If you're not happy, I won't teach him. She immediately agreed. Okay, I'll pay. Luo Fanshuan breathed a sigh of relief and happily grabbed her hand. Then pay some now. Lin Xuan had a compromise. All right, be gentle this time. Hearing this, he replied, okay, baby. He gently lowered his head and placed a kiss on Lin Xuan's lips. The two embraced and kissed for a long time. One evening, at Easy Media, Lin Xuan announced the Born Talented Finals are 1 month away. During this time, Luo Fanshuan will teach Song Heng how to dance. Song Heng wondered, I heard his schedule is full for next year. Why would he be willing to spend time teaching me? Seeing him standing there like a wooden stake, Lin Xuan nudged him. What are you spacing out for? Go say hello. Hearing this, Song Heng politely extended his hand. Hello. Teacher Luo, I didn't expect you to teach me. But Luo Fanshuan sarcastically said with displeasure, I don't want to teach either. He remembered overhearing a TV station interview Song Heng. What kind of woman does Song Heng like? At the time, he had answered, I like women a few years older than me. Jean Li snorted from behind. A nobody trying to grab attention like this. But Luo Fanshuan also said, oh, I also like someone older than me. Hearing this, Jean Li, as if she had stepped in dog poop, sharply said, Xuan, you're a big star. You can't talk nonsense during interviews. Song Heng was embarrassed by Luo Fanshuan's domineering reply, his hands still awkwardly hanging in the air. If you don't want to teach, then why are you teaching? Luo Fanshuan glanced at Lin Xuan and vaguely replied, forced by beauty. Lin Xuan immediately felt guilty, grabbed both of their hands, and forced them to shake, explaining, we're all from the same company. It's only right to help each other. Xuan also hopes you can win in the finals. After that, the practice room fell silent. Lin Xuan stood by and watched Luo Fanshuan teach Song Heng how to dance, secretly amazed. After just an hour of practice, Song Heng's progress was faster than 4 hours in dance class. Truly, one is known by the company they keep. Then she looked intently at Luo Fanshuan and thought, although Xuan was reluctant at first, he's teaching very seriously, not perfunctory at all. He said he didn't want to teach Song Heng, not because he's a competitor, could it be? Suddenly, Lin Xuan realized something, her face flushing red as she gasped in surprise. He's jealous. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan turned around and saw Lin Xuan smiling at him. She raised her hand and silently mouthed, idiot, then silently mouthed again, you're the idiot. Finally, she gestured, you're my boyfriend. This stunned Luo Fanshuan, his face flushing crimson, and then he quickly turned around to hide his expression, smiling happily. Luo Fanshuan stretched and said, all right, that's all for today. But Song Heng didn't want to stop. Teacher Luo, I can learn more. You just want to be lazy and sit down? Luo Fanshuan quipped. Seeing this, Lin Xuan came over with water, giving him pleading puppy dog eyes. Teacher Luo, you've worked hard, have some water. Luo Fanshuan still wasn't satisfied, blinking his eyes coquettishly. My shoulders are sore too. Lin Xuan immediately rolled up her sleeves. Let me give Teacher Luo a shoulder massage. The increasingly demanding Luo Fanshuan enjoyed the massage and pushed it further. My legs seem uncomfortable too. Lin Xuan massaged his shoulders, speechless, slightly increasing the pressure as a hint. Enough is enough. Don't take advantage of my kindness. At this time, Song Heng naively thought, Huang is really worried about me. Suddenly, he stepped forward, knelt on one knee, and blurted out, Teacher Luo, let me massage your legs. Luo Fanshuan was startled by Song Heng's action, dodging like he was avoiding the plague. What are you doing? Song Heng looked innocently confused. Didn't you say your legs were uncomfortable? uncomfortable. But Luo Fanshuan snorted disdainfully. It's none of your business. Don't touch me. Hearing this, Song Heng got angry. So only Huang Huang can massage your legs. You can order me around, but you can't order my manager around. He thought, everyone says Luo Fanshuan isn't a bad person, but they're all full of it. Luo Fanshuan also got angry, retorting, this is how I am. What can you do about it? Jealousy churned within him. What do you mean, your manager? As the two men were about to erupt into a full-blown fight, Song Heng roared, you. Lina Xuan quickly intervened. All right, stop arguing. It's getting late. Song Heng, I'll take you home. Song Heng turned around and said angrily, fine, Sister Xian, let's go. Luo Fanshuan, however, wouldn't budge. I'm going too. The two men immediately glared at each other like tiger cubs, growling over a coveted toy. Luo Fanshuan cursed inwardly. Thinks he could be alone with my girlfriend. Dream on. Lina Xuan, sweating profusely, was at her wit's end. She sighed and said, fine, both of you come with me. Soon, the car stopped in front of an apartment building. Lina Xuan said, Song Heng, we're here. From a back seat, Song Heng mumbled, Teacher Luo, can I talk to you for a few minutes? Before Luo Fanshuan could answer, Lina Xuan interrupted, it's late. Whatever it is, you can talk about it tomorrow. But Luo Fanshuan opened the passenger door. Fine, I have something to say to him too. Let's go. Lina Xuan, remaining in the car, said worriedly, don't fight. In a corner of the apartment building, Song Heng spoke first. Teacher Luo, thank you so much for this, but if you have any requests, just come to me. Please don't make things difficult for Sister Xian. Luo Fanshuan crossed his arms and questioned, what right do you have to say this to me? What is Xian to you? Song Heng blushed and stammered, Sister Xian is my manager. Luo Fanshuan's eyes were like those of a bloodthirsty killer as he listened to him continue. I have a responsibility to protect her. He scoffed, protect her. Your responsibility. Then, with an arrogant look, Luo Fanshuan dropped a bombshell. Sorry, you don't have the responsibility to protect someone else's girlfriend. Song Heng was stunned into silence. What? Someone else's girlfriend? Luo Fanshuan immediately gave him a pointed look. Why do you think I help you with your dance practice? He stepped closer to Song Heng. Don't think I don't know what you're thinking. His eyes filled with possessiveness. Luo Fanshuan threatened, stay away from her. He added with a touch of disdain, she's not someone you can dream about. Song Heng stammered, when did you two get together? Luo Fanshuan, one hand in his pocket, stood ramrod straight. The night of her birthday. Hearing this answer, Song Heng froze, thinking so was that night. I've been waiting until I achieved something before confessing to Xuan, but I was too late. But he was still unwilling to give up, retorting sarcastically, Luo Fanshuan, someone like you is never short of women, and Sister Xuan is older than you. Are you serious? Do you think she'll believe you? These words hit a nerve with Luo Fanshuan. Enraged, he grabbed Song Heng's collar, tearing it slightly. Song Heng, who do you think you're to question my feelings? Song Heng was not to be outdone, yelling back, do you think my feelings for Sister Xuan are a joke? If you dare treat her badly, I won't let you off. Luo Fanshuan sneered, is that so? His eyes were sharp as knives. Don't worry, I won't give you that opportunity. Moments later, inside Lina Xuan's apartment. Pulled into the apartment by Luo Fanshuan. Lina Xuan asked curiously, Xian, what's wrong? You've been silent since we got back. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan pinned her against the wall, startling Lina Xuan. Did you fight with Song Heng again? She asked, her eyes wide. But Luo Fanshuan, domineering and silent, lowered his head and kissed her. Blushing, she squirmed slightly. Don't mention him, or I won't be able to control myself. Lina Xuan just started to speak, Xian, when he silenced her with another kiss. As he kissed her, Song Heng's words echoed in Luo Fanshuan's mind. Luo Fanshuan, are you serious? The more he thought about it, the angrier he became, and he kissed her harder, chanting in his mind, shut up, shut up. After a long while, they finally parted. But the next second, Luo Fanshuan lowered his head again, leaving Lina Xuan bewildered. Xian, what's wrong? Luo Fanshuan rested his head against Lina Xuan's chest and asked, you don't believe me either, do you? Seeing him like this, she hesitantly called out, Xian. But Luo Fanshuan didn't look up. You're a big shot in the entertainment industry, and I'm younger than you, so. His eyes like a lost puppy, he said with chip, Ly, you think I'm not serious about you too, don't you? You don't believe in my feelings, do you? Seeing him like this, Lina Xuan was stunned, thinking, Xian. She looked as bewildered as a cow with a bow, then let out a long sigh. Then, Stroking Luo Fanshuan's cheek, she confessed, "To be honest, at first I didn't believe it. I wasn't sure our future would be perfect." This stunned him. She leaned closer and explained, "But a perfect relationship is created by two people together. On my birthday, I decided to try and believe you." Luo Fanshuan's face immediately lit up. Lina Xuan looked directly into his eyes and added, "In my dictionary, escaping has never been the way to solve problems. Facing them is the only way out." She smiled, her cheeks flushed, and said, "I'm facing your feelings, choosing to trust you." Her words made Luo Fanshuan feel like he was walking on clouds. His eyes sparkled as he thought, "Sister." He hugged Lina Xuan tightly and whispered, "Thank you." Then he thought happily, "Meeting you was the best thing." Seeing him calm down, Lina Xuan asked, "What exactly did you say to Song Heng tonight that made you come back so angry?" Still holding her, he replied, "I told him about our relationship. We don't have to hide it from him anymore." Hearing this, Lina Xuan was shocked and felt immense pressure. "This is too sudden. Didn't we agree not to go public?" But Luo Fanshuan explained, "I'm not going public. Song Heng is your artist. It's for his own good. He'll keep our secret. Maybe he can even help us cover it up someday." He was so slick with his words that she was completely bewildered. Lina Xuan thought he has a point. Next month, Xiaon will be teaching Song Heng how to dance. Even if we don't tell him, Song Heng might find out. So she made a plan. "Then let's treat Song Heng to a meal sometime. After all, we'll need him to keep our secret." Luo Fanshuan immediately agreed. "Okay, you're the boss." Then she ruthlessly pushed him out. "All right, that's enough for tonight. Go home." Seeing this, Luo Fanshuan looked as dejected as if he had lost his wallet. He pleaded, "It's so late. Can't I stay?" But Lina Xuan flatly refused, pushing him out the door and scolding, "You've already stayed for several days. Go." She slammed the door shut, leaving the puppy-like Luo Fanshuan standing outside feeling wrong. He thought, treating Song Heng to dinner, huh? He smiled slyly. Good, it's time to make him face reality. Then he put his hands in his pockets and left happily. I can't be soft-hearted towards a rival in love. No one can have her. Meanwhile, Lina Xuan sent a message. "Song Heng, don't tell anyone about me and Xiaon, especially Xiaoyu. She can't keep a secret." He replied, "Don't worry, I'll keep it a secret. Congrats, Hee." Seeing this, she was happy. "Thanks, Song Heng. I'll treat you to dinner another day." Song Heng sat on his bed, scrolling through messages, his mood plummeting to rock bottom. He thought painfully, "Is it true, Xianjie? Are you really with Luo Fanshuan?" Song Heng then walked into the living room where Han Dong was playing video games. He shouted at his twin brother Han, "She move." Seeing Song Heng, Han Shi turned around and invited, "Heng, you're not asleep yet. Want one?" But Han Dong scoffed, "Are you stupid? Heng never drinks beer." But Song Heng bent down and took a can, saying dejectedly, "Just this once. I got dumped tonight." Hearing this, Han Dong asked, Xianjie rejected you." This completely shocked Song Heng, who questioned, "You all knew." Han Dong scratched his head guiltily. "Anyone could see you liked Xianjie." Han Shi, who was standing beside him, agreed, "Yeah, even Xiaoyu knew." These words made Song Heng even more depressed. "Yeah, even you guys knew, but she didn't. I thought she didn't like me because I'm young. But who knew Luo Fanshuan is even younger than me?" He then took a swig of beer to drown his sorrows, muttering to himself, "If I had confessed earlier, would I be your boyfriend now?" Seeing him like this, Han Dong and Han, she looked flustered and tried to comfort him. "Heng, don't be like this. Maybe Xianjie rejected you because she's worried about affecting your career. Maybe in a few years, when you're more established, Xianjie will accept you." Hearing this, Song Heng's heart stirred, and he began to daydream, secretly calculating, yes, no matter how popular Luo Fanshuan is, he may not be truly devoted to her forever, but I'm different. In my heart, there's only her. Then he angrily crushed the beer can, thinking, as long as I stay by her side, I'll have a chance someday. The person threw the photo on the bed for the red-haired girl to see. Looking at the photo, she had a puzzled look on her face. Song Heng and Xuan. Then Huang Dian abruptly sat up and shouted, "No way. The boy toy my mom keeps actually knows my idol." The man beside her held up his phone and reported, but they seemed to be arguing. Gao Zi was too far away to hear clearly, but he recorded it. She snatched the phone and pressed play. Huang Jian watched the video, biting her nails, and thought, I originally wanted to show my dad the photos of Song Heng and my stepmother, so he would know what kind of wife he married, but I didn't expect Song Heng to dare argue with our Xuan. I'm going to post this online and cancel him. The next morning, Lina Xuan's phone rang nonstop. Her phone rang from the bedside table. The voice on the other end exploded. Lina Xuan, are you trying to make your artist an overnight sensation? Did you deliberately film the video of Song Heng and Xiao and arguing to create hype? Lina Xuan was still half asleep and asked in confusion, "Sister, what are you talking about?" Jinli shrieked, "Don't play dumb. It's already trending." This made Lin Xuan bolt upright like a spring. Could it be the argument they had last night when they were alone together? Sure enough, the internet was flooded with angry comments, all centered around Song Heng Luo Fanshuan argument. How dare Song Heng scold our Xuan? Xuan, what a mess. Xuan baby, hugs. Mommy loves you, Xuan. Who is Song Heng? Song Heng apologize. Apologize. A barrage of Song Heng apologize followed. Seeing this, Lina Xuan's face paled, and she frowned, thinking, Xiao has too many fans, and they're all cursing Song Heng. This is bad. Song Heng has to go to the company this morning, and Xiao's fans will definitely surround him. Downstairs at Song Heng's apartment building, a large group of young people were shouting, and Song Heng seemed to be saying, "I'm sorry, everyone." Lina Xuan got out of the car behind them, completely panicked, thinking it seems that getting Song Heng out of here won't be easy. Suddenly, a fan pointed at the person who had just rushed out of the building and shouted, "It's Song Heng. Don't let him run away." Song Heng, apologize. At this moment, Song Heng, wearing a black hat and mask, ran while looking back, hearing the crowd shouting, "Song Heng, don't run." At the same time, Lina Xuan also desperately ran over, patted his shoulder, and said, "Song Heng, come with me." Seeing her, Song Heng was startled. Sister Xian. The two of them ran like that, with a group of fans chasing after them like they'd seen delicious food, shouting, "Song Heng is trying to run. Catch him. Stop them." Suddenly, Lin Xuan froze when she heard someone shout Xuan. At this time, the fans surrounded Luo Fanshuan, who greeted them cheerfully. "Why are you all here so early?" The fan said excitedly, "Xuan, we didn't expect to see you here. Why are you here, Xuan?" Luo Fanshuan looked into the distance and replied, "To pick up my friend." Hearing this, the fans became suspicious. Friend. Could it be Song Heng? Impossible. Didn't they just have a fight last night? The video is everywhere. Luo Fanshuan immediately winked playfully and said, "I was just teasing him, can't you tell?" The fans were stunned for a moment, then suddenly realized, oh. Afterwards, Luo Fanshuan took the initiative to walk towards Song Heng and Lin Xuan to defuse the situation. "Let's go, Song Heng." But Song Heng stood there dumbfounded. Lin Xuan was also stunned, with a what's going on expression on her face, while Luo Fanshuan stared straight at her. He smiled, with a look of seeking praise in his eyes. Seeing this, Lin Xuan finally reacted. Luo Fanshuan was helping Song Heng out of the situation. Because of me and those brainless fans. Seeing Luo Fanshuan leave with his arm around Song Heng, the fans started shipping them. I'm shipping them. Look at Song Heng's reluctant expression. This CP is perfect. Standing behind the fans with her arms crossed, Lin Xuan thought, this is even better than expected. Later, the black car sped down the road. In the back seat, Luo Fanshuan teased, "Next time something like this happens, react faster. Don't drag your sister down with you." But Song Heng retorted, "Who asked for your help? I could have handled it myself." Lina Xuan, who was driving, glanced at the two young men glaring at each other in the rearview mirror and said helplessly, "Can you two stop arguing? You're in the same company, after all." But the two were exceptionally annoyed and said in unison, "Who wants to be with him? What bad luck." Seeing this scene, Lin Xuan broke out in a cold sweat, thinking to herself, they're quite in sync. At this moment, the old fox Lin Xuan covered her mouth and chuckled, wanting to stir things up. She felt that this CP might just become something. Later, in CEO Han's office at Ili Media, someone said, "Fortunately, Xiao arrived in time, otherwise it would have become a huge mess." CEO Han angrily reprimanded Lin Xuan. "How many times have I told you? Xiao, and every move represents Ili Media. You have to be more careful." Jinli, the flatterer, added fuel to the fire. CEO Han, Song Heng started it. "Why don't you tell Song Heng to stay away from Xiaoan?" Even though she was being scolded, Lin Xuan didn't bother to argue, instead proposing a bold idea. CEO Han, this isn't entirely a bad thing. Look how popular the Luo song CP is now. Isn't this a good opportunity? As he looked at the trending topic Luo Fanshuan, picks up Song Heng for work. Close relationship. Lina Xuan took the opportunity to promote. Fans these days eat this kind of thing up. Ever since that Xianxia drama became a hit, the two male leads have been incredibly popular. I'm thinking we should try to cultivate a similar CP to attract more traffic. Hearing this, Jean Li angrily shouted, Lina Xuan, you Mr. Han, smelling the potential for profit, said, that's not a bad idea. The company does need to make some new moves. Jean Li immediately objected, Mr. Han, even if Xiao needs a CP, it shouldn't be with Song Heng. He needs someone of comparable status to maximize the commercial value. Lina Xuan crossed her arms and scoffed. Jean Li, you already have someone in mind, don't you? Jean Li boasted, of course. I'm quite close with the agent at Tianjin Media. We've already discussed it. It'll be with their top star, Guan. She thought to herself, who doesn't want a piece of the CP market? Does Lina Xuan really think she can compete with me? Mr. Han stroked his chin, thinking that Tianjin Media held a higher position in the industry than Ely, and said, that's not a bad option either. But Lina Xuan pointed out, but Mr. Han, Xiao's current status is unmatched. Why should we give this advantage to an outsider? Using one of our own artists keeps the benefits within the company. Jean Li defended her idea. There are only benefits to collaborating with Tianjin. Watching the two of them, the shrewd Mr. Han, blinded by potential profit, said, all right, you're both capable agents. As long as it benefits the company, I'll support it. Whoever produces results first gets the company's resources. Hearing this, both Lina Xuan and Jean Li frowned, but still said, thank you, Mr. Han. They both thought to themselves, that sly old fox, Mr. Han, acts all high and mighty, waiting to take a cut without lifting a finger. After leaving Mr. Han's office, Jean Li aggressively confronted Lina Xuan. Lina Xuan, I'm warning you, don't try to get any ideas about my Xiaoan. Lina Xuan, not to be outdone, reminded her, Jean Li, a CP can't be forced. It needs the fans' approval. But Jean Li just snorted and walked off, saying, I'll arrange activities for Xiao and Guan. You don't need to worry about it. Hearing this, Lina Xuan thought to herself, we'll see if you even get the chance. That evening at Lina Xuan's apartment, Luo Fanshuan yelled, what? You want me to be in a CP with Song Heng? Are you joking? He was as furious as if he'd stepped in gum, roaring, I'm straight. You want me to be in a CP with a man? Don't you have a conscience as my girlfriend? Seeing this, Lina Xuan sweetly coaxed him, yes, you're totally straight. I never doubted that for a second. Then she reached out and touched Luo Fanshuan's face, preemptively saying, but even if you don't do a CP with Song Heng, the company will make you do one with Guan from Tianjin Media. Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan froze. Guan, that heavily made-up greasy guy. Luo Fanshuan let his mind wander, picturing Guan's oily image, then shuddered, hugging himself. Being in a CP with him will be worse than death. Lina Xuan immediately added fuel to the fire. So Song Heng is the better option, right? Luo Fanshuan rubbed his aching forehead. Since it was the company's decision, it seemed unavoidable. Compared to working with Guan, working with Song Heng was definitely better. Plus, he had another motive. He could keep an eye on Song Heng as his sister's artist, spending every day legitimately by her side. Suddenly, Lina Xuan wrapped her arms around his neck, dangling the bait, Xiaoan, I actually have another idea. This made him suspicious. Lina Xuan leaned in close, setting the trap. Since I'm not your agent, I can't interact with you at the company. But if you work with Song Heng, we'll be able to see each other often for work. Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan thought blankly. So she misses me this much. Then he leaned in and whispered in her ear, sister. Sparks ignited in their eyes, and the room suddenly fell silent. The lovers kissed as if tomorrow were the end of the world. After a long while, Luo Fanshuan released her. Both were blushing, like young lovers experiencing their first kiss. With a look of infatuation in his eyes, he agreed, okay, I agree. Pulling Lina Xuan closer, he said, I wouldn't be able to relax if I didn't have you right here where I could see you. The next day, on the set of Gifted, Lina Xuan instructed Song Heng, today, you and Luo Fanshuan will rehearse together. The camera will be following the two of you, so you need to perform well. Song Heng simply replied, no. Then he put down the bag he'd been carrying, revealing a fat cat. Sister Xuan, this is my cat. I want to take him to the vet after work. Could you watch him for me? Seeing this, Lina Xuan immediately agreed, sure, go to work. After Song Heng left, Lina Xuan sat down to play with the fat cat. Meow, meow, kitty. Looking at it, she thought of her lover. This cat is so cute. If Xiaoan wasn't afraid of cats, I'd want one too. I wonder if he'd be even more scared if he knew I was the one feeding all the stray cats in my complex. Lina Xuan answered the phone. Luo Fan yelled from the other end. Lina Xuan, how dare you not contact me for a week? You heartless woman. Coughing, she scoffed. Luo Fan, you're drunk again. On the other end, Luo Fan slammed the table, ranting like a cat who'd lost its fish. Lina Xuan, do you think I've been in this industry for so many years without making a name for myself? What's wrong with pursuing my dreams? Lina Xuan listened to his rambling. If I were to film a youth campus drama, I could be famous too. It wouldn't be your turn. Exhausted, Lina Xuan hung up with a snap. This drunkard again? He's hopeless. Turning towards the cat bed, she jumped in fright. Where's the cat? Panic set in. Oh no, I was so busy with the phone call that I forgot to watch the cat. Where did it go? Meow meow. Meanwhile, in the bustling vocal training room, someone shouted, okay, one more time, let's rehearse it again. Yes, director. Luo Fanshuan and Song Heng were dancing, drenched in sweat. After a while, the director yelled, great. Everyone take a break. The director and cameraman continued to record the two practicing their duet. Finally, they were free. The assistant director handed Luo Fanshuan a phone, reminding him, Xiao Shu, when we get to this part of the dance, our program team will suddenly. Luo Fanshuan suddenly felt an unbearable itch and started to gasp. He looked down at his feet suspiciously and saw a chubby white cat rubbing affectionately against his leg. Luo Fanshuan instantly bristled like he'd seen a ghost, stumbling backward and accidentally bumping into Song Heng. He then turned and clung to Song Heng like a lifeline, leaving the latter bewildered Luo Fanshuan. At the same time, Lina Xuan rushed over, exclaiming, Song Heng, something bad happened. Your cat. Luo Fanshuan was trembling against Song Heng, while the cat sat licking its paws, looking innocent. Song Heng exclaimed, Luo Fanshuan, what are you doing? Let go of me. Hu Yin, help. Lina Xuan covered her mouth to stifle her laughter, while the crew members were dumbfounded. Soon, the two were trending online again, and netizens went wild. Comment 1. The Luo Song CP Alliance is officially established, with 5 million members already. Comment 2. No wonder Shushu wanted to be Song Heng's dance partner in the first round of Gifted. This CP is too sweet. Comment 3. I was there. Shushu waited specifically for Song Heng to finish singing before dancing. I edited their video. Please like and repost. Seeing the online buzz, Jean Lee slammed the table in anger. What's going on? The internet is blowing up, and you still want me to arrange for Xuan and Guun to be a CP. Her assistant explained, we've already released a clarification video saying it was an accident, but fans are saying that a person's first reaction when scared is to hug the person they trust the most. They're editing videos. Jean Lee grew increasingly annoyed. This must be Lina Xuan's plan. That woman will do anything to defeat me. At Lina Xuan's home, she laughed like she'd won the lottery. Haha, your fans are so talented. Sitting next to Luo Fanshuan, Lina Xuan looked at her phone and sighed. The two of you look so good together in the edits. Even I believe it. Luo Fanshuan snatched her phone, looking speechless. Stop watching. Watching your boyfriend hug another man. What kind of peculiar hobby is that? The screen displayed a pixelated image with an 18+ warning. Seeing this, Luo Fanshuan looked as if he'd been struck by lightning. What kind of edits are these? Do fans have such heavy tastes? Xuan squinted, putting her hands together in apology, saying it was just fan entertainment and not to take it seriously. But Luo Fanshuan still said, shocked, fans are really scary these days. Seeing this, Lina Xuan patted his head like she was comforting a sulking puppy. Didn't you want to practice your acting? Just treat this as practice. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan asked darkly, practice acting. Then he suddenly pushed Lina Xuan down. Startled, he pinned her to the bed. Seeing this, she blushed and called out, Shaoan. Luo Fanshuan just stared blankly, seemingly lost in thought. Then he touched her cheek and said, that scene in the video just now seemed like a bed scene. How about, he brought his face closer, his voice laced with ambiguity, you practice with me. He then added, blushing, that way I can improve my acting. Caught off guard by this sudden flirtation, Lina Xuan's eyes widened. She stammered, at a loss for words, but then abruptly changed the subject. By the way, Shaoan, have you ever thought about treating your allurophobia? He answered honestly, even though it wouldn't cure him. Lina Xuan mischievously suggested the best way for Luo Fanshuan to overcome his fear was to face it head on. Let's get a cat. This caused Luo Fanshuan's face to pale like a monkey's backside. He shrieked, no. I'd rather die than face it. Watching him agonizingly cradle his chin in misery, the older sister bullying the younger brother Lina Xuan scratched her chin, scheming. Seeing him like this makes me want to tease him even more. What should I do? A few days later, Luo Fanshuan received a call. He answered, and Lina Xuan cheerfully said on the other end, "Shaoan, come to my place tonight. I have a present for you. I'll be home late. Just get the key from under the flower pot." Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan happily replied, "Okay." Staring at his phone, he thought, she still has a conscience. Sucking up to Song Heng these past few days wasn't in vain. That evening, at Lina Xuan's apartment, Luo Fanshuan let himself in. As he closed the door, a meow startled him. Panicked, he thought a cat. The sound of a cat. I don't remember her having a cat. Trembling, he tried to turn around. It must be my imagination. What he saw was a pair of cat paws and a snow-white tail, the paws waving in the air. Lina Xuan, dressed in a cat costume, was acting cute in front of Luo Fanshuan, making him dizzy. "Sis, what's going on?" She tiptoed closer, teasing, "Look how cute this kitty is." But Luo Fanshuan backed away in fright. Lina Xuan winked slyly, "Don't worry. I won't bite." Luo Fanshuan was breaking out in a cold sweat, feeling like he'd been tricked. "This is the present you were talking about." She immediately raised a paw and pointed to her cat ears. "Yeah, to help you cure your ailurophobia. We have to start by getting you used to cat-related things. Here, touch the ears." Luo Fanshuan stared at the cat ears, swallowed, and frowned. He tremblingly raised his hand towards the cat ears, but was too afraid to actually touch them. Seeing this, Lina Xuan's eyes gleamed with a predatory light. She grabbed Luo Fanshuan's hand and pressed it directly onto the cat ears. He stood there dumbfounded, touching them, while Lina Xuan asked curiously, "How is it?" She blinked happily. "Soft and comfortable, right?" This made Luo Fanshuan's heart skip a beat. His face flushed crimson, and he jumped back in alarm. At this moment, the oblivious Lina Xuan asked, "Shaoan," suddenly. A string snapped in Luo Fanshuan's mind. He turned and ran, leaving Lina Xuan to call out in confusion, "Shaoan." She stared blankly as he slammed the door shut. Luo Fanshuan leaned against the door, covering his mouth, his face flushed, sweating profusely, and flustered. "Strange, this doesn't feel like fear. It's more like an itch in my heart. I can't stand it." Outside, Lina Xuan knocked worriedly. "Shaoan, are you okay?" He stammered, Don't come in." Inside the room, Luo Fanshuan was as red as a tomato, covering his mouth, his heart pounding. Lina Xuan propped her chin on her hand, questioning her life choices. Why is his reaction more exaggerated than when he sees a real cat? Is my cat costume that scary? Meanwhile, Luo Fanshuan was still dazed in the room. Then she said, "Okay, I'll go downstairs to buy some food. I'll sleep in the living room tonight." Suddenly, the door opened. Luo Fanshuan came out, his face still red, and said, "You can't go out dressed like that." This made Lina Xuan's cat eyes widen in bewilderment. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan scratched his head and blurted out, I accept the treatment. Can I hold you tonight?" Leaving Lina Xuan stunned. A moment later, she excitedly raised her hands. "Then I absolutely have to wear this." Beside her, Luo Fanshuan waved his hand dismissively, like he was shooing a fly. That night, moonlight streamed through the small window into the bedroom. Held stiffly in bed by Luo Fanshuan, Lina Xuan asked, "Xiao, and that time Mom locked you outside, did the cats really attack you?" Luo Fanshuan replied glumly, like he'd lost a lottery ticket, "No, they just surrounded me and meowed, their eyes glowing." Hearing this, Lina Xuan happily tilted her head back, like she'd discovered some great truth. "I don't think you're afraid of cats. You're afraid of being abandoned, afraid of being alone with cats. It's actually easy to cure. Just have cats appear when you're happy. Do it a few more times, and the association between cats and fear will disappear, and eventually you'll be cured." But Luo Fanshuan was skeptical. "When I'm happy," Lina Xuan, the self-proclaimed psychologist, affirmed, "Yes. Tell me when you're happiest, and we'll do it more often." This made Luo Fanshuan's face flush like the desert. He lowered his gaze, looking at Lina Xuan's snow-white and rosy lips. Then his gaze continued downwards to her chest. He lay down and coughed. "Xuan, you should know about this." But Lina Xuan looked as clueless as a lamppost, understanding nothing. Then she suddenly blushed and screamed, burying her head in Luo Fanshuan's chest, refusing to comment. Seeing her like this, he was completely captivated. "If this is the treatment, I'm willing to cooperate with your treatment every day." Then he dropped a bombshell. "I think I'll be cured soon." These words immediately made Lina Xuan open her eyes in alarm. She covered Luo Fanshuan's mouth with her hand, stopping his nonsense. Then she resolutely shouted, "Don't worry, little brother, I will definitely find another way to cure you. The next day, at the Ely Company headquarters, seeing Luo Fanshuan and Song Heng appear together, the fans went crazy. Oh, Xin came specifically to teach Song Heng how to dance. Xuan's endorsement fees are 8 figures, but he still took time to teach Song Heng. Oh, Xuan's smile is so gentle. Is he like this to Song Heng too? Look at Song Heng's embarrassed expression. Did something happen between them just now? Watching Luo Fanshuan smile at the fans from behind, Lina Xuan thought to herself, these 2 days of CP hype with Song Heng. Xiaoxian said he was against it, but he cooperated very well at work. This guy is really professional. Suddenly, she saw Song Heng surrounded by female fans, asking him, Song Heng, Xin is super nice to you, right? Tell us. Lina Xuan became worried. Oh no, Song Heng has always refused to be part of the CP hype with Xiaoxian and has never actively cooperated. If it weren't for the fans' own imaginations, this CP wouldn't exist at all. She immediately stepped forward and patted Song Heng's shoulder, as if sending him off to reincarnation. Song Heng, you go back first, I'll handle this. As if granted amnesty, he immediately agreed. Okay. Suddenly, a backstage worker carrying a prop box bumped into Lina Xuan, shouting, make way, make way. Then the things in the prop box fell all over the floor. He picked up the items while sweating, saying, I'm sorry, these are all props for the show. Did I hurt you? Lina Xuan helped pick up the things, squinting her eyes and happily replying, it's okay. Suddenly, he asked doubtfully, there's a snake missing. Did it fall on you? This made Lina Xuan's face turn pale, as if she had seen a ghost, silently sighing. Snakes. I'm most afraid of snakes. Then he reminded her, why don't you check? But Lina Xuan was already frozen in place with fear, trembling like she had Parkinson's. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan stepped forward and helped her up. I have something to discuss with Song Heng's manager. Excuse me. Watching him pull Lina Xuan away, Song Heng looked puzzled. They walked towards the lounge. After entering, Lina Xuan looked up and called Xiaoxian. His hand moved faster than his brain, locking the door. You're most afraid of snakes, right? Hurry up and take off your clothes to check. Don't worry, this is my private lounge. I've locked the door. Hearing this, she asked shyly, take off my clothes here. Then she blushed, thinking, although I slept with him once, it was an accident. It's too embarrassing now. Seeing Lina Xuan blushing and flustered, Luo Fanshuan also felt shy. Then he turned around awkwardly and said, I won't look. You take them off and check yourself. Luo Fanshuan's face was as red as a tomato. Listening to the rustling sound of clothes being removed, he was sweating. The sound of clothes being taken off made it even more unbearable for Luo Fanshuan, and he swallowed. He closed his eyes tightly to restrain himself, but he saw Lina Xuan undressing and thought, mirror. Through the mirror, she was taking off her coat, and he could see everything clearly. Luo Fanshuan's eyes widened in disbelief. Damn, Lina Xuan took off her outer clothes, revealing skin as white as glutinous rice, and then she touched the straps of her camisole. Every movement of Lina Xuan was clearly reflected in the mirror. Seeing this scene, Luo Fanshuan's face burned red, and he felt super embarrassed. He remembered the scene of Lina Xuan being pushed onto the bed by him and thought, I'm done for. If I keep watching, something will happen. Suddenly, Lina Xuan screamed, ah. Startled, he turned his head and asked what's wrong. With tears in her eyes, she accused something cold is crawling on my back. Is it that snake? Hurry up and look. This scene made Luo Fanshuan's face as red as a baboon's butt, and he was completely stunned. He stammered, sweating, lie on the table, let me see. Then Lina Xuan leaned over and lay on the table. Luo Fanshuan lifted her hair, looked at her snow-white back, and reached out to pull down Lina Xuan's clothes. His heart was pounding, and then he grabbed the straps of Lina Xuan's camisole. Luo Fanshuan's eyes were dazed, as if he hadn't woken up yet. He pulled the straps off her shoulders. Luo Fanshuan's eyes were filled with guilt. He saw something, and then he thought it was just her hair accessory. Lina Xuan suddenly turned her head around in fright and asked, did you see it? Was it a snake? Seeing this, Luo Fanshuan covered his mouth, secretly laughing and thinking to himself, so she's afraid of snakes. I didn't expect her to have such a cute side. I really want to tease her. So he deliberately teased her. It seems like it was. Hearing this, Lina Xuan froze in place, trembling all over and pleaded, get away quickly. But Luo Fanshuan, persistent as ever, said if you want something you have to ask nicely. Lina Xuan immediately turned her head, with a look of defeat on her face, complaining inwardly. I get it. This kid is a devil. Him acting so well-behaved is all an act, all a pretense. Annoyed, she scolded, Luo Fanshuan, you're taking advantage of me. But he deliberately touched the hairpin, continuing to tease her. What did you say? The frightened Lina Xuan screamed like a pig being slaughtered. Ah, I was wrong. You can do whatever you want. Luo Fanshuan had been waiting for these words. Moving his face closer, he thought, I want you. Then he said with a mischievous smile, then I'll stay here with you tonight too. Lina Xuan nodded repeatedly. Okay. The greedy Luo Fanshuan pushed his luck. I want to hold you while we sleep. Lina Xuan nodded like a woodpecker. Okay, anything. He casually tossed the hairpin on the table, squinting and pretending as if nothing had happened. All right, I got rid of it. But Lina Xuan cried out, how could you throw it? What if it crawls around? Saying this, she turned and hugged Luo Fanshuan tightly. Startled, Luo Fanshuan couldn't help but smile indulgently at her trembling form. Patting her head, he said, all right, don't be afraid. Take a closer look and see what it is. Seeing the hairpin, Lina Xuan's eyes widened in disbelief. It's my hairpin. Where's the snake? But the sly Luo Fanshuan squinted and asked, when did I say it was a snake? Lina Xuan's face flushed with anger. Raising her fist, she shouted, Luo Fanshuan, you tricked me. Suddenly, with a bang, Lina Xuan was pressed against the desk, her hands pinned above her head by Luo Fanshuan. She yelled, let go. But Luo Fanshuan leaned in, ready to tease her. It's rare to see you so cute. I couldn't resist. Besides, last time you bullied me in that cat costume. Shouldn't I get my revenge now? Hearing this, Lina Xuan angrily puffed out her cheeks and thought, taking advantage of me. Next time, I'll use a cat to scare you. A real cat. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan asked, are you thinking about something bad? She turned her head, trying to hide it, but failing no. Luo Fanshuan just stared intently at Lina Xuan's body. Then, with a shameless expression, he said, but I am. He leaned in closer and said bluntly, I'm thinking about doing bad things to you. Hearing this, Lina Xuan shyly reminded him, Xiaoxian, calm down. This is the office. But Luo Fanshuan didn't answer, instead lowering his head to kiss her neck, making Lina Xuan cry out from the ticklish sensation, Xiaoxian, wait. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door, knock. Miss Lina Xuan, are you there? The props team needs you. Luo Fanshuan froze, while Lina Xuan breathed a sigh of relief. The person outside the door scratched their head sheepishly. Sorry, we found the prop snake. We're really sorry about earlier. Lina Xuan waved her hand in disbelief. Prop snake. Not a real snake. I saw it move. Hearing this, he said proudly, of course, our props team is very professional. Just attach a vibration motor, and it can move just like the real thing. I accidentally pressed it when I bumped into you earlier. These words made Lina Xuan's face flush with embarrassment. Haha, so that's what happened. After a while, she turned and asked, by the way, Xiaoxian, how did you know I'm afraid of snakes? Thinking that even Song Heng, who grew up with her, didn't know this secret. But Luo Fanshuan held up a finger and said, nonsense, aren't all women afraid of snakes? But this answer didn't satisfy Lina Xuan. She questioned, not necessarily. Many girls like reptiles. We've only known each other for a few months. How do you seem to know me so well? Luo Fanshuan pricked up his ears, eavesdropping on Lina Xuan's phone call. What's wrong, Mom? On the other end of the phone, Lin's mother was saying, Xian, how are things with Song Heng? Last night he called asking for your address, and I said I didn't know. He even asked if I agreed with you two breaking up. Hearing this, Lina Xuan remembered, I bought this apartment this year before the breakup. I hadn't had time to tell Song Heng, so he's asking Mom for my address. She replied loudly, we've already broken up, Mom. Don't worry about him. Do you want to come over this weekend? As soon as she hung up the phone, Luo Fanshuan leaned in. Are you finally taking me to meet your parents? But she threw cold water on his excitement. In your dreams. Don't you have an advertisement to shoot this weekend? But the sly Luo Fanshuan said excitedly, I can take a leave of absence to meet my future mother-in-law. Hearing this, Lina Xuan was speechless. She frowned, thinking, Mom always wants me to get married and have kids soon. She was already disappointed about Luo Fan, and if she knew I was with a celebrity 5 years younger than me, she'd go crazy. I'll let them meet when the time is right. Putting on her best Hong Shouhai expression, she said, what did I tell you before? Playing these games will only narrow your path. Go back to work. Seeing this, Luo Fanshuan sighed and said, okay. Then he leaned in flirtatiously and said, I'll work hard because... He looked at her with charming eyes and continued, I want to take care of you. This made Lina Xuan stunned, her heart racing. She blurted out, then said in a panic, I didn't mean it like that. Work somewhere else. Xin Li was answering a phone call in her office. Xin Li, the Luo Song CP, is super popular now. Xiaoxian and Ji Yuan's collaboration is on hold for now. Hearing this, her face twisted as if she'd bitten into a lemon. She replied, okay, Director Han. Then she asked her assistant, have you arranged Ji Yuan's program with Tianjin Media? The assistant replied, the Luo Song CP is really hot right now. Fans are begging Xiaoxian to maintain his male virtues on Weibo, and Song Heng's fanbase is exploding. Endorsements and film offers are pouring in. This news enraged Xin Li. Slamming her hand on the table, she said, damn it, Lina Xuan is really something. She's had a taste of success this time. The assistant interjected, but Xiaoxuan's old fans are firmly against the Luo Song CP. They say that Song Heng isn't good enough for him. Xin Li immediately changed her tune, as if flipping a pancake. She said happily, let me see, Tian Huang. She's a big fan, organized a lot of support events, very influential. It just so happened she left her number with me before. Then Xin Li made a call. Hello, is this Tian Huang? The other side was as excited as a headless chicken. Sister Xin Li, Xian could be paired with anyone, just not Song Heng. Tian Huang added fuel to the fire. Song Heng has a sugar daddy, and he said he likes older women. He definitely has something going on with that manager. How can he be worthy of Xian? Xin Li played along, saying, Sai, what can we do? The Luo Song CP is the company's decision. Suddenly, Tian Huang had a wicked idea. I have a way. Just let me get close to them. A cunning glint flashed in Xin Li's eyes. She said, then I'll give you VIP tickets to the talent finals, the closest seats to the stage, as a thank you to you and your friends for supporting Xiaoxian these past 2 years. Hearing this, Tian Huang was overjoyed. Thank you, Sister Xin Li. Hanging up the phone, Xin Li thought sinisterly, the talent finals have a lot of attention. If Song Heng's scandal is exposed, even if Lina Xuan can help him, Director Han will abandon the Luo Song CP. Then she sneered with murderous intent. Whether or not we can turn things around depends on you loyal fans. Meanwhile, in another place, Song Heng said, Sister Huang, you're here. She said, just came to see if Han Shi and Han Dong's live stream has started. Song Heng closed the door and said, yeah, they're live. In the living room, Han Shi and Han Dong were arguing. Are you stupid? We need to add critical hit now. Adding critical hit is suicide. He's about to go bloodthirsty. Seeing this, Lina Xuan said, let's talk inside. Don't disturb them. Song Heng agreed. Okay. In another room, sunlight streamed in through the wide-open window. Lina Xuan started to blame herself. It's all my fault. I'm a useless manager. I couldn't get them better resources, so they can only do live streaming sales. But Song Heng comforted her. Sister Huang, you've worked hard. If it weren't for you, I'd still be a nobody. You'll definitely make Han Shi and Han Dong shine too. Lina Xuan picked up her water glass to change the subject. Thank you. By the way, how's your dad doing recently? Song Heng's mood immediately dropped. He's still undergoing regular chemotherapy, and they haven't found a matching kidney donor yet. But I recently hired 2 caregivers to take care of him, so he's not suffering as much. Lina Xuan looked at him thoughtfully, then patted his shoulder to comfort him. It's okay, she said with a smile. I believe your dad will be proud of you. These words moved Song Heng deeply. He moved closer to Lina Xuan, leaving her completely bewildered. Song Heng leaned down, intending to kiss the top of Lina Xuan's head, his eyes full of affection. Suddenly, Lina Xuan called out, Song Heng. This snapped him back to reality. Frozen in his leaning position, he didn't dare to move. Song Heng trembled all over, his face as red as a tomato. Then he backed away in a fluster, stammering, I'm sorry, Sister Huang. I just wanted to say thank you. But she squinted, pretending nothing had happened. It's okay. I don't mind, and I won't overthink it. Meanwhile, Song Heng thought guiltily, oh no, I lost control in front of Sister Huang. I almost couldn't help but kiss her. What am I going to do the next time we meet? He lowered his head, lost in thought. It's really hard to control the urge to get close to someone you like. At the same time, a light flashed in the building opposite. Tian Wang's bespectacled assistant held a camera in one hand and listened to the report on the phone with the other. Miss Tian Wang, I don't know if that Song Heng has anything to do with your stepmother, but he definitely has something going on with that manager. They were just kissing on the balcony. I've already sent you the photos. In the photos, Song Heng was leaning in close to Lina Xuan. Tian Wang bit her nails as she looked at the photos, fuming. I knew it. That Song Heng is just a social climber. If he can sweet-talk the manager, he can get resources. This time, I'm gonna make sure he never recovers from this. The next morning, at Lina Xuan's apartment, Lina Xuan welcomed her mother into the apartment. Mom, welcome to my new place. Her mother looked around, praising, my daughter is so capable, able to afford her own apartment. As soon as Lin's mother sat down, she asked, when are you bringing your new boyfriend to meet me? Lina Xuan immediately offered her mother some water, breaking out in a cold sweat. How did you know, Mom? Lin's mother pointed to a pair of men's slippers, exposing her. They're men's slippers by the door, placed so obviously. I'm not stupid. Hearing this, Lina Xuan narrowed her eyes, speechless. Haha, Mom. It's a shame you didn't become a detective. Then with a playful goldfish-like pout, she asked, so tell me, what does he do? What does he look like? Sitting next to her mother, Lina Xuan confessed, he's in the same industry as me. As for his looks, her eyes darted around mischievously. You can see him on the street. She thought to herself about the LED screens outside, silently justifying her lie. I'm not lying. Luo Fanshuan's advertisements are everywhere on the street. She covered her mouth, giggling. You really can see him everywhere. Hearing this, Lin's mother sighed and encouraged her. It's okay if he's not handsome. Ordinary men don't flirt around. They're better for settling down. Not like your father, handsome, but he ran away and abandoned us, leaving you without a dad. Seeing the sadness on her mother's face, Lina Xuan asked sorrowfully, do you regret being with him? Stroking her daughter's face, she replied, why would I regret it? If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have such a beautiful daughter. These words brought tears to Lina Xuan's eyes. Mom. She then hugged her mother. Mom, it must have been so hard raising me on your own. Seeing this, Lin's mother lovingly scolded, silly child. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. Lina Xuan turned her head in confusion. After opening the door, she saw Luo Fanshuan smiling brightly. Is your mother here? She was startled, as if she had seen a ghost. Why are you here? Then, she slammed the door shut, leaving Luo Fanshuan speechless. Inside, Lin's mother asked curiously, who is it? Why didn't you let them in? Lina Xuan lied without changing her expression. It was nothing, wrong address. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan's voice came from outside, contradicting her. Hello, Auntie. I brought some crabs. Please let Xuan open the door. Her face paled, stiff and awkward, while Lin's mother looked at her in surprise. After Luo Fanshuan entered, Lin's mother asked, who is this? Lina Xuan reluctantly introduced him. He's a friend. But before she could finish, Luo Fanshuan cut in, hello, Annie, I'm Xuan's boyfriend. My name is Luo Fanshuan. Hearing the word boyfriend, Lina Xuan was dumbfounded, while her mother was stunned by his 4K Ultra HD handsome face. A moment later, Lina Xuan transformed into a roaring lioness. Luo Fanshuan, you. But Luo Fanshuan cheerfully held up 2 plastic bags and patted her bottom. These are some delicious crabs. I bought them specifically to cook for Annie. Seeing this, Lin's mother's eyes crinkled into crescents. Oh my, what a thoughtful young man. The kitchen is this way. Come with me. Luo Fanshuan followed obediently like a puppy. Thank you, Andy. You're so beautiful. This made Lin's mother like him even more. Oh my, such a sweet talker, huh? Meanwhile, Lina Xuan was completely speechless, her soul seemingly leaving her body. Then, Lin's mother, with her arms crossed, interrogated her daughter like a neighborhood gossip. Lina Xuan immediately scratched her face to avoid eye contact. Yeah, pretty much. Lin's mother squinted at her, misinterpreting her words. Aren't your standards a little too high? How are you going to get married in the future? Hearing this, Lina Xuan pushed her mother gently. I'm going to help him cook, Mom. You go and rest. In the kitchen, Luo Fanshuan whistled cheerfully. As he opened the bag and took out the crabs, he was suddenly pinched and cried out, ouch. That hurts. He turned around to complain, are you trying to murder your husband? But Lina Xuan poked his chest accusingly. Cut the crap. Aren't you supposed to be filming until late? Why are you here so early? Did you skip work? Luo Fanshuan blinked, making up an excuse on the spot. I was halfway through filming and suggested the crew call Song Heng. The company knows we're promoting our CP lately, so they didn't refuse. Song Heng should be here soon. Just then, Lina Xuan received a message from Song Heng. Xian, The company just notified me to go film. The location is close. I'll go by myself. Luo Fanshuan said smugly, see? Song Heng is filming with me. The hype and buzz will definitely reach new heights. Praise me. But Lina Xuan wasn't happy. Really? You earned these resources yourself. Why don't you cherish them at all? Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan rested his forehead against hers, flirting. Didn't I already tell you? I'm yours. He looked at her with love-struck eyes, like a puppy in love. His face was full of adoration, and Lina Xuan was captivated. Slightly dazed, Luo Fanshuan cupped his own face smugly. Besides, aren't I rushing to see my mother-in-law? Hearing this, Lina Xuan raised her fist as if to hit him. Watch your words. Who's your mother-in-law? But Luo Fanshuan was thick-skinned and domineering. You clearly know, yet you ask on purpose. If you're mean to me again, I'll tell Mom. This made Lina Xuan blush. Luo Fanshuan, you're so shameless. Completely immersed in their own world, the two chatted animatedly, while Mother Lin, on the side, wasn't bothered at all. Instead, she felt relieved and came over to say, you two go sit outside. Annie will take care of this. But Luo Fanshuan refused. Annie, these crabs need to be cooked for a long time. Let me do it. Hearing this, Lina Xuan looked at him incredulously. You know how to kill crabs? Luo Fanshuan picked up a crab, his eyes shining with confidence. Of course. Watch me. Luo Fanshuan scrubbed the crab with a brush and then removed the shell. He rinsed it again with water and finally placed the clean crab on the cutting board. Watching this masterful performance, Lina Xuan's eyes sparkled with admiration. Wow, such nimble hands. It's a pity you're not a chef. Mother Lin squinted and gave him a thumbs up. I didn't expect Xiaoxian to even know how to handle crabs. Most young people these days only know how to eat, not cook. Hearing this, he scratched his head modestly. It's nothing. I've been doing this since I was young. This scene made Lina Xuan secretly wonder, why does this feel like a doting mother and her talented son? Then Luo Fanshuan continued enthusiastically. Annie, should we make crab porridge first and then curry crab? I've already bought the curry paste. Green curry crab is absolutely delicious. Mother Lin immediately clapped her hands in agreement. Yes, Xiaoxian is right. We'll listen to you. These words completely stunned Lina Xuan, who muttered to herself, how did it become we? Mother Lin winked at Lina Xuan, thinking, I approve of this son-in-law. Lina Xuan sighed speechlessly to herself. Mom, did you forget you just said not to find a man who's too handsome? Suddenly, Mother Lin sat on the chair next to Lina Xuan, held her hand, and started asking. Just by looking at the way he uses a knife, you can tell he cooks often. There are very few boys who can cook these days, and he's so handsome. Now I understand why you broke up with Luo Fan. Hearing this, she broke out in a cold sweat and explained, Mom, it's not what you think. But her mother ignored her explanation and continued to ask, but Xiaoxian seems younger than you, right? What does he do? Does he earn more than you? Lina Xuan turned her head away, not daring to meet her mother's eyes, and answered somewhat guiltily. Just a few more zeros than me. Suddenly, Mother Lin started worrying unnecessarily. He's younger than you and earns more. There must be a lot of people who like him. These words rendered Lina Xuan speechless. She turned her face away and said, what nonsense are you talking about? There are people pursuing him, thinking to herself, including overseas, probably over 10 million. Suddenly, Mother Lin leaned close to her daughter's ear and whispered, I think he's a good catch. Don't date for too long. Lina Xuan's eyes widened in shock. Huh. From behind them, Luo Fanshuan called out, holding a pot of food. Annie, Xian, dinner's ready. Lina Xuan was dumbfounded by her mother's words. Luo Fanshuan placed the pot on the table and lifted the lid. Looking at his perfect features, Lina Xuan was mesmerized, thinking, if I take a picture of him now and sell it, I could probably make a fortune. Then she sadly lamented to herself, standing next to me is a money tree, but I can't pick it. A moment later, Mother Lin sat across the dining table, chatting and laughing with Luo Fanshuan and Lina Xuan. Mother Lin rested her chin in her hand, puzzled. Xiaoxian, why do you look so familiar? Lina Xuan squinted, thinking, Mom is usually busy and doesn't watch movies or TV dramas, but with advertisements every 3 steps on the street, how could she not recognize him? Luo Fanshuan replied cheerfully, maybe it's because I have a friendly face. Lina Xuan, sitting beside him, turned her head and teased, why didn't you just say I look average? Luo Fanshuan replied smugly, of course I have to say something believable. He then added confidently, no one would think you look average, babe. Lina Xuan was speechless at his perfect retort. Suddenly, Lin's mother transformed into Conan and started her investigation. Xiaoxian, how old are you this year? What do you do? When are you planning to get married? Xian. Hearing this, Lin Xuan jumped up in surprise. Mom, you're too direct. She turned and signaled to Luo Fanshuan to say anything to cover it up, as long as it wasn't the truth. But he had a different idea. Jie, I want to marry you, so I can't lie to your mother. He confessed directly, Annie, I'm 21 years old this year, and I'm an entertainer. I'm not old enough to get married yet, but I want to marry Xuan in the future. Lin's mother was stunned, then frowned and scolded Lin Xuan with a dark expression. He's 5 years younger than you, and he's an entertainer. Lin Xuan, what are you thinking? But she retorted fiercely, Mom, what era is it now? Who still cares about age gaps? Suddenly, sad tears welled up in her eyes. I just want you to find an ordinary person and live a stable life. Someone who loves and cherishes you. That's all. Don't be like me, falling in love with a celebrity and ending up abandoned. But Lin Xuan broke the calm surface. Mom, wouldn't ordinary people also betray or divorce? Whether a person is faithful or not isn't determined by their profession. Haven't you always said you never regretted being with Dad? Hearing this, Lin's mother fell silent. At the same time, Luo Fanshuan spoke. Annie, I was raised by my mother alone since I was young, so I understand the hardships of a single mother. He said frankly, I understand your worries. You're afraid Xuan will suffer like my mother. This made Lin's mother fall into deep thought. Then Luo Fanshuan looked directly into her eyes and said firmly, Auntie, I'm sincere towards Xian. Hearing this, Lin's mother was stunned, and Lin Xuan was also dumbfounded. Then Lin's mother said, She's my only daughter. If you make her suffer, I won't forgive you. But Lin Xuan jumped up like a scalded cat. Mom, you're talking as if I'll be the one at a disadvantage. Maybe I'll be the one dumping him. Luo Fanshuan pursed his lips in shock, then jumped up, crocodile tears streaming down his face. Jie, you still want to dump me? Don't even think about it. Lin Xuan, sitting beside him, crossed her arms and scoffed. It's just a figure of speech. Relationships are voluntary. Forcing it is called an arranged marriage. We don't necessarily have to be tied to each other. Luo Fanshuan immediately turned to Lin's mother, crying for help. Annie, if she wants to dump me one day, you must help me. Seeing this scene, Lin Xuan angrily slammed the table and scolded, This is our business. Don't drag other people into it. But Luo Fanshuan stubbornly argued, She's not someone else. She's your mother. I didn't mean to say anything bad. But Lin Xuan had already transformed into a fierce tigress, her eyes red, hands on her hips as she lectured. Even if she's my mother, it's not okay. We're both adults. We should solve our own problems. Looking at these two childish people, Lin's mother broke out in a sweat on her forehead, thinking helplessly, why does it seem like Xiaoxian is the one who will be dumped now? Standing hand in hand with Lin Xuan at the door, Lin's mother said, You don't have to see me off. I can go by myself. Suddenly, she turned to Luo Fanshuan and asked, By the way, Xiaoxian, let me ask you something. How did you know she likes crab porridge? Have we met before? But he denied it. I also like crab porridge. I just suddenly thought of buying it. Hearing this, she thought it made sense. Okay, maybe I'm overthinking it. I'll be going then. She waved goodbye to them. Lin Xuan also said bye, Mom. After that, she closed the door and left, leaving only Luo Fanshuan and Lin Xuan. Suddenly, a chill enveloped them, making Lin Xuan's face pale. Then Luo Fanshuan approached like a dark god, looming over her and questioning, You don't want to be in a CP with me, and you even want to dump me, huh? He leaned against the wall, trapping Lin Xuan in the corner. Jie, I didn't expect you to have such dangerous thoughts. He gritted his teeth and moved closer, face to face, questioning him. She nervously swallowed. Suddenly, Lin Xuan hurriedly changed the subject. Why don't you call me Xuan? But Luo Fanshuan didn't fall for it and continued to press. Are you afraid our mother won't like a younger son-in-law? Hearing this, Lin Xuan gave a dry laugh. She didn't dare argue, covering her cheeks as if struck by lightning, lamenting inwardly, so scary. Then she put on a pitiful look and said, Don't be like this. I'm scared. Seeing this, Luo Fanshuan stared at her intently, speechless. He leaned closer, whispering in her ear. He then started speaking sweet nothings, so saccharine it could kill flies. Do you want me in CP with me? He blushed and took a gamble. Will you abandon me? Lin Xuan, tickled, furrowed her brows and jumped back, scolding, You're playing dirty. But Luo Fanshuan warned, There's only one situation where you'll be slightly obedient. He wrapped his arms around her waist, pulling her back playfully. Want me to help you remember? Lin Xuan immediately closed her eyes in surrender. Locking the CP. I won't abandon you. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she thought in despair. He's so energetic. How am I supposed to handle this? Luo Fanshuan smiled triumphantly, having received the answer he wanted. Then he declared his ownership. From today onwards, I'm going to call you Xuan. Hearing this, Lin Xuan blushed and exclaimed. But Luo Fanshuan lifted her chin, interrupting her. Xuan, baby, I'm destined to fall in love with you. She retorted, you're taking advantage of me. Luo Fanshuan immediately coaxed her. Then you could take advantage of me too. He leaned down and kissed Lin Xuan on the lips. The next day, on the set, under the bright lights, someone said, Mr. Luo, look this way. At this moment, Luo Fanshuan was having a CP photo shoot with Song Heng. The photographer, holding the camera, reminded Mr. Song, observe Mr. Luo more. That natural, casual feeling of his is exactly what we want. Hearing this, Song Heng happily replied, okay, I'll do my best. He then turned to look at Luo Fanshuan, frowning and thinking sourly. Luo Fanshuan has Lin Xuan's perfume on him. What did they do? Although he didn't know why Song Heng was staring at him like that, Luo Fanshuan still wanted to tease him first, provoking him to get angry like a cat that lost its fish. Luo Fanshuan must have done something with a Yenji. Suddenly, the photographer praised. That's the expression. Hold it. Later, in the meeting room, Luo Fanshuan asked happily, Xuan, are you looking for me? Lin Xuan, sitting in a chair, started to show off as soon as she saw him. I saw the photos you took with Song Heng. You two have great CP chemistry. I'm planning to take your photos to Director Wu. Hearing this, he questioned, doesn't Director Wu specialize in detective films? Lin Xuan confirmed, yes, that's him. Director Wu is preparing a dual male lead drama and will be holding auditions at the end of the year. I think I could try to get you in Song Heng roles. But Luo Fanshuan, with his arms crossed, said, Director Wu only works with experienced actors. He looks down on newcomers like us. Lin Xuan, resting her chin on her hand, analyzed, I admire Director Wu. In this impetuous era, there aren't many people who can focus on acting. Luo Fanshuan, sitting beside her, heard her add, he's also one of the few people in the entertainment industry who isn't seduced by Qin Li Mei's beauty. I admire him just for that. Suddenly realizing she had said too much, Lin Xuan covered her mouth and explained, sorry, I shouldn't have said that about your manager. She's just doing what's best for her artists. Luo Fanshuan pretended it was nothing. It's okay. You're not wrong. However, he continued thoughtfully, even hateful people have their pitiful sides. Sometimes she doesn't even look out for herself. Then he looked at Lin Xuan. Xuan. She looked at him, puzzled. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan said softly with a determined look, I won't let you go through that. Lin Xuan listened as he continued. As long as I'm here, I won't let you end up in a situation where you don't look out for yourself. Confused by Lin Xuan's words, Luo Fanshuan said, by the way, Xiaoxian, do you want me to teach you a way to change Director Wu's impression of you? Then Lin Xuan began to strategize. There's a very popular play in the capital recently. You can have Qin Li Mei take you to learn from the actors on stage, and then try to perform a play yourself. As long as you can act, I can get you and Song Heng the male lead roles in Director Wu's new drama. Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan was unhappy. So I have to take Song Heng with me to learn. But Lin Xuan threw cold water on him. Song Heng has already been learning. The staff, they're very familiar with him. Luo Fanshuan became angrier and angrier as he listened, like a puppy whose tail had been stepped on. You know, you're paving the way for Song Heng so early. Lin Xuan looked smug. Song Heng was relatively free before. Rather than waiting for the company to arrange commercial projects every day, it's better to hone his skills and accumulate experience. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan said sarcastically, Xuan, when did you become my manager? I'm so envious of Song Heng. Lin Xuan gave him a look that was 3 parts exasperation and 7 parts want to hit him, narrowing her eyes as she retorted, wait until I become the company's top manager, and then we'll see if I can manage you. He kissed the palm of her hand, trying to appease her. I'm already in your hands now. Luo Fanshuan's eyes held a honey-sweet tenderness, reluctant to let go of Lin Xuan's hand, making her heart flutter. A while later, in the dance studio, Luo Fanshuan and Song Heng practiced diligently under Qin Li Mei's observation. After a while, he took a towel from her hand. Let's stop here for today. In the underground parking lot, a car was already waiting. Qin Li handed Luo Fanshuan some water and reminded him, Xiaoxian, why are you so eager to teach him? Be careful. Song Heng might snatch the championship of the talent competition. But Luo Fanshuan said confidently, don't worry, Qinli, I have a plan. Suddenly, he froze like a goldfish. Oh no, I left my phone in the dance studio. I'll go back and get it. Qinli was left dumbfounded. Huh. At that moment, in the dance studio, Song Heng was still practicing, oblivious to tomorrow. He was working hard with the determination of winner takes all, loser eats dirt, then collapsed on the floor, panting like a piglet. Suddenly, a voice rang out. Every time I leave, you're here practicing until you're exhausted. Do you want to beat me that badly? Startled, Song Heng opened his eyes and looked up at the person looking down at him, murmuring, Luo Fanshuan. Still lying on the floor, Song Heng retorted, since you know why ask. This time, I will definitely defeat you. But Luo Fanshuan coldly replied, really? Then, like a murderous villain, he sneered, unfortunately, you won't have the chance, whether it's Yixuan or the competition. Hearing this, Song Heng jumped up angrily, but Luo Fanshuan just smirked condescendingly. Song Heng frowned, thinking, damn it, does Hu Yinji know that Luo Fanshuan appears harmless on the surface, but is actually very competitive and dominant inside? Time flew by, and the finals of the talent competition finally arrived. The host announced, today's finals are truly spectacular. All the contestants have given their best. Next up is Song Heng's singing and dancing performance. The audience was excited watching Song Heng's performance, saying that he was amazing and his dancing seemed to be on par with Luo Fanshuan's. They cheered him on, go Song Heng. At the judges' table, the 4 judges nodded in approval, saying that Song Heng had great potential. Then the judges gave their scores, B, A. Seeing this, Song Heng looked up and thought, not bad. Lina Xuan, like a devoted fan, waved her arms frantically. Song Heng, you're amazing. You've finally been recognized. But Qinli, who was standing beside her with her arms crossed, frowned, so happy with just an A. Is it worth it? But she bit her lip and worried to herself. Xiaoxian actually taught Song Heng so well. Xiaoxuan's dancing is great, but his singing is not as good as Song Heng's. What if Song Heng really takes first place? Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan, dressed in red and black, appeared on stage and was surprised to see Song Heng waiting for him. Song Heng taunted Luo Fanshuan, this time I will definitely win. After I take first place, I'll go confess to Hu Yinji. Turning to leave, he said without looking back, you'll soon be a thing of the past. But Luo Fanshuan didn't care, he just sneered. Hearing this, Song Heng turned his head back, looking suspicious. Then, amidst the screams of his fans, Luo Fanshuan took the stage. Standing in the wings, Song Heng grimaced like a monkey that had eaten ginger, cursing inwardly, Luo Fanshuan, let me see what you've got that can beat me. Below the stage, Lina Xuan and Qinli stood together, worriedly saying, Xiaoxian. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan clapped his hands. Then he started clapping along to the rhythm of the music, closing his eyes to feel the music and waving his hands. Luo Fanshuan spun with the cheerful music. Seeing this scene, Song Heng broke out in a cold sweat. He's actually performing a tango solo, and it's the female version. Lina Xuan was stunned, while only Qinli beside her looked confident. The fans below cheered, Xian is amazing. Xian, I love you. Judge A excitedly covered her mouth, oh. Judge B beside her blushed and applauded. This dance is the Tango Queen solo. It's not something just anyone can learn. Judge A commented, Luo Fanshuan's cross-dressing dance has a completely different style. Judge B agreed, no wonder. Watching Luo Fanshuan's performance, praises were endless. He's simply born for the stage. Xian is so amazing. Xian is number 1. But some people were green with envy. Song Heng gripped the stage curtain tightly, burning with anger. Luo Fanshuan. After the performance, Luo Fanshuan received 2 A+ and 2A. The audience went wild. 2 A+. Luo Fanshuan is amazing. Xian is the best. He returned backstage, and Ji Yuan from Tianjin patted him on the shoulder and asked, not bad, Luo Fanshuan. I didn't know you could also dance the tango. When did you learn? Luo Fanshuan glanced at Song Heng beside him and replied, does this even need to be learned? Watching Luo Fanshuan leave from behind, Song Heng clenched his fists, his face gloomy as hell, thinking, I lost. Not only did I not get Yixuan's attention, but but I also lost to him in the competition. Then Song Heng stood up. Seeing him about to go somewhere, Lina Xuan asked in confusion, Song Heng, why haven't you changed your clothes yet? Hearing this, he replied sarcastically, is there a point? No matter how hard I try, I won't win. Luo Fanshuan can easily defeat me. But Lina Xuan patted his shoulder encouragingly. Don't say such unlucky things. However, her next words stunned Song Heng. Do you know? Right now, among all the contestants besides Luo Fanshuan, you have the highest score. Song Heng pursed his lips, secretly bitter. Besides Luo Fanshuan, he muttered, his teeth clenched. He thought resentfully. Suddenly, the host announced, next, we will announce the top 3 finalists. In third place is Song Heng. Please come to the stage to receive your award. Hearing this, he was so shocked that he doubted his own existence. Frozen in place, pointing at himself in disbelief, I won third place. Lina Xuan beside him confirmed, I told you you'd get a good ranking this time. This moved Song Heng so much that his face flushed red. His eyes filled with remorse, like a scolded puppy with its tail between its legs. He then hugged Lina Xuan, sobbing, Xuan, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said those things earlier. In his heart, he berated himself. How could I act like a sore loser and take my anger out on the person closest to me? It's okay. Lina Xuan patted his back comfortingly. Go on stage and receive your award. Don't keep the host waiting too long. Under the stage lights, Luo Fanshuan stood in first place, Gu Yuan in second, and Song Heng happily received the third place trophy. This scene made Lina Xuan's eyes crinkle with happiness as she watched, while Qinli scoffed, third place is so far from first, what's there to be happy about? But Lina Xuan didn't argue, blinking and saying, my standards aren't as high as yours. Qinli, I'm happy that Song Heng made it into the top 3. But in her heart, she was doing cartwheels. First place is my lover, third place is my artist. I'm doubly happy. Hearing this, Qinli sneered inwardly, thinking, let her be happy now, she won't be laughing later. Qinli looked at Tian Huan in the audience, thinking, Tian Huan, it's time to act, to completely ruin Song Heng. Suddenly, Tian Huan stood up and shouted, oppose Luo Song CP. Song Heng is an artist with shady dealings. He doesn't deserve to be with Xian. Then she and her friends held up photos, one of a woman patting Song Heng's head, and another of him kissing Lina Xuan's forehead. She revealed, Song Heng is being kept by a rich woman and is having an affair with his manager. This situation shocked Lina Xuan. How did they get these photos? At the same time, Tian Huan continued to spout nonsense. There are so many unspoken rules in the entertainment industry. Who deserves to be paired with our Xian? If they dare to be a couple, we'll be the first to oppose. Shouts erupted throughout the studio. Oppose Luo Song CP. Song Heng, get out of the entertainment industry. Other audience members immediately took out their phones and started recording the explosive scene. On stage, Song Heng's face was ashen. He fearfully stepped back, then looked at Lina Xuan, silently pleading, Sister Xuan, what should I do? She nodded slightly, comforting him, don't worry, I'm here. Lina Xuan looked around, assessing the situation, hoping Xian wouldn't misunderstand. She had to resolve this crisis quickly and explain everything to him later. Then she looked at Luo Fanshuan, who was standing under the stage lights, his expression unreadable. She called out in her heart, Xian. He frowned, clearly displeased. Qinli, standing beside her, turned to taunt Lina Xuan. Song Heng is young and handsome. It's normal for you to be captivated by your own artist, but this time Song Heng is finished, and you won't be able to recover in the entertainment industry either. But Lina Xuan retorted, don't worry, lies can't hurt me. Hearing this, Qinli said angrily, at this point, I'd like to see what you can do. Suddenly, Lina Xuan looked up at the stage and exclaimed, Xian. This made Qinli turn around in confusion and scream, Xian. What's he doing getting involved? Amidst the noisy clamor of the fans, Luo Fanshuan walked to the edge of the stage and shouted, quiet. Then he said sternly, don't disrupt the competition. We'll discuss any issues after the show. Seeing this, Song Heng, standing beside him, was dumbfounded, speechless. Lina Xuan and Qinli were equally shocked, thinking, Xian. Suddenly, Tian Huan, holding up the photos, spoke. But Song Heng does have a lot of shady dealings. We don't want Xian to be paired with him. But Luo Fanshuan reminded her sternly, the decision to pair me with Song Heng was made by the company. As my fans, I hope you can respect my work. Then he turned his head, leaving Lina Xuan in the audience puzzled. Luo Fanshuan winked and firmly declared, especially the rumors about Song Heng and his manager having an affair, that's completely fabricated. Lina Xuan's heart raced, her legs trembling. She thought, Xiao, you must believe me. The two audience members behind Tian Huan were talking. This story is entirely fictional. Any resemblance to actual events, persons, living or dead, locales or entities, is purely coincidental and not intended to depict or portray any real event, person, location, or entity. Xiao is right. Were we too rash? At this moment, someone in the audience looked at a photo on their phone, adding fuel to the fire. Are we hurting Xiao? Netizens on the hot search are shouting. Everyone go look at Han Dong and Han Shi's Weibo. Nonsense is ours. They also attached a photo of the three of them hugging happily. Someone commented after seeing it. Turns out this is a common occurrence for Lina Xuan. That photo of Song Heng kissing her forehead is nothing. The audience members, like vengeful demons, turned to Tian Huan with red eyes. You used this kind of photo as an excuse to break up the Luo Song CP. How hateful. She also looked at her phone, her face immediately turning pale. Tian Huan bowed deeply at a 90-degree angle. Xin, we were misled. We'll go reflect on this. Watching them flee the scene as if chased by ghosts. Qinli gritted her teeth in anger. A bunch of useless idiots, causing such a big commotion but accomplishing nothing. Seeing Qinli stand up and clench her fists in anger, Lina Xuan secretly breathed a sigh of relief, thinking, luckily, while they were causing trouble, I had someone release the photos of Han Dong and Han Shi to divert attention. The news has finally died down. Then she stroked her chin and speculated. But the person who could get Song Heng's real photos seems to be targeting Song Heng. Finally, the matter came to an end, and peace returned outside the studio. Lina Xuan was walking home when her phone rang. Song Heng sent a text message. Xin, I'm sorry. I heard Mr. Han called you in for scolding. Lina Xuan replied while opening the door. It's okay. I've already explained everything to Mr. Han. You need to be careful these days. I suspect someone is watching you. She thought she had to be extra vigilant these days. Suddenly, someone grabbed Lina Xuan's hand. Startled, Lina Xuan closed her eyes tightly. The person spoke. It's me. Seeing Luo Fanshuan's gloomy face, as if she had stepped on a landmine, Lina Xuan was covered in sweat and asked in confusion, Xiao, why are you here? Luo Fanshuan got straight to the point and pressed her. When did Song Heng kiss you? Hearing this, she panicked like a headless fly, trying to explain, didn't you say you believe there was nothing between us? Luo Fanshuan stared intently at Lina Xuan and replied, I believe you, but I don't believe him. Then Luo Fanshuan, his face dark, extremely displeased. He actually dared to kiss you. His eyes filled with a domineering, killing intent. He declared, I'm going to ruin him. Lina Xuan's eyes widened in surprise, sighing inwardly, Xiao. Then she narrowed her eyes and retorted, that day was a misunderstanding. He was thanking me. That photo was deliberately taken from the wrong angle. It looks like a kiss. Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan breathed a sigh of relief, as if a 1,000-pound weight had been lifted from his shoulders. Suddenly, Lina Xuan changed the subject. By the way, when did you learn a tango? I didn't even know. She thought the company didn't have a tango teacher, but he danced so skillfully, clearly having practiced for many years. But Luo Fanshuan retorted sarcastically, investigating Song Heng's rivals. These words made Lina Xuan panic, and she defended herself. No, it's just that as your girlfriend, I don't even know you can tango. Then she sighed deeply. Luo Fanshuan was completely confused. Then Lina Xuan turned her face away and complained, Xiao, I feel like I don't know you at all. Sadness filled her heart. I always thought he was just like other artists, with good looks and talent. Then she remembered him cooking crab soup and felt a pang of heartache. But he can cook, kill crabs, and even tango. Especially after today's performance, Lina Xuan really fell into deep thought. Under a gentle exterior hides a very stubborn person. Seeing her like this, Luo Fanshuan forgot his sulking and just stared blankly. Suddenly, he had a revelation and sighed deeply with affection, remembering his mother dancing in the moonlight. My mom was a dancer. Tango was her best dance. I learned it from watching her dance since I was a child. Then he turned his head and continued. She loved to dance. She danced when she was happy, and she also danced when she was going crazy. Luo Fanshuan's words reminded Lina Xuan of what he had once said. My mom has a mental illness. Every time she has an episode, it's like she's a different person. That's why there was that time he was locked outside, knocking on the door and crying, Mom, it's so dark here, let me in. Mom, I'm so cold. Please open the door. Suddenly, Lina Xuan felt a pang of heartbreaking sadness. She placed a hand on his shoulder, comforting him. Your mother must have been beautiful. Did you inherit your looks from her? Luo Fanshuan replied, beauty isn't always a good thing. The thought of his father brought a wave of irritation. If it weren't for her beauty, she wouldn't have caught that man's eye, and she wouldn't have suffered so much. Lina Xuan suddenly teased, if you said that in front of my mom, she'd be jealous. She always says only beautiful people have the right to decide on love. Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan asked curiously, does your aunt value appearances that much? Lina Xuan waved her hand and sighed dramatically, of course. Back then, my dad was a superstar. My mom was head over heels for him and chased him for a long time. When he said he loved her, she immediately agreed. When he said he wanted a divorce, she could only agree. These words reminded Luo Fanshuan of something. Is your mom suddenly against us? Because she's afraid I'll become like your dad after hearing about my profession. Lina Xuan cheerfully admitted, yeah, but she doesn't really mind. She has her own ideas. We can't choose for our parents. Living well is the greatest comfort to them. Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan fell into deep thought. Then, he suddenly turned his head. Catching Lina Xuan off guard, he kissed her forehead. A second later, he pulled away. His voice thick with emotion, he uttered surprising words. You and I are locked in. We'll never be apart. Lina Xuan froze, then suddenly came back to her senses, covering her face and blushing. Flustered, she said, a lifetime is so long. How do you know we won't separate? But Luo Fanshuan narrowed his eyes and said firmly, a lifetime is only a few decades. How is that long? Then he lifted her face, leaned closer, and whispered sweet nothings. I want to be with you forever. After the finals of the very talented competition, Heng's career completely took off. Offers poured in. Now, he was like a superstar, filming various commercials. Xiaoxian also went to the theater, seriously devoting himself to acting classes, practicing diligently. Seeing him work so hard, the theater staff praised him endlessly. Wow, Luo Fanshuan is really humble. He greets everyone so politely. It's rare for an A-list celebrity to come here to study acting. Meanwhile, in Director Wu's office, he crossed his arms and snorted, Luo Fanshuan. I'm looking for an actor who can truly portray the inner world of a character, not just an idol who relies on popularity. Hearing this, Lina Xuan quickly interjected, Director Wu, Luo Fanshuan is not just an A-list celebrity. He's also very talented. But he clearly didn't agree, thinking attracting fans with a pretty face you call that talent. He scoffed loudly. As for Heng, your artist, we don't even know if he can pass the audition. I heard he's very popular now, but with just a few fans, he's already so arrogant. He's incompetent and pretentious. I really don't want to work with an artist like that. But Lina Xuan didn't give up. She took out a video and started recommending, oh, Director Wu, don't joke. Xiaoxian has a great reputation in the industry. He knows you value acting, so he recently went to the theater to learn from veteran artists and has mastered many techniques. I have a video of his recent performance here. See if he's suitable. Seeing her say this, Director Wu reluctantly took the phone, but his face clearly showed disdain. He thought, studying acting, these popular idols are busy grabbing projects and endorsements. They don't even have time to breathe, let alone time and energy to study acting. In my opinion, this is just a performance to improve their image. Suddenly, his attitude did a complete 180, looking utterly shocked. Director Wu watched very intently. Seeing his reaction, Lina Xuan secretly gloated. Although Xiaoxian hasn't been studying acting for long, he's already had the opportunity to perform live on stage, proving that his talent has been recognized by the theater. Luckily, I asked the theater for the recording of that performance. At this moment, Director Wu stroked his chin, lost in thought, secretly assessing. Although his acting skills are still a bit raw, being able to perform on stage at such a young age, he can indeed be cultivated into a true talent. He returned the phone to Lina Xuan and said, all right, have him come for an audition with Heng next month, but I'm not guaranteeing I'll choose either of them. We don't play favorites here. Lina Xuan immediately replied flatteringly, of course, we'll follow the proper procedures. She secretly rejoiced. I have complete faith that Xiaoxian can pass this audition with his own strength. A while later, at Ely Company, Qinli put her hands on her hips, lifted her chin, and laid her cards on the table. Lina Xuan, honestly, I really have to thank you for what you've done for Xiaoxian. Tell me, which endorsement do you want Xiaoxian to give up? This startled Lina Xuan, who was concentrating on reading a script. Turning to Qin Li, who had just sat down, she said, "Sister Qin Li, I think you're overthinking it. When did I say I wanted you to give up the endorsement?" Hearing this, Qin Li looked suspicious. "You didn't say it, but why are you helping Xiaoxian find resources for no reason?" "I understand. Don't be embarrassed. It's called a fair exchange." Looking at Qin Li's firm attitude, Lina Xuan sighed inwardly. Qin Li was really too wary, but I can't tell her I'm helping my boyfriend. Lina Xuan explained on the surface. Song Heng wants to get the male lead in director Wu's new movie, and I helped Xiaoxian get in as well. That movie just happens to need 2 leads, so it can increase their commercial value. Qin Li teased, "That's it. Aren't you afraid Xiaoxian will steal Song Heng's thunder?" But Lina Xuan's next words completely stunned Qin Li. "Believe it or not, besides, hasn't Xiaoxian always been stealing Song Heng's thunder? I'm used to it. Cooperation is mutually beneficial." Qin Li sighed deeply, then said cheerfully, "All right then, I'll treat you to dinner to thank you for your help." But Lina Xuan waved her hand. "No need for dinner. Sister Qin Li, can you discreetly find out which director Wu will be assigning this film to? We need to greet the director in advance." Qin Li immediately stood up and confidently assured her, "Don't worry, leave it to me." This made Lina Xuan raise her eyebrows in surprise. Then Qin Li suddenly became awkward, and they both fell silent, then suddenly started laughing at the same time. Lina Xuan thought, actually, she's quite easy to get along with. That night, in Lina Xuan's apartment, Luo Fanshuan was scrolling through his phone, cursing under his breath like a sulking child. Lina Xuan tilted her head and asked, "What's wrong? What made you so angry?" He shoved his phone in her face, complaining like a spoiled child. "Sis, are these fans really my fans? Look at what they're saying." The photo was a magazine picture of him and Song Heng. The original post read, "A combination of aloofness and charm. Luo Fanshuan is the charming one. Song Heng is the aloof prince." After looking at it, Lina Xuan trembled with suppressed laughter. That description is quite accurate. Charming really suits you. He sat cross-legged, sulking. Lina Xuan wiped away her tears of laughter. "This CP started a long time ago. You're just noticing now. You're so slow." Luo Fanshuan protested like a child. "I'm not against them shipping us, but I'm not like that at all." But Lina Xuan clutched her stomach, laughing, saying that so righteously, "But I saw it all, ha ha ha." Luo Fanshuan exclaimed in a panic, "Sis." Luo Fanshuan's inner little devil churned. "If it wasn't for getting close to you back then." Lina Xuan finally surrendered. All right, you're not like that. Okay." Suddenly, she was pushed backward, and Luo Fanshuan pressed her down on the sofa. He stared at her like a predator, whispering, "It seems I've been too much like a brother to you." Hearing this, Lina Xuan blushed and didn't speak. Luo Fanshuan continued, "Maybe I should let Xuan experience firsthand what kind of person I really am." This made her face flush red like a baboon's backside. Embarrassed and panicked, she pleaded, I was wrong. Please let me go. I'll help you filter the comments." "Okay, let me up." But Luo Fanshuan just smirked. He pressed his forehead against hers, teasing, "Now you know to beg for mercy." Too late. At this moment, Lina Xuan finally understood what it meant to cry only when you see the coffin. How did speaking up for his fans turn into being bullied by this kid? Luo Fanshuan lowered his head to kiss her, but Lina Xuan said, "If you're so capable, go find Song Heng. What kind of skill is it to bully me?" But this only made Luo Fanshuan angrier. Still thinking about Song Heng, he suddenly picked her up. Seeing this, Lina Xuan panicked and shouted, "Wait, Xiaoxian. Calm down." But it was too late. She thought dizzily, Xiaoxian is scary. Qin Li waved and shouted, "Lina Xuan, I got the news." Xiaoxian and Song Heng passed Director Wu's audition. Watching her skip towards her, Lina Xuan's assistant wondered to herself, weren't Qin Li and Sister Xuan rivals? When did they become so close? Hearing Qin Li shout, Lina Xuan felt a little guilty. She coughed and said to her assistant, "Xiao Li, Qin Li and I have something to discuss. Please go out for a bit." The assistant immediately replied, "Okay." Then Qin Li happily revealed, "I also found out who the director collaborating with Director Wu is. His name is Lu Feng. I didn't expect he'd be a director now." This puzzled Lina Xuan. Lu Feng, how could it be him? On the surface, Lina Xuan asked, doesn't Lu Feng only make art films? Why is he suddenly making a detective film? Qin Li puffed out her chest, explaining with an air of self-importance. Director Lu Feng does have some talent. It's just that he wasn't thinking clearly a few years ago, always filming those pretentious art films. Now he's finally come to his senses and decided to break into the detective film market. Lina Xuan held her forehead, thinking with a look of annoyance, I really don't want to deal with my ex. If we collaborate, not only my artists, but even my current boyfriend will have to work under him. Lu Feng will definitely use this opportunity to get revenge. Suddenly, Qinli asked with concern, Yixuan, why are you spacing out? Were you going to invite director Lu to dinner? Although Song Heng and Xiaoxian passed the audition, whether they can get the leading roles depends on the director. Hearing this, Lin Yixuan narrowed her eyes, speaking as if running in front of a speeding car. Sister Qinli, let me make the connection. Director Lu is my classmate. You could even say my senior. These words made Qinli overjoyed. Really. Not long after, in a high-end restaurant, Lu Feng looked at Lin Yixuan across from him and said sarcastically, it was impossible to reach Miss Lin before. Why are you taking the initiative to contact me now? While pouring wine, Lin Yixuan started to flatter him. Director Lu, I heard your career has been flourishing recently, and you've even taken on a detective film. This is a red wine I specially ordered for you. Please try it. Hearing this, Lu Feng scoffed internally. She was so determined to break up with me back then, and now that she needs my help, she eagerly invites me here. What a materialistic woman. Suddenly, he grabbed Lin Yixuan's hand and started to make a scene. So that's why Luo Fanshuan deliberately made things difficult for me last time. You insisted on breaking up with me. Were you two already having an affair? Lin Yixuan, you had your eye on that fresh meat and cheated on me behind my back, didn't you? This made Lin Yixuan angrily retort, what nonsense are you talking about? You were the one who cheated first, and now you're here acting like this. But Lu Feng wasn't one to back down. He raised his glass and retorted, don't try to deny it. I've investigated everything. Luo Fanshuan has a sugar daddy. His resources in the entertainment industry have been nonstop these past 2 years. Otherwise, how could he have become a top star? Then a vicious glint flashed in Lu Feng's eyes, and he began to sow discord. That kind of person is just using you as a stepping stone. Once he becomes famous, he'll turn his back on you. You should be smart and come back to me. Although I can't give you any official status, as long as I'm happy, it's not impossible for me to consider giving your artist a leading role or two. The more Lin Yixuan listened to Lu Feng's nonsense, the angrier she became. This man was truly disgusting. She must have been blind to have fallen for him back then. Then she leaned closer and said, Lu Feng, Director Wu is an upright person. Aren't you afraid he'll replace you if you so blatantly engage in this kind of casting couch behavior? But Lu Feng was unconcerned, still speaking without restraint. Humph, there are plenty of people with more powerful backgrounds than Director Wu. It's not his turn to replace me. Lin Yixuan immediately grabbed her bag and turned to leave. Fine, goodbye. I hope we won't have the opportunity to collaborate. The ignored Lu Feng gritted his teeth, cursing inwardly. Lin Yixuan, I'll make you kneel here and beg me. Let's see if you can still be so high and mighty. A moment later, Qinli asked gossipingly, how did it go with Director Lu? Lin Yixuan answered while answering her phone and walking out. A complete disaster. Qinli sat in her office and asked worriedly, no way. Isn't he your senior? If even you can't negotiate with him, it seems there's no hope. But from the other end of the phone came, Sister Qinli, don't you know a lot of directors? Are there any directors who could catch Director Wu's eye? Qinli asked in surprise and confusion. What do you mean? On the other end of the phone, Lin Yixuan frowned and said, Lu Feng is a tough nut to crack, so we won't crack him. But we have to secure the leading roles no matter what. Qinli worried. Will Director Wu agree? Lin Yixuan said confidently, don't worry, leave it to me. Later, in a coffee shop, a recording was played. You should be smart and come back to me. Although I can't give you any official status, as long as I'm happy, it's not impossible for me to consider giving your artist a leading role or two. Lin Yixuan's voice came from the phone on the table. Director Wu is an upright person. Aren't you afraid he'll replace you if you so blatantly engage in this kind of casting couch behavior? At this moment, Director Wu and Lin Yixuan sat facing each other, listening to Lu Feng's arrogant voice. My background is much stronger than Director Wu's. It's not his place to replace me. After listening, Director Wu frowned and said, Director Lu was introduced by a junior fellow apprentice of mine. I heard he was very talented and capable. I didn't expect him to be this kind of person. Lin Yixuan thought to herself, Director Wu hates people who bully others with their power, and Lu Feng just touched his taboo. On the surface, she replied, it's all my fault. I offended Director Lu last time. It seems Song Heng's male lead role is not easy to secure this time. Director Wu stroked his chin, thinking, I've been paying attention to the Luo Song CP recently. They have a huge fan base, and their acting skills are both online. They can guarantee both ratings and quality. It's hard to find such an acting duo again. In this situation, it's better to change the director than the actors. He then said, Miss Lin, this time it's Director Lu's problem. I won't cooperate with a director with such impure motives, but changing directors will take some time. Hearing this, Lina Xuan immediately said, Xinli knows many directors. Why don't you let her introduce a suitable one to you? Seeing this, Director Wu was very happy. That's great. Please trouble Miss Lin to arrange it. Lina Xuan, having achieved her goal, was as happy as a lark. It's my honor. That evening, in Lina Xuan's apartment, she tiredly opened the door and entered, sighing inwardly, finally home. I've been busy all day. I'm exhausted. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan jumped out from somewhere to scare her. You're finally back, sis. Lina Xuan was startled and screamed, Xiaoxian. She put her hand on her startled chest, caught her breath, and asked curiously, It's midnight. Why are you still standing at the door? Seeing this, Luo Fanshuan explained, Where did you go tonight? I heard you didn't work overtime at the company today. I called you, and your phone was off. If you came back any later, I would have called the police. At this time, Lina Xuan guiltily thought that her phone had died after she called Xinli in the afternoon. So she explained, my phone died. I want to talk to Director Wu about the new drama today. Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan interrogated her like Conan solving a case. What took so long? Lina Xuan quickly explained, I suggested he change to a director more suitable for you in Song Heng, so we chatted a bit longer. In fact, she had other things on her mind that she couldn't tell him, of course. She couldn't tell him that she had also met with Luo Feng. Luo Fanshuan breathed a sigh of relief. Feeling relieved, he hugged her and whispered, Yixuan, you're working too hard. You don't have to push yourself so hard. I can get the lead role with my own strength. Lina Xuan comforted her boyfriend. Listening to him ramble, I go to the theater every day to learn. The teacher said I've improved a lot since the last time I was on stage. I will show my strength at the audition. Then she also said, I don't feel tired. I feel a sense of accomplishment. The feeling of working hard together is really great. Then she cupped Luo Fanshuan's face and said coquettishly, Xiaoxian, you said you wanted to take care of me before, but I don't want to be a caged bird that depends on you. We can support each other. These words made Luo Fanshuan very happy. He placed his hand over hers, which were cupping his cheeks. He leaned close to her face and said, Sis, you're so beautiful like this. Then the two of them engaged in some public displays of affection. Luo Feng angrily kicked something over and slammed the table. The film company doesn't want to cooperate with me anymore. His assistant stammered nervously, Yes, Director Wu sent a message saying he wants to cooperate with Director Xiao. What a damper. Luo Feng's face darkened. He was still counting on that little vixen Lin Xuan to beg him. How could things have turned out like this? Seeing his expression, the assistant said, I heard that Director Xiao was invited by Ely Media. Hearing this, Luo Feng jumped up. What? Isn't Ely Media Lin Xuan's company? The assistant immediately confirmed. Yes, and I heard that Luo Fanshuan and Song Heng are basically confirmed for the male lead roles. This made Luo Feng even angrier. Lina Xuan stole my limelight and ruined my path. This isn't over between us. Somewhere there was a lively scene. 2 wine glasses clinked together, and cheerful voices rang out. Congratulations to our artists for both landing the male lead roles. Cheers! Lina Xuan, thanks to you this time. The misunderstandings between us are all in the past. As long as you still call me Sister Xuan, I'll have your back. At that moment, Xinli hugged Lina Xuan and chattered on and on. The slightly tipsy Lin Xuan replied, Thank you. Xinli suddenly covered her mouth and gossiped. Let me tell you a secret. Xiaoxian has always had someone in his heart. Hearing this, Lin Xuan pretended to be curious. Oh, really? Who is it? Wondering if she had discovered that she and Xiaoxian were dating. But Xinli said directly, Xiaoxian said that's his benefactor. He can't let her down. This made Lin Xuan confused. Benefactor? You mean the person Xiaoxian likes is his benefactor? Xinli continued, Yes, his benefactor saved him when he was young. It seems they've known each other since childhood. Hearing this, Lin Xuan was stunned, thinking, known each other since childhood. She and Xiaoxian haven't known each other for long. So she probed, Have you met this benefactor? What kind of person is she? But Xinli had already started to drift off, answering vaguely, Haven't met her. He keeps it a deep secret. I only know that he's liked that person a lot for a long time. He entered the entertainment industry for her. As soon as she finished speaking, Xinli slumped over the table and fell asleep. Lin Xuan was dying of curiosity and said anxiously, Xinli, wait, you haven't made it clear. After a while, Xinli's assistant came to help her up, saying, Xian, I'll take her home. Don't drive. I'll have Xiaoyi pick you up later. Lina Xuan, sitting there, thank her, okay, thank you. In a quiet night, Lina Xuan couldn't stop overthinking. Why did the person Xiaoxian likes, as described by Xinli, not sound like her? Could it be that dating her was just a game to him? Watching Xinli being helped away by her assistant, she sighed, no way, Xiaoxian isn't that kind of fickle person. But she couldn't help but recall what Lu Feng had said before. Luo Fanshuan has a financial backer who has been supporting him since he was a child and has given him a lot of resources these past 2 years. And what Xinli had just gossiped about, his benefactor saved him when he was young. He's liked that person a lot for a long time. He entered the entertainment industry for her. So she thought gloomily, like a little dragonfly. Could what they said be true? Could Xiaoshuan's benefactor be his financial backer? A long time later, at Lina Xuan's apartment, she fumbled her way into the apartment, stumbling, and groaned, "Where's the sofa? I'm so dizzy." Then she suddenly bumped into someone's chest and cried out in pain, "Ah." Luo Fanshuan held her steady and asked gently, "Why are you so drunk?" Lina Xuan replied, "I went to the celebration banquet with Xinli today." Under the influence of alcohol, she got straight to the point and asked, "Xinli said the person you truly like is a benefactor you've known since childhood, and that person isn't me." These words stunned Luo Fanshuan, and he avoided the question, "You're drunk. Let me carry you back to your room." Seeing this, she became even more distressed, thinking, why wouldn't he answer honestly, or was it that he simply couldn't answer? She pushed Luo Fanshuan away and said angrily, "Xiaoxian, do you really like me, or have you been lying to me all along?" Luo Fanshuan immediately retorted, "Of course it's true." But Lina Xuan asked sadly, her eyes like someone who had lost their wallet, "Then who is that person? Why can't you tell me?" Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan fell into deep thought, then sighed like a deflated balloon. "Yixuan, that person is your older sister." These words made Lin Yixuan question her reality. "What are you talking about? I didn't even know you when I was little, let alone saved you." Luo Fanshuan insisted, "Then do you remember how you got the scar on your back? You've forgotten, haven't you?" This made Lin Yixuan's eyes widen. Then he recalled his biological father. "When I was 6, my mother and I lived next door to your family. My father, Lu Keifu, came to pick me up. My mother had a breakdown and set the whole house on fire. After the fire, my father took me for treatment, and you were also injured in that fire, leaving a scar on your back." But Lin Xuan asked doubtfully, "Why would I be injured? Did the fire reach my house?" But Luo Fanshuan turned away, unable to meet her eyes, and continued, "No, because you saved me. You rushed into the fire and rescued me." Lin Xuan was puzzled. "I saved you." At the same time, Luo Fanshuan tightly grasped her hand and affirmed, "Yes. After I recovered, I went to look for you, but was told that your family had moved away to get you treatment." He recounted with a sorrowful expression, "I couldn't find you, but I remembered you saying your father was a celebrity, so I thought if I became a big star, you might see me, and we could be reunited. At first, my father didn't agree with me debuting, but after I became famous, he started giving me resources." Then he quickly explained, "I just didn't expect you to have amnesia. The doctor who treated you said you inhaled too much toxic gas, which affected your brain." Hearing this, Lin Yixuan summarized, "So the benefactor Xinli said you became a celebrity for, and the person who is supposedly supporting you is your father." Even so, Lin Yixuan was still full of doubts. "It all makes sense. I really don't remember how I got the scar on my back. The doctor said I had an accident and most of my memories were damaged. But now Xiaoxian is right in front of me. Why can't I remember anything?" Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan picked Lin Yixuan up and placed her on his lap. Startling her, he brought his face close, feigning annoyance. "I've explained everything, but Yixuan still doesn't believe me," she replied. "It's not that I don't believe you. It's just that I really don't remember. I'm a little sorry." Luo Fanshuan continued to act pitiful. "At first, I was heartbroken that you forgot me, but now I've figured it out." He kissed her. "Now you're by my side, and we can create new memories." Lin Xuan couldn't help but cry out, "Xiaoxian." She then tightly embraced Luo Fanshuan's shoulders, and they passionately began to make love. A while later, they separated, breathless. Panting, Lin Xuan thought, "Xiaoxian has endured so much without me knowing." At this moment, his eyes held only her reflection. Suddenly, Lin Xuan whispered in his ear, "Xiaoxian, I'll try to remember everything about her past." But Luo Fanshuan held her hand against his chest. "Don't worry, none of that matters anymore. Resting his head on Lin Xuan's shoulder, he thought, as long as I'm in your heart, that's enough. Then, Luo Fanshuan mused, maybe it's better that she doesn't remember. The doctor said not to overstimulate her memory, which is why I've been afraid to bring up the past. I just want to protect her as she is now. He said, Xuan, it's okay to forget the past, as long as you stay by my side forever. Lin Xuan held Luo Fanshuan and softly said, Xiaoxian, then gently patted him, comforting him. Ma'am, I know. At that moment, they were both as happy as if they were in a sea of flowers. The next day, at the actors' apartments, Lin Xuan walked in and asked, Today is Director Wu's casting day. Song Heng, are you ready? Song Heng replied, It's still early. I haven't even cleaned the litter box. Nonsense, nonsense. Just wait a moment. As he dealt with the litter box, Lin Xuan played with the cat. Okay, stroking the cat, she exclaimed, Wow, I didn't look closely before. This cat is so cute. Song Heng seized the opportunity to take a photo, squinting. It really likes you. Looking at her through his phone, he thought, Hu Yanhuian likes cats. We have something in common, something Luo Fanshuan doesn't. Although Hu Yanhuian has a boyfriend now, they're not suited for each other. Sooner or later, she'll come back to me. Then, Song Heng posted the photo of Lin Xuan with the cat on Weibo with the caption, My little fairy has been stolen. Netizens immediately followed up with comments. Comment 1. So Song Heng is a cat lover. He must be a warm guy. Comment 2. Just discovered I have something in common with my idol. We're both cat owners. Comment 3 at Luo Fanshuan. Xin, we're waiting to see photos of you petting cats at Song Heng's place. Luo Fanshuan replied, Not interested. Comment 4 immediately jumped in to stir things up. Xin, are you jealous? Don't worry, there's nothing going on between Song Heng and his manager. A moment later, Song Heng at Luo Fanshuan. I did what you wouldn't dare to do, so you're unhappy. I understand. At the same time, a white car sped down the road, Luo Fanshuan inside, radiating a gloomy aura. Qin Li, sitting in the front, felt uneasy seeing him like this. She turned and asked, Xiaoxian, what's wrong? You've been unhappy for a while now. But he closed his eyes, avoiding the question. Nothing. Today is Director Wu's suspense film casting. Although there are 2 male leads, the medical examiner role is the core, right? Hearing this, Qin Li replied, Yes, but you don't need to be so nervous. Playing either role is a big step forward. It's not easy for an idol to transition. If it weren't for Lin Xuan introducing you to the drama club to learn acting and helping you out with Director Wu, I wouldn't have dared to think you could take on this film. Then she sighed, boasting, Lin Xuan is really dedicated to planning for you. Even I, your manager, feel the pressure. Now that I think about it, having you and Song Heng collaborate is a win-win. These words stirred something in Luo Fanshuan. He thought, she's always working so hard. With a determined look, he silently resolved, I must get the medical examiner role. After the audition that day, a van waited under a tree. Song Heng looked at the cast list, feeling dazed, like he'd stepped in jam. It read, Male Lead 1, Medical Examiner, Luo Fanshuan. Male Lead 2, Detective Song Heng. Seeing his bad mood, Lin Xuan, sitting in the back seat, asked worriedly, Song Heng, you're one of the male leads. Why are you unhappy? Song Heng frowned and complained. The 2 male leads have different amounts of screen time. The forensic scientist role is more important. Luo Fanshuan only trained for a few months. Why should he be the lead? Hearing this, Lin Xuan felt a little guilty and thought to herself, although Xiaoxuan's training time is shorter than Song Heng's, his progress is obvious to all, proving that he is both diligent and talented. Director Wu must think so too. So she encouraged Song Heng, don't compare yourself to Xiaoxian, compare yourself to yourself. Your influence in the entertainment industry has been rising recently, and cooperating with Xiaoxian has many benefits for you. Why treat him as a rival? But Song Heng angrily retorted, because he stole what I wanted most. Lin Xuan exclaimed in surprise, Song Heng. Suddenly he panicked, GLA, glasses. Sorry, suddenly. Before he could finish, he was interrupted. I've been looking for you everywhere. So you're here? Looking at the person who had barged into his car as innocently and carefree as a fly, Song Heng snapped, Luo Fanshuan, what are you doing here? Luo Fanshuan, however, stuck to Lin Xuan's side shamelessly like a piece of gum. What's wrong? I'm here to see my girlfriend. The 2 men glared at each other. Luo Fanshuan thought angrily. How dare he say I'm seducing his little fairy? That's too much. Song Heng sized him up. Huang should have belonged to me. Lin Xuan suddenly grabbed Luo Fanshuan. Xiaoxian, stop it. We're on set. But he looked at her like a lovesick puppy. It's okay. Song Heng will cover for us. Song Heng, standing beside them, clenched his fist with a gloomy face, listening to Luo Fanshuan adding fuel to the fire, right, Song Heng? He finally couldn't stand it anymore and got out of the car angrily. I'm going to discuss the script with the director. The car door slammed shut. Seeing that Luo Fanshuan had also locked the car door, Lina Xuan asked in surprise and confusion, "Why did you lock the door?" He put his hand on her leg and explained, "So Xuan won't be shy." But she pushed him away shyly. Locking the door makes it even more suspicious. Even so, the sly Luo Fanshuan still found it amusing. It's okay. The windows are tinted. They can't see inside. Seeing this, Lina Xuan hugged herself and exclaimed, "Don't tell me you really want to stay here." Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan turned around and covered his mouth, chuckling, leaving her bewildered. Then he grinned at her like he had discovered a treasure, teasing, "Your reaction is so cute." Lina Xuan immediately transformed into a tigress, raising her claws and shouting, "Luo Fanshuan, how dare you tease me?" Luo Fanshuan suddenly hugged Lina Xuan and coaxed her, all right, it's my fault. I should be thanking you." His gaze deepened as he continued, "It's just..." But the rest of his words he only dared to think in his heart. It's just that seeing Song Heng and thinking about the article he posted today, I couldn't help but get angry. After a while, Lina Xuan blushed and asked in confusion, "Thank me." The puppy-like Luo Fanshuan explained, "Shinli said that if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have been able to join this production." Hearing this, Lina Xuan squinted her eyes happily. "It's not that exaggerated. It's mainly because you worked hard." But Luo Fanshuan insisted, "No, it's because of you that I want to become better." He said in his heart, "You are my motivation, always have been." Lina Xuan was also very satisfied and suddenly kissed Luo Fanshuan's shoulder. This made him tremble, and he called out, "Xuan." She squinted and asked him. When she heard Luo Fanshuan say, "If you kiss me like that again, I really won't be able to hold back," she blushed in a panic. Her face flushed as red as a baboon's bottom, and she stammered, "Hold back." He answered shyly, "From the moment I close the car door, being alone with you in an enclosed space is torture for me." Lina Xuan pointed out, "This is the set." Luo Fanshuan said, "I know." Then he restrained himself and told her, "So don't move. Let me hold you for a while." He added breathlessly, "Just for a while." Lina Xuan really didn't dare to move and said, "Okay." On set, Song Heng was playing a policeman chasing a suspect. Suddenly the director shouted again, "Song Heng, run faster." Although he was already panting, he still replied, "Okay, director." He ran again like a dog on fire. Suddenly, Song Heng felt dizzy. His eyes glazed over, and then he fell heavily to the ground. Lina Xuan, who was nearby, panicked and shouted, "Song Heng." After checking that he was lying motionless on the ground, she quietly concluded that Song Heng had suffered from heat stroke and shouted, "Call an ambulance." A while later, in the VIP ward, the doctor advised, "It's nothing serious. Drink some water, and he could be discharged tomorrow." Hearing this, Lina Xuan replied, "Okay, thank you, doctor." Sitting by Song Heng's bedside, she blamed herself. "It's all my fault. I should have given him some water before the shoot." Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan spoke. "He's not a child, Xuan. Don't blame yourself." She turned around, puzzled. "Xiaoxian," she asked, confused, "Why are you here? Are you finished filming your scenes?" Luo Fanshuan, hands in his pockets, reported to his boss, "The remaining scenes today are all mine and Song Heng's. Since he's sick, I can't film either. Besides, if the fans know I'm here visiting and taking care of Song Heng, it's good publicity for the movie, so the director didn't mind." Hearing this, Lina Xuan breathed a sigh of relief. "All right, then stay here for a while." He asked, puzzled, "Where you going?" Lina Xuan brought a basin of water. "I'm going to give him a sponge bath. He has heat stroke, and we need to lower his body temperature." Before she could finish, Luo Fanshuan snatched the basin, his face screwed up like a monkey eating ginger. "You sit and rest." "Let me do it." Lina Xuan was incredulous. "Can you take care of him better than I can?" He scoffed. "Do you think I can or can't?" Then he muttered, "If I don't take care of him, should I let my girlfriend take care of another man?" Luo Fanshuan picked up a towel and wiped Song Heng's hands first, then his body. Lina Xuan watched from the side, silently praising. Xiaoxuan's movements are very skilled. He doesn't seem to be pretending. She probed, "Have you taken care of sick people before?" Luo Fanshuan blinked, recalling with an experienced look, "I took care of my mom when she was sick. If Xuan needs care in the future, just leave it to me." Lina Xuan's face darkened. She teased, "I'm 5 years older than you. Is that okay?" He blushed, teasing back, "What are you thinking?" I mean, in the future, when you're in the hospital giving birth, I'll take care of you. This made Lina Xuan blush furiously. She thought, giving birth. She turned her head in protest. What are you thinking? That's still a long way off. But Luo Fanshuan took a step closer, leaning in to say, not far. I guarantee 3 years at most. Lina Xuan's heart pounded from his incredibly flirtatious words. Flustered, she said, it's getting late. I'll let you take care of Song Heng. I'll rest on the sofa for a while. The sly fox, Luo Fanshuan, agreed with narrowed eyes. Okay. That night at the hospital, while Luo Fanshuan slept, Lina Xuan watched over Song Heng. Looking at him, she thought, Xiaoxian has been working from dawn till dusk lately. I know Song Heng's illness is due to overwork, but Xiaoxian has also been working very hard recently. She sighed, thinking sentimentally, if you're tired, lean on me. I won't run away. Suddenly, Song Heng woke up. Seeing her, he asked happily, Sister Xian, are you taking care of me? Lina Xuan denied it. It's Xiaoxian. He even gave you a sponge bath. Hearing this, Song Heng looked disappointed. He asked sullenly, why is he here? Lina Xuan narrowed her eyes. He said it's good for the movie's publicity, and he really did help a lot. She placed her hand on Song Heng's forehead. Your fever has subsided. Are you hungry? I'll go buy you something to eat. But he pleaded, Sister Xian, I want to sleep for a while. Can you stay with me? Song Heng held Lina Xuan's hand, secretly delighted. I want to hold your hand and fall asleep slowly. Even if it's just for a moment, it can make me feel like you belong to me. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan appeared, grabbing Lina Xuan's hand and pulling her away. Sarcastically, he said, it's time for Xuan and I to switch shifts. Leave it to me. Then he took Song Heng's hand, coaxing the difficult child. Xuan is going to sleep now. Let me coax Song Heng to sleep. Sleep, Song Heng. It's getting late. Seeing this, Song Heng was furious. He shouted, get out. I can fall asleep by myself. Luo Fanshuan was waiting for these words. Are you really sure? Then I'll leave. Immediately, Song Heng was enraged, burying his head in the blankets. Fine, go. I don't need anyone to coax me to sleep. Luo Fanshuan shrugged smugly. Xuan, he said he doesn't need anyone here. Let's go. He left Song Heng dumbfounded, having suffered a major defeat. Even so, Lina Xuan was still worried. Is Song Heng really okay? He sat up. Yes, Sister Xian, you can go back now. Hearing this, Lina Xuan instructed, then rest well. Xiaoxian will bring you porridge tomorrow morning. Watching the couple leave, Song Heng felt even worse. Sister Xian, I will never give up on you. One day you will realize that I am the one who is more suitable for you. Luo Fanshuan glanced back, thinking, still trying to play the pity card to gain Xuan's sympathy. Humph. With me around, Song Heng, you'll never get your way. Lina Xuan said to Song Heng, all right, rest. Xiaoxian will bring you plain porridge tomorrow morning. Watching the two leave, Song Heng felt a surge of resentment. Xian, I won't give up easily. One day, you'll realize I'm the one for you. Luo Fanshuan rolled his eyes inwardly. This guy is faking illness to gain Xuan's sympathy. Humph. As long as I'm here, Song Heng, you can forget about it. Late at night, outside the hospital, Song Heng lurked like a thief. He looked around furtively. A paparazzi member behind him watched suspiciously. Song Heng is being so secretive on the phone. There must be something fishy going on. Song Heng's voice carried. Luo Fanshuan, are you with your girlfriend right now? RCP Act is just company business. It won't cause any misunderstanding with your girlfriend. I'll explain it to her right away. The paparazzi's eyes widened in surprise. What? Luo Fanshuan has a girlfriend, and they're together. The paparazzi hurried away, thinking, I have to go follow Luo Fanshuan. This was exactly what Song Heng was waiting for. He watched the retreating figure with a calculating smile. I've known since the finals that the person following me is Luo Fanshuan's diehard fan. They definitely don't want to see him in a relationship. I don't even have to lift a finger. Someone will naturally want to break them up. He smiled triumphantly. Xian, the two of you aren't suited for each other. Sooner or later, you'll understand. Meanwhile, at Luo Fanshuan's luxurious apartment, Lina Xuan waved goodbye. I'll see you off at the door. I'm going back now. But Luo Fanshuan tempted her. It's so late. Why don't you have dinner here before you go? She hesitated. He shamelessly boasted, Xuan knows how good my cooking is. Lina Xuan immediately remembered the crab dish and couldn't help but salivate. Xiaoxuan's cooking really is amazing. I haven't had his cooking since that day. Her eyes sparkling, she replied excitedly, okay, I want to eat oysters. Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan happily snapped his fingers. All right, he handed her a cup of coffee. Xuan, have some coffee with milk first. I'll go prepare the ingredients. She took it and replied, okay. Holding the coffee, Lina Xuan looked around, silently appraising the place. Xiaoshuan's house is so clean. A single man's apartment is surprisingly tidy. Suddenly, she picked up a photo. Why does this house look so familiar? Suddenly, an image of a burning house flashed through her mind. This scene, could it be a memory I've forgotten? She clutched her head in pain, groaning, it hurts. Seeing this, Luo Fanshuan panicked and called out worriedly, Xuan. He rushed over to support her as she crouched on the ground. Xuan, what's wrong? Are you okay? Lin Xuan stumbled, spilling the coffee on herself. I'm fine, just a little dizzy. Thank you, or I would have fallen. Oh, I'm sorry, I spilled the coffee. Luo Fanshuan looked down, flustered. Xuan, I think. He turned his head. You should take care of yourself first. Lina Xuan looked down at her clothes. Mortified, she stammered, I'll go wash up. Where's the bathroom? She glared at Luo Fanshuan, nearly short-circuiting him as he pointed out the toiletries inside. Don't worry, Xuan, I promise I won't peek. Luo Fanshuan squatted down, picked up the photo, and fell into deep thought. Years ago, Luo Fanshuan had visited a doctor. Are you Dr. Lin, who treated Lina Xuan? Can I inquire about her condition? The doctor refused, stating that patient information was confidential. He spoke earnestly. I'm the child she saved from the fire. I just wanted to confirm with her, but she doesn't seem to remember anything about the fire. Hearing this, the doctor considered his response. Since you were involved, I advise you not to trigger her condition. Luo Fanshuan was startled to hear the doctor continue. Lina Xuan inhaled too many toxins in that fire. That traumatic incident was too much for a young woman. After waking up from her coma, she forgot everything related to the fire. As someone who knows her, you must always be careful not to mention any memories related to the fire. Otherwise, it could easily trigger a stress reaction, which could seriously damage her health and nerves, and even cause her to forget more. Now, holding the photo, Luo Fanshuan shuddered. Damn it, how could I forget to put away the photos of the old house? He clutched the photo tightly, his heart aching. If Xuan is triggered by something, will she forget me again? He murmured sadly, Xuan, please don't forget me again. A while later, Lin Xuan emerged, wearing Luo Fanshuan's t-shirt after changing out her coffee-stained clothes. She saw a cup of hot water and a note on the table. Where's the photo frame? Did I break it and Xiaoxian put it away? She bent down and picked up the note. It read, your dirty clothes are washed and drying. I went out to buy the oysters you wanted. Here's some freshly brewed coffee to warm you up. Lin Xuan shivered as she sipped her coffee with milk, reading the note. Every detail was so thoughtfully taken care of, it felt just like home. She walked over and opened the curtains. Holding the warm coffee, she gazed at the sky, wondering if her future with Xiaoxian would be as warm as this home. She was completely oblivious to the camera flash that had just gone off in the opposite building. Moments later, a paparazzi called in his report. Miss Tian Huang, guess what interesting scene I just witnessed? Your Xian is actually with Song Heng's manager. But Tian Huang refused to believe it, retorting, impossible. I heard Song Heng is sick. Xian must have gone to visit him, and Lina Xuan just took him home. The paparazzi insisted. When I was following Song Heng, I heard him on the phone saying Luo Fanshuan has a girlfriend. He said they were together just now. I followed Luo Fanshuan home and finally got solid proof. Take a look at the photos I sent you. The photo Tian Huang received was of Lin Xuan wearing Luo Fanshuan's t-shirt, standing by the window, holding a cup of coffee. Seeing this, Tian Huang bit her nails in anger. Damn it, she's actually wearing Xuan's clothes. Isn't that girlfriend treatment? She yelled into the phone, Xian is mine. No one can take him away. Follow Lina Xuan. Find out where she lives. I'm going to send her a big gift. The moon hung high above the bustling city. At the drama's wrap party, director Ji Hao raised his glass cheerfully and announced, congratulations on wrapping up. Everyone worked hard. Tonight we must eat and drink well. Then he nudged his assistant. Quickly post the wrap-up photos and the photos of the actors on Weibo. The assistant immediately replied, I posted them this afternoon. They already have tens of thousands of likes. Over at Lina Xuan's side, a staff member behind her suddenly said, Xuan, there are some leftover things in the crew that no one has claimed. Can you go see if any of them belong to anyone? They're in the small storage room next door. Hearing this, Lina Xuan said, okay, and stood up to leave, catching Luo Fanshuan's attention. A few moments later, in the quiet, cloister-like storage room, Lina Xuan checked the things in the boxes, puzzled. It doesn't seem like there's anything of mine or Song Heng's here. Suddenly, she smelled a strange odor. Why does it smell like smoke? Did everyone start barbecuing? Lina Xuan looked up sharply and saw a raging fire outside. She whispered in horror, fire. She ran to the door and desperately tried to open it, panicked. It won't open. What's going on? The fire grew fiercer, frightening Lina Xuan into screaming like a stuck pig. Help! Fire! She lay on the ground, covering her mouth and coughing violently. It's so hard to breathe, so hot. My throat feels like it's burning. Then her vision blurred. Suddenly, memories of the past flashed before her eyes. She was leading a little boy through a sea of fire. She wondered incredulously, was that me and Xiaoxian? Just then, a beam suddenly collapsed. Lina Xuan shielded Luo Fanshuan, taking the blow for him, coughing up blood and crying out Xiaoxian. Watching her tremblingly protect him, the young Luo Fanshuan sobbed, "Sister, you go first, don't worry about me. Mom and Dad don't want me anyway. It doesn't matter if I die here. But you're different. You still have dreams. Didn't you say you wanted to be a star?" Despite being covered in injuries, she said firmly, "We'll leave together. Didn't you say you'd take care of me? If no one wants you, I want you. We'll definitely get out." Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan's face streamed with tears as he replied excitedly, "Okay." Back in the present, Luo Fanshuan, wrapped in a blanket, rushed into the blaze, shouting, "Yixuan! Yixuan!" Seeing him cover her head with the blanket, Lina Xuan called out, "Xiaoxian." But Luo Fanshuan scolded, "Don't talk, let's get out first." As he carried her out, she closed her eyes and said, "I remember now, the little boy next door was Xiaoxian." Hearing this, Luo Fanshuan froze. "You remember everything." Her face smudged with soot, she teased, "Yeah, you were such a crybaby when you were little." These words made Luo Fanshuan cry tears of joy. "Sister, this time, it's my turn to save you." He hugged her tightly. A long time later, police cars, ambulances, and crowds bustled outside the fire scene. As for Tian Huang, she had been arrested and was yelling, "Let me go. It's all her fault. She seduced my Xin. She deserves to die. She deserves to be burned to death." But the police officer snapped, "Shut up. Arson carries a sentence of 3 years to life imprisonment. Do you think your sentence isn't heavy enough already?" Luo Fanshuan and Lina Xuan stood to the side, listening to her scream, "No, I don't want to go to jail. I was wrong. Let me go." But no one paid her any attention. Then a police officer walked over and said, "Fortunately, Mr. Luo noticed something was wrong in time and rescued the victim. Otherwise, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Please go to the hospital to treat your injuries first, and come to the police station to give your statement after you recover." Luo Fanshuan immediately agreed. "Okay." He put his arm around Lina Xuan's shoulders and said, "I'll take you to the ambulance for an 4-drip first." She squinted and said, "Okay." Suddenly, Song Heng came running from somewhere, shouting, "Huang Huang, are you all right?" Seeing him, she said, "I'm fine now. Xiaoxian saved me." She even flipped her hair as she finished speaking. Song Heng knelt down and apologized tearfully. "I'm sorry, Huang Huang. I'm really sorry." Lina Xuan was confused, but she bent down and said, "It was just an accident. Don't worry too much about it. I'll be more careful after you join the crew." Luo Fanshuan interrupted, "Go to the ambulance first. Let me talk to him." Hearing this, Lina Xuan agreed. "Okay." After Lina Xuan had walked away, Luo Fanshuan crouched beside Song Heng and said in a chilling voice, "Even if today's fire was related to you, I won't tell Xuan." Hearing this, Song Heng looked up and cried out gratefully, "Luo Fanshuan." But Luo Fanshuan's face was filled with murderous intent as he said, "I'm not doing this for you. It's because I don't want to hurt Xuan. From now on, stay away from Xuan. You don't deserve her." These words hit Song Heng like a bolt from the blue. He knelt on the ground, stunned, watching Luo Fanshuan get up and leave. Filled with remorse, he said, I didn't mean to hurt her. I just wanted her to look at me more." After a while, Lina Xuan, having finished her 4-drip, said, "Xiaoxian, thank you for saving me." Leaning on Luo Fanshuan's shoulder, she sighed, "All these years, you must have been very lonely, working so hard just to see me, but I forgot you. I'm sorry." He kissed her hair and said, "You don't need to apologize. You saved me back then. Not only that, you also gave me hope. When I was young, my mom would hit me whenever she was sick, and you're the only one who would come knock on the door. From then on, I always look for opportunities to go to your house." Luo Fanshuan recalled with a distant look in his eyes, "That night my mom locked me out, and you called the police. If it weren't for you, I might not be alive today. Luo Fanshuan looked in her eyes and said, after we separated, I chose to become a star, not only because I hoped you would see me. You once said your dream was to be a star, and I thought if I became a star too, we could meet again. I just don't know why you gave up your dream of being a star. Hearing this, Lina Xuan turned her head sadly. I lost my memory back then, and I don't know when I got an ugly scar on my back. I was devastated and didn't dare to dream of becoming a star anymore. But I still became a celebrity agent. At least I can still cultivate stars. Suddenly, Luo Fanshuan made a domineering suggestion. Xuan, become an actress. I'll act with you. This made Lina Xuan call out in confusion. Xiaoxian. He pressed his forehead against hers and confessed, I once saw you secretly practicing acting. You can do it. That scar is your hero mark. It's not ugly at all. Luo Fanshuan gently stroked her back. Lina Xuan's eyes widened, tears welling up as she agreed in a daze. Okay. Time flew by. 5 years later, at the 66th Golden Shadow Award ceremony, the host announced, now, we will announce this year's Best Actress winner, and then shouted, Miss Lina Xuan. Applause thundered as Lina Xuan walked onto the stage to accept the award. The host then asked, congratulations to Best Actress Lina Xuan for winning the Best Actress award at the film festival and being promoted to Best Actress. Best Actress Lin, do you have anything you want to say? Lina Xuan stood on the stage radiantly, holding the microphone and giving her acceptance speech. I wouldn't be here today without the contribution of one person. I want to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to that person once again. She looked down at the handsome man sitting in the front row and called out, Xiaoxian. Looking at the handsome Luo Fanshuan with his slick back hair gazing at her, she said, thank you for always being there for me. Then, blushing, she confessed in front of everyone, I love you. The host immediately cheered. Wow, Best Actress Lina Xuan and Best Actor Luo Fanshuan are the golden couple of the industry. I heard that the scar on her back was also from saving Best Actor Luo back then. Coincidentally, Best Actor Luo also won an award this year. Please invite Best Actor Luo to the stage to accept the award and give a speech. Luo Fanshuan came to the stage, took Lina Xuan's hand, and announced a major event. Xuan and I will be getting married at the end of this year. We will live stream the entire ceremony and invite everyone to watch. The audience shouted in unison, congratulations, congratulations, best wishes to you both. Luo Fanshuan squinted, feeling ecstatic, thinking, today I can finally announce our love to everyone.